All seniors, those whose names I call, come to the waiting platform immediately for your superpower test. Hell yeah, it's finally our turn. Stop shoving. My spiritual energy is about to run out. If you keep shoving, we'll all overheat. Be quiet. Han Yuning, please proceed to the awakening platform for your test. She's the most talented one at the Supernatural Academy. Extreme Ice Attribute. Interesting. Show us your ability. Extreme Attribute. Absolute 0. It's actually 3S grade. God, am I seeing this right? Our school's finally going to rise. Wait, her extreme ice ability is going out of control. Notify the infirmary right away, go to the special isolation room, and crank the geothermal formation to max power. Prepare the vein warming potion. Next up, Zhao Muley, get ready. She couldn't withstand the extreme ice energy, lost consciousness, and accidentally bumped into the lead. This little girl's body can't handle it yet. Can't bear the burden that comes with extreme ice. Her ability's already leaking this bad, and she's still walking around. Extreme ice can only be suppressed by a stronger superpower.
The cold energy inside her is being suppressed. What's your name?
Just call me Really. If my secret gets exposed, I'm in trouble. That was close. F grade, haha. What a useless good for nothing. Alright, next one. Wait, she actually followed me here? I gotta get out of here fast. This woman is definitely huge trouble. What's wrong with you? It's this hot out. And you just stand here, being a free air conditioner for everyone.
Why are you hiding from me?
Do you have a crush on me, or something?
What exactly are you hiding? What is your awakened ability really?
It's just this.
I've remembered your name.
A woman's intuition is really terrifyingly strong. Martial arts students get rewarded meals. As a B-class genius, how much of your blood energy do I consume a day? It's not like you useless lot. Annie, give me the special set meal. Pick the biggest pork chop. Stop putting on a fake tough act. If you're really rich, go upstairs and eat spirit beast meat. What are you doing fighting for pork chops at the low-income window? Hey, classmate. Hee-ha. Han Yuning figured out that staying close to Zhao really can suppress her out-of-control ability. Annie, that pork chop she already drooled on. I don't want it anymore. Give me an extra potato. Fill the rest of the spot with eggplant. Pour more sauce. Hold your hand steady, Annie. My potato's gonna fall out of the box. Excuse me, coming through. Careful, the soup's about to spill.
I want that one of yours.
Then go ahead and hit me. The Annie's inside. Why are you blocking my way? Sis, look at my balance. I only got about $10 left in there.
10,000 star coins received.
Will you be eating here again tomorrow, miss? I can line up for you. The power is going out of control again. Must return to Zhao Really. The moment Zhao Really's location is discovered, here comes that unlucky guy again. Zhao Really realizes that if he lets go, Han Yuning is done for. Sis, you owe me for my pork chop. It's frozen solid like an ice pop.
I'll take you.
What do you mean? Sis, I sell food, not myself.
You know what I'm talking about. I don't know how you did it. But only you can help me withstand the burden of this ultimate frost power.
What's it got to do with me? Where are you now? Your body won't allow you to run around. The therapist from the provincial capital is already in place.
Not needed.
Miss Han, the warming floor in class 1 is already on for you. Please put nothing there.
Principal, I'm not going to class 1.
Not going to class 1? Where are you going? Senior 3, class 3? Han Yuning immediately heads to class 3 to find Zhao Really to suppress the ultimate frost.
Where is Zhao Really? Can't let it leak out again. Otherwise, it could erupt uncontrollably at any moment.
SSS rank Han Yuning is in our class? Did really offend this young lady? Hey, perfect timing. Our class is sweltering without an AC.
This chill is getting uncontrollable.
What are you doing? Using me as a hand warmer? Sis, men and women shouldn't be so familiar.
For some reason, the ultimate frost inside me only stabilizes when I'm near you.
You're not trying to latch onto me, are you?
Tell me your secret.
What secret could I possibly have? Wait, aren't you the legendary SSS rank genius? Shouldn't you be assigned to class 1?
I've already applied to transfer here.
Great. The good life is over.
This card has 1 million star coins. Except for Zhao Really. From now on, I'm your desk mate.
Hearing the principal is coming to class 3, the homeroom teacher is trembling with fear. What's with this commotion? Even the principal came in person. Everyone get inside. I have something to say. You really came running over here, Xiaohan. The conditions here are poor. We don't even have floor heating. Why don't we just go back? We don't even have air conditioning here. I'm boiling hot. Who even needs floor heating here? The provincial experts are already here. Why don't we let them take a look?
There's no need for that.
Then what about your health? You're the once-in-a-century genius of our school. You can't pass away like this. Principal, don't worry about it. As long as he's fine. If he wants to tear down this classroom, just let him. Everyone retreat. Don't disturb him. Yes, sir. Why does he get to sit next to my goddess? Even if we talk about looks, he's nowhere near as good as me. Well, you got me into a lot of trouble. Women are nothing but trouble.
I took the money, so now I have to handle the job.
What are you doing?
It's way too cold over there.
Do whatever you want, but let me tell you first, keep it down. Don't disturb my sleep.
This is so comfortable. The excruciating pain is completely gone. What on earth is he?
Sorry for disturbing your self-study, everyone. Yuaning.
Dad, I'm fine.
How can you be fine? Old Lee, hurry up and get the thing out. The expert said only fire Ganoderma, this extreme young herb, can barely keep your heart veins stable. Mister, it's already 40 degrees Celsius in summer. And you bring a space heater to the classroom to keep warm? You trying to make all of us get heat stroke? This pressure, it actually suppresses the spiritual power of the fire Ganoderma. Young man, you can take this fire Ganoderma and just fry it into a dish. It'll add some flavor. And you're welcome to come visit my house anytime. We're all classmates. Don't let him get away.
After what he did to it, it's even less useful than a potato.
It's fine. Just fry it up anyway. At least it can go with rice. Don't waste it. Next time, can you ask your dad to bring something we can sell for cash instead?
Hurry up, I can't hold on anymore. I want some too.
Go buy it yourself if you want it. I don't even have enough for me. 30,000? This is an esteemed bun. It's a gold nugget. Want half of the bun I'm already eating? I'll give you half price. Yuaning, this is porridge I made with specially picked amber lotus seeds. It can slightly suppress your absolute zero condition. You're that F-level physical enhancement guy, right? Get out of that seat. You don't deserve to sit next to him. Why not? I paid tuition too. If I don't deserve it, do you? Interesting. It's been a while since anyone dared talk to me like that. I'll show you the difference between an A rank and an F rank. Han Yuning feared Zhao Riley's injury might cause her powers to go berserk. The male lead calmly watched the drama unfold.
He's under my protection. Now get lost.
The mock exam is next Monday at Wilderness Zone 3 outside the city. Brother Zhao, I bought all the supplies you asked for. All top-tier gear, bought with the 300,000 Ms. Han transferred. Even this pot is made of alloy that can withstand a D-rank mutant beast bite. It won't stick when we fry steaks tonight. Good job. Did you get the temperature-controlled sleeping bags? Yes. The best luxury 3-person bags. Even if it hails outside, it'll be so warm you'll sweat inside.
Who's he?
Our logistics support. He wants to join our team. I agreed. I also had him use the black gold card he gave to procure supplies for us. Remember to give me a new one later. That's public funds. Don't worry. I'll make sure you feel like you're in a 5-star hotel out in the wilderness.
Whatever. Get in the car.
I'm taking a nap first. I'm exhausted.
Move.
Ms. Han, please have a seat. Big sis, our agreement says I can't be more than half a meter away from you. But it doesn't specify zero distance, right? But I can make a sacrifice for extra pay.
The road is bumpy. The car is shaking too much.
Understood. My F-rank physical enhancement. Give me a stable base. This shaking won't budge me. All students, exit the vehicles and assemble. I'm sure your teachers explained the rules. Let me reiterate. This is not a drill, it's live combat. This is a low-risk, cleared area. But if you let your guard down, what's inside can still be deadly for rookies like you. Each team, take a flare. Pull it immediately. If your life is in danger, help will arrive within 3 minutes. But any team that uses their flare gets an automatic 0. 3 days, 2 nights. Good luck. Let's go. Move. Head to the unfinished buildings on the outskirts to secure blind spots. Brother Zhao, which way do we go? Or we just find a safe spot to hide for 3 days? The main gate looks good. The city defense force is right outside, safe. Go over there, the environment is better. Barbecue at night has a great atmosphere and tastes delicious. There's not even a mutated rat there. Forget the points. What points? We're here on vacation. Ah.
Listen to him. You go set up the tent and be in charge of starting the fire. I want to see what you're planning to do.
What do you mean? Taking you guys camping? Isn't that obvious?
I want to see how long you can keep up the act.
Han Yuaning slept next to Zhao Rili because she was afraid her extreme cold condition would flare up. Sis, what are you doing? Good morning, boss.
Your sleeping bag crossed the line. It's because this ground is uneven. The wind was too strong at night and pushed me over.
There's wind in the tent. $9.99.
What does that mean?
Because 6 flipped over. Brother Zhao, Sister Han, help. Oh, what is this thing?
Fatty, get back.
Sis, don't turn on the AC first thing in the morning. Aren't you afraid we'll catch a cold?
That's a peak C rank bone wolf. Your talent is physical enhancement. You can't even break its defense. Don't be stubborn at a time like this.
So annoying. It smells terrible. I wonder if it tastes good. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and start the fire. Breakfast is fried wolf steak. This beast runs and jumps all day. A hind leg meat must be really firm. Brother Zhao, what about me? It probably just thought of something happy. Suddenly flew over here by itself and accidentally crashed to death. Brother Zhao, the fire's ready. The wolf's hind leg meat is indeed firm. Hand frying will definitely be delicious. Turn the heat down. The outside is burnt, but the inside is still raw. The meat is done. The meat is firm. Much better than yesterday's synthetic beef. Brother Zhao, we got a drop. This is a peak C rank spirit core. School high price, at least 50,000 star coins. We get to the black market. Now our points are definitely guaranteed first place. 50,000 star coins, right? Missy, since we're buddies, I'll sell to you for 40% off.
Okay. 40,000 star coins received.
Deal. Missy is so straightforward. I'll sell it to you next time I have one.
Run. My wind wall can't hold it.
Wanner, there's no road ahead, it's a river.
Han Yuaning, what are you doing here? Run. There's a peak C rank bone wolf behind us.
Are you guys talking about one that's covered in spikes and drooling? Yes, that's the one. It's about to catch up. Quick, fire the distress flare.
Who did this?
It ran too fast, didn't see the road. It crashed headfirst into a rock and died.
Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? This is a C-grade ancient wolf. At least make up a believable lie. I guess I shouldn't have looked down on class 3 students before. Especially this F-grade Zhao Muley.
If you're hungry, there's a piece of hind leg meat left. It's delicious. For the sake of classmates, 5,000 star coins. Want some? Zhao, really, are you crazy? 5,000 for a piece of roasted meat? Are you that desperate for money? Please look where we are. It's like water in the desert. Can be the same price as outside. Your spiritual power is depleted. Without eating, you won't even have the strength to leave these ruins. Take it or leave it. Fatty, they're not eating. You finished that half piece. Don't waste it. Got it, Brother Zhao.
Wait, if we don't get any food or energy soon, we might not get out. I'll buy it. We need 3 pieces.
Fatty, serve up. Get some disposable paper plates for these bosses. Don't say class 3's service isn't considerate.
Although I don't know how this bone wolf died. I believe following them is the safest. Just humble yourself a little. No boy can refuse my request. Classmate Xiao. We really don't have the strength to go any further. Your camp is so big. Could you let us rest nearby? We can pay. Han Yuaning. Get out. I'll retreat. I'm retreating right now.
This young lady's territorial instinct is really strong. Don't worry, I have a contract spirit. This half-meter physical distance is your exclusive VIP spot, young lady. Without your permission, not even a female mosquito can fly in. Hurry up and retract your cold air. You're making my food cold.
No one else but me.
Brother Zhao, what about these two? Kick them out? Their legs are their own. As long as they don't step within 10 meters of the camp, let them be. If they dare cross that line, you just take the frying pan and swat them out. Got it, Brother Zhao. Don't worry. I guarantee not even a fly will get past. Get past.
Who is he? Why does Han Yuaning value him so much?
Which team is currently ranked first? Report, Commander. The elite team, led by Shutian for Class 1. Already advanced deep business. They eliminated 15 degraded air beasts and are far ahead in points. However, classmate Shutian seems to have serious injury to their arm. It's fast. He's only using one hand to cast explosive flame. The team's advanced speed is slowing down, holding steady. Greenhouse flowers, charging ahead just because of their A-grade talent. They have no idea how brutal the wild zone is. Do they really think they're invincible? Switch the drone feed from screen 7 to the main screen. Zoom in. What? A peak C grade. A bloodthirsty ancient wolf. How did a beast of that level appear in the outskirts? How could it possibly be killed by a group of students? Zoom in on that area. That's a pure physical penetration. Report, Commander. Absolutely none. All personnel entering the wild zone undergo strict security checks. No firearms. Whose defensive sector is this? Report, Commander. That's our Class 3 team. Class 3. Team composition. F-grade physical enhancement. Zhao Riley. F-grade fat hardening. Wang Pengzi and Han Yuaning. Pan the drone view to the side. Look at this team's current state. They just went through a life and death battle. Check for injuries. This is outrageous. Others are fighting tooth and nail for points inside. And they're here sleeping and having afternoon tea. This is practically an insult to the combat assessment. I've been a soldier for so many years. Just over 10 meters away. A beast just died there. The smell of blood hasn't even faded. And he could just sleep without a care? We can only pray this team just keeps lying low in the outskirts. And doesn't cause any major trouble. Hey, Brother Zhao, what's for dinner? How about some hot soup? I'm sick of grilled meat all day. It'll be dark soon. Tonight probably won't be too peaceful. Heading toward the camp.
Halt! Did you forget Han Yuaning's warning? Cross that line, and we'll die even faster.
Sit tight. With me here, they can't get close to you. Why do you always steal my job? Relax. No one but me can get near you. You're surrounded. It's never ending. Flicking stones at monsters? Don't just stand there. Go out and dig the spirit cores out of those dog heads. A dozen or so D-grade spirit cores, another tens of thousands in the bank. Boss, satisfied with this group clearing service? Same old deal, 40% off, okay?
150,000 star coins received.
Pleasure doing business, boss. You can sleep soundly tonight.
Zhao, really? Are you really that short on money? But this works too. Clean up the ground. The stench is too strong. Affects sleep.
Got it. Fatty, get to work. Dig out all the spirit cores from those dog heads. Don't get yourself dirty. Be Brother Zhao. You're just too awesome. You're my idol from now on.
You wiped out those beasts today. All with pure physical strength, right? Your physical strength is definitely not F-grade. Just with physical power alone, you're probably at S-grade level. Why are you hiding your strength?
Boss, you hire me to be your heater. Why the background check? Don't tell me you're into me. Lana, what do we do? The smell of blood is too strong.
They're too far away, but at this distance. If any beasts get close, he'll definitely handle it.
Getting dark, a bit chilly. Howsy, it's windy outside. Let's go back to the tent. Confirmed? What is that thing? Commander, we can't identify it yet, but its energy is abnormally powerful. It's in Zone 3, deepest part of the ruins, and it's driving huge numbers of low-tier beasts from the core zone, forming a terrifying stampede, heading straight for the outermost abandoned village district. Sound the level 1 alarm immediately. All city defense, special forces, deploy to the wilderness for rescue, even if it costs all our lives. Han Yuaning must not be harmed in our sector. What a pain. Money's hard to earn, crap's hard to eat. Earthquake?
Not an earthquake. That's a stampede. Zhao Jia, where are you going? Wait for me. We're done for. Can't dodge. Can't even summon the weakest wind blade.
Middle of the night. The people sleep. Quiet down. I've got a bad temper when woken up.
Never thought. That F-grade Zhao really I always look down on. That absolute dominance. I think his real strength might match Han Yuaning's. Why hide it?
Stay put. Cross the line, and you're on your own.
Since you look pitiful this time, you can stay near Zhao really for now.
Fatty, what's up, Brother Zhao? Put the pot down, get in the tent. Miss, you step back too. Might get blood splattered on you. I'm not doing laundry or chores.
Finish this quick. The water in my cup's getting cold. I'll deduct pay. Deduct pay. He's not worried at all?
Wilderness Tyrant, B-grade, peak demon ape, arriving. So noisy. Middle of the night. Let's use you to stretch my bones. Scram. Stand down alarm. Send rescue to the core zone for others. This Zone 3 wilderness is just a backyard for a few kids now.
Thank you, Senior Zhao really. I was ignorant before. I beg for your forgiveness.
I'm in trouble now.
Wake up early tomorrow. I have something to tell you.
Miss, I didn't upset you, did I? I just saved you. Han Yuaning, an SSS level prodigy, hates being protected. She tries to leave Zhao really and resist the extreme cold herself, but still can't suppress the absolute zero ice power. She's not willing to give up.
Why can't I control the absolute zero power inside me?
Sis, calm down. Your hands don't hurt, but the tree does. I heard they told you to use fire artifacts and fire rays to suppress it. That's like putting ice water on a grill. It'll explode.
Then, what should I do?
Knowledge isn't free, you know. You're a person of principle. You know nothing about true power. But since you've been generous to me, I'll tell you this top secret method. The ultimate way to control power is compression. Focus all your mental energy here. Fully compress the absolute zero power in your body into a single ice core. Then you can control it. Your body won't collapse. See? Money well spent, right?
I actually advanced to a first-tier martial artist.
Practice slowly. Can't teach you more. A master who teaches everything stars himself. Who killed this peak B-grade demon ape? First tier martial artist? You condense the spirit core,
It attacked camp last night. I froze it instantly. It struggled, crashed into that ruined wall, and died.
Notify everyone. Arrange for all students to evacuate immediately. You lie smoothly. But next time, make it more convincing. If your organs frozen and shattered, there'd be ice fragments in the nostrils and eyelashes. Your lie would fall apart in a second. Fatty's back at school. Almost there. Now we can return with our heads held high. Ha ha. Look at you. Heard? Chu-Tion was badly injured this time.
I know. Bad luck. Met a peak B-grade demon ape.
No wonder. Wonder who got first place this time, huh? Why are they so clean?
I get airsick. Come with me. Take my car.
Miss, do rich people change cars this often? I remember you drove a BMW before. The situation in Wilderness Zone 3 was special. The assessment ended early, but based on radar data and spirit cores submitted by teams, scores are still valid. Counts toward team and individual rankings. Third place, Chu-Tion. If it weren't for that damn bone wolf, how could I only get third? Next up, first place, senior class 3, Han Yuaning. And second place? Second place is also from the senior class, Zhao Riley. Zhao Riley? Impossible. How could he be second? He's just an F rank. Yeah, unfair. All of you shut up. Although his combat contribution was 0, Commander Lejean rated Zhao Riley's survival ability at S rank. Faced with multiple assaults from high-tier beasts, student Zhao really used his physical enhancement advantage to successfully cover and assist student Han Yuaning. Special rating, S rank. Bonus, 20,000. Zhao Riley, hiding behind a woman. What kind of man are you? You're a disgrace to us martial arts students. When do we get the 20K? Direct deposit or cash?
Don't leave after school today. Come home with me. Tonight, I want you to help me with suppression training. 200,000.
Boss, you're such a good guy. I'll be there on time tonight. Service guaranteed to satisfy. Sue Warner, have you lost your mind? He's an F rank regular student, and you're organizing notes for him? Did a beast eat your brain in the wilderness?
Young Master Chu, do you live by the sea? Mind your own business. Picking a day to latch onto someone? I'm happy to give notes to Senior Zhao Riley. What's it to you?
I don't care what lucky break you had in the wilderness, but an F rank student doesn't deserve to make class 1 bow their heads. Who turned the heater on at noon? Get back to your class 1. If you dare spark near my desk again, I'll throw you out to the dogs.
Wow, really, President? 666. Breaking through with pure strength. Even Newton would give you a like. These notes are dirty. Tomorrow I'll bring a pen and recopy them for President Riley. Got it. The A/C's on. Exclusive VIP territory, right? I know the rules. Won't disturb your two-person world. I'll make myself scarce. Good afternoon, Senior Zhao.
Boss is guarding his food so blatantly. This is 1.5 each, deducted from my 300K monthly fee.
No need. I'll transfer you the money. Since you're here, within half a meter of me, no one else is allowed to approach.
Fine, you're the boss. Back to your seats. Yes. Next Monday, the school's official combat simulation test. Teacher, didn't we just go to the wilderness? Why another test? Shut up. Old son glared at him, turned and wrote 2 big words heavily on the blackboard. Talent on the left, rank on the right. I've noticed many of you, including the top students in class 1, there's a huge misconception in everyone's minds. Old son turned around, pointing at the blackboard with the chalk in his hand. You all think that if an A or even S grade lights up on the awakening stone, you become invincible overnight, you skyrocket to the top. Ridiculous. Old son raised his voice for once, and the class instantly fell silent. Talent only represents your elemental affinity. It's your upper limit, your potential. It's like a VIP card for an internet cafe. S grade is fiber optic, F grade is dial-up. Old son banged on the blackboard loudly. But if you don't cultivate, if you don't temper your body, if you don't compress and condense the spiritual energy in your dantian into a spirit core, you haven't even turned on the computer. What are you going to fight with? As long as you haven't condensed the spirit core, you're a novice. A rookie. A novice mage with S grade talent within 10 steps. There's only one outcome. Their head gets punched in. Old son took a deep breath. The combat test measures your current rank. The school has introduced the military's spirit measuring steel. It doesn't care how high your talent is. It only measures whether you have a spirit core in your body. It measures your pure explosive power. Put away all that vanity. Work hard to expand your dantian. These words hit like a heavy hammer, waking up many ordinary students in the class. Lin Yuan sat in the back row, listening to old son's down-to-earth, plain talk. He yawned with satisfaction. The old man finally said something useful. Talent doesn't decide everything. Rank is the true standard of combat power. The bell rang. Old son finished assigning the test requirements and hurried off. Lin Yuan stuffed that physics book into his faded gray backpack. He slung it over one shoulder and walked out of the teaching building alongside Xiao Wanqing. Just as they reached the shadow of the stairwell corner, a figure darted out from behind the fire door like a thief, grabbing the sleeve of Lin Yuan's hoodie. Bro Yuan. It was Fatty. He was wearing a baggy black t-shirt today. The fat on his face was trembling with nervousness. His forehead was covered in cold sweat. What's wrong? Did someone boil you? Lin Yuan stopped. Fatty nervously looked around, making sure no one was nearby. Then he shakily leaned close to Lin Yuan's ear. Bro Yuan, we got trouble. Fatty swallowed. At noon, I took those dozen or so shadow hyena spirit cores to the South City black market to sell. I sold them, got 150,000 star coins, but Fatty pulled out his old communicator with a cracked screen, opened a self-destructing anonymous garbled message. The expert appraising goods at the black market noticed the cuts on those spirit cores were wrong. They weren't bitten by beasts, nor shot through by firearms. They said, that was pierced through by an extremely terrifying pure physical kinetic energy in an instant. The fatty is about to cry. They suspect I'm a fat sheep who stole prey from a high-level physical combat expert. They want me to go to the Old Soldier Auto Repair Shop in the south of the city at 10 tonight to discuss the real source of this batch of goods. If I don't go, they'll come to my family's fried rice stall tomorrow to collect the body. The fatty squatted on the ground, holding his head. Brother Yuan, that's the South City Black Market, a place that kills without batting an eye. I'm just an F-level fat-hardening cook. I wouldn't even last one cut from them. Lin Yuan looked at the few short lines on the screen. His brow raised imperceptibly. In a place like Jiangnan City, someone can figure out the mechanics of physical kinetic energy from a few holes in some broken cells. All right, stop wailing. Lin Yuan hitched his school bag higher on his shoulder. His voice still that casual tone, like he'd used the collapsing sky as a blanket. This counts as a work-related injury for you helping me move the goods. He raised his wrist, glanced at that $10 knockoff digital watch. 10 tonight, right? You lead the way. I've been sleeping so much my bones ache lately anyway. Let's go to the South City and discuss the second-hand recycling prices in Jiangnan City with them. The fatty squatting on the ground jerked his head up. His dull eyes instantly blazed with a fanatical vitality. Brother Yuan, you're willing to go with me? Duh. I haven't even warmed up that 150K yet. Lin Yuan yawned. Beside him, Xiao Wanqing had quietly listened to the whole thing. She didn't get scared and change her expression like a typical good student hearing about the black market. Nor did she try to stop him. She just silently adjusted the strap of her own school bag. Her cool voice sounded in the somewhat dim hallway. Moonlight Lake Villa number 1 isn't far from the South City. I'll go with you tonight. Lin Yuan turned to look at her. In the dim light, Xiao Wanqing's fair face looked exceptionally calm. Boss, Lin Yuan sighed. That's a black market, not a farmer's market. It's dirty, smelly, and we might see blood. I am your employer. Xiao Wanqing met his gaze without backing down. She took half a step forward, that familiar cedar sent drifting over. I paid for this half-meter distance. Wherever you go, I go. She lifted her chin slightly, the shadow at her collar rising and falling with her breath. It's in the contract. Lin Yuan looked at her stubborn, possessive expression. He chuckled helplessly. Fine. Chapter 22, Deprivation. 10 p.m., Old Soldier Auto Repair Shop, South City. The early autumn night wind carried a damp chill. The auto repair shop's rolling shutter was half closed, emitting a harsh, yellowish fluorescent light from within. The air was thick with a pungent smell of cheap engine oil, mixed with tobacco and a faint scent of blood. The fat guy stood outside the rolling shutter, his legs trembling so badly he could barely stand. He swallowed hard and turned to look beside him. Lin Yuan wore a faded gray hoodie, stepping in a pair of casual black canvas shoes. He was yawning under the streetlight. Less than half a meter behind Lin Yuan, Xiao Wanqing stood quietly. Today she wore a long black trench coat, her hands in her pockets, the night breeze rustling at him. Her icy, expressionless face under the dim light exuded a lethally sophisticated aura. Brother Yuan, are we really going in? The fat guy's voice quivered. We're already here. Lin Yuan reached down and lifted the gap under the rolling shutter. With a clatter, the rusted shutter was violently shoved upward, emitting a screeching, grating sound. The interior of the auto repair shop was surprisingly vast. A large patch of concrete floor was cleared in the center, surrounded by piles of discarded car parts and tires. 3 modified spotlights, instantly and uniformly shone upon the 3 people at the entrance. In the center of the concrete floor sat a worn-out vice workbench. A man with a buzz cut, a prominent scar running across his face, was sitting on a tire, smoking. He was toying with 2 dark red spirit cores in his hand, exactly the batch the fat guy had sold during the day. Behind the scarred man stood 20 to 30 thugs with menacing faces, judging by the faint spiritual energy fluctuations emanating from them. Even the weakest were at the high stage of the apprentice level, with a few even having crossed the threshold into the first rank. I thought it was some high-level ancient martial artist informant. Turns out it's just 3 high school students who haven't even graduated. The scarred man exhaled a thick cloud of smoke. His sharp gaze swept over the 3 of them. Seeing Lin Yuan's half-asleep demeanor, he snorted dismissively. But when his gaze landed on Xiao Wanqing, a flash of undisguised greed instantly appeared in his eyes. A rare find. In all his years in this black market, he had never seen a fledgling with such a cold, aloof aura. So you're the one who sold me this batch? The scar man pointed the glowing tip of his cigarette at the fat guy. The fat guy, terrified, shrank behind Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan stepped forward, blocking the scarred man's view of Xiao Wanqing. I had him sell the goods, Lin Yuan said calmly. 150,000. Transaction complete. Why call us out here in the middle of the night? Since when does the Jiangnan City black market offer after-sale service? Scarface sneered and stood up. Kid, don't play dumb with me. He casually tossed 2 spirit cores onto the iron table. They landed with a crisp clink. The puncture wounds on these cores are smooth. Even the bone fragments were instantly ground away. This was definitely a fatal blow from a high-level body technique expert, struck using ancient martial arts energy. Scarface's eyes turned fierce. He said, which high-level martial artist's corpse did you strip these from? That fighter must have had other valuables on him. Hand over the location, and leave the little girl here to have a few drinks with my boys. I'll spare your lives today. Fatty closed his eyes in despair. It's over. These desperados don't believe they killed it. They think we're just scavengers, easy prey. After hearing this, Lin Yuan helplessly rubbed his temples. He thought these black market guys had some standards. Turns out, they're just ignorant, mistaking raw physical power for some bullshit ancient martial energy. So, you're not planning to be reasonable? Just taking what you want? Lin Yuan asked. Reason? South of the city, my fist is reason. Scarface boasted with a laugh. He waved his hand sharply. 5 thugs immediately rushed out from behind him. They blocked the roll-up door exit. These 5 men simultaneously ignited their elemental abilities. 2 fire, 2 earth, and 1 extremely rare lightning type. All first-level martial artists. I don't care if you have some ancient martial artist backing you. On my turf, even a dragon has to coil. Scarface looked at the surrounded Lin Yuan with satisfaction. He was a seasoned veteran, suspecting a link to a body technique expert. He naturally wouldn't send men for close combat. Against a physical enhancement type, the best tactic is elemental range attacks. Break that kid's legs, Scarface ordered. As soon as he spoke, the lightning-type martial artist grinned viciously. He yanked his hands apart. A blinding blue electric whip formed in the air, crackling with high-voltage current. It lashed viciously toward Lin Yuan's legs. The two fire-type fighters simultaneously conjured two massive fireballs, blocking all of Lin Yuan's escape routes. Brother Yuan, watch out! Fatty cried out. Xiao Wanqing, standing behind Lin Yuan, narrowed her eyes coldly. The ice core in her energy sea began spinning rapidly. A terrifying wave of absolute zero was about to erupt. But at that second, Lin Yuan casually raised his right hand. He didn't reach for stones on the ground like he did in the wasteland. He didn't even clench his fist. He just watched the overwhelming onslaught of lightning and fireballs. His lips moved slightly, uttering two words, disperse. There was no earth-shattering explosion, no violent shockwave. The instant those words fell, the entire old soldier auto repair shop had been raging with energy, the fire and lightning elements that filled the space. As if hearing some supreme, unbreakable command, the high-voltage electric whip about to strike Lin Yuan's pant leg disintegrated into nothingness in midair, abruptly. The two intensely hot fireballs, not even a single spark remaining, were utterly erased from this world's laws, cleanly. Not only that, the five first warriors, grinning with killing intent moments ago, suddenly discovered in horror that the spiritual cores within their bodies felt like they'd been filled with concrete, dead silent. They desperately tried to mobilize their energy sea, only to find the elements in the surrounding air had completely severed their connection. My fire, their spiritual power was locked, unable to emerge. The thugs looked at their own hands in panic, as if they'd seen a ghost. The cigarette put in Scarface's mouth fell to the ground with a tap. The spark landed on engine oil, but failed to ignite. He stared fixedly at Lin Yuan, who stood in place, not having moved a single step. Impossible. No movement, no contact, just with a single sentence. He directly stripped five first-order warriors of their elemental control. This was definitely not some brute force physical combatant. This was a monster with absolute dominion over the elements. You! Scarface's voice began to tremble, cold sweat instantly soaking his back. He had provoked an existence that defied all logic. Lin Yuan lowered his hand. He looked at Scarface. A trace of the casualness in his eyes faded, revealing a coldness that made souls shudder. Did you all misunderstand something? Lin Yuan took a leisurely step forward, using stones to hit those beasts in the wasteland. Was it because I only know how to use my fists? Lin Yuan snapped his fingers casually. Snap! The crisp sound echoed in the silent repair shop. The next second, except for the patch of concrete under the feet of Lin Yuan, Xiao Wanqing, and Fatty, within the nearly 1,000-square-meter interior space of the entire repair shop, gravity abruptly increased 50-fold. Boom! This wasn't an Earth-type gravity spell. This was a tyrannical alteration of this space's fundamental laws. There were no screams because, in that instant, the air in Scarface and the 20 or 30 thugs' lungs was directly crushed. They crashed to the ground in unison. A dull, sickening crunch of bone and flesh echoed out. The massive pile of scrap car shells, stacked like a mountain, let out a collective, teeth-grating shriek of twisting metal at the same time. They were flattened into thin, pancake-like discs. All the men were pressed miserably flat against the ground. Their internal organs were crushed by the gravity, threatening to burst from their mouths. Blood gushed wildly from the corners of their eyes and nostrils. They desperately tried to lift their heads, only to find them heavy as mountains, pinned firmly to the cold concrete floor. A dimensional strike. Before the absolute control of natural law, so-called first-year martial artists were no different from ants on the ground. The fat guy holding the frying pan, his jaw completely dislocated, didn't even notice the drool dripping from his mouth. Xiao Wanqing stood half a meter behind Lin Yuan, watching the scene unfold before her. Her clear, cold black eyes churned with intense shock. She had always thought Lin Yuan had honed his physique to the extreme. Only now did she understand. Words shaping reality, altering gravity, stripping elements. His mastery over natural law had long reached a terrifying level, so blinding it hurt to even look up at. He didn't use elements simply because dealing with such low-level trash wasn't even worth him expending a shred of his control over the laws. Picking up a stone to smash a silkworm was just because the stone was right at his foot. Pure convenience. Lin Yuan walked up to Scarface. Scarface's entire face was mashed into an oil pit, only his bloodshot eyeballs able to move. They were filled with utter desperation. Just moments ago, he was talking about breaking a leg and taking someone away. Lin Yuan crouched down, meeting Scarface's gaze on the ground. No, ancestor, have mercy. Scarface squeezed the words out with immense difficulty between his teeth, his mouth full of bloody bubbles. I'm a very reasonable person, Lin Yuan said, tapping the flattened iron table beside him. The 150,000 credit debt, plus the inconvenience fee for making me come out in the middle of the night, and the emotional distress fee for your earlier disrespectful remarks. Lin Yuan held up 5 fingers. His tone as casual as buying cabbage at the market. Let's round it up. 5 million star credits. 1 coin short, and I'll compress this entire space, along with all of you, into a single coin, and toss it into the stinking sewer outside. 5 million. Scarface felt his vision go dark. That was nearly all the savings he'd scraped together over the years in the Southern District's black market. But facing a living hell king who could crush them into a coin with a word. Money was nothing. Give it. Give it to him. Scarface blinked frantically. Satisfied, Lin Yuan stood up. He released the gravity restriction on Scarface's right hand. Trembling, Scarface pulled a communicator from his pocket and quickly completed the transfer. Beep. Lin Yuan's old communicator buzzed in his pocket. 500,000 star coins had been transferred. Lin Yuan patted the dust off his hands, finally feeling a bit more at ease. He turned and walked out, passing by Xiao Wanqing. He naturally tilted his head slightly. Boss, the job's done. Let's go, time to sleep. Xiao Wanqing watched his smooth, extortion-like manner. The corner of her mouth lifted in an almost imperceptible smile. She stepped in her black tactical boots, quietly following him across the messy floor. The fat guy scrambled to catch up. Only when the three left and the garage door rolled down again did that terrifying gravitational pressure weighing on everyone suddenly vanish. Scarface collapsed in an oil puddle, unable to lift a single finger. He listened to the fading footsteps outside, his mind completely blank. No grand ambition to dominate Jiangnan, no tough talk. The monster who crushed them like ants, when he left, was muttering about ordering takeout for a midnight snack. That was the most chilling disregard. In his eyes, the underground black market in the Southern District wasn't worth a damn. Chapter 23, Spirit Testing Monument. The last bit of the weekend passed in the extremely quiet atmosphere of Villa 1 by Moonlight Lake. After returning from the black market, Lin Yuan took a shower. He collapsed onto the custom 3-meter-wide soft bed on the second floor and slept like the dead. 5 million in unexpected wealth sat in his account, giving him a slightly better impression of Jiangnan's underground market. The prices there were indeed much more reasonable than the school cafeteria. Xiao Wanqing slept in the guest room next door. Their rooms were separated by a wall, a distance, just at the edge of Lin Yuan's 1.5-meter loss suppression range. The ice core within her ran smoothly all night, with no signs of rampage. Lying in bed, she listened to the occasional shifting sounds from the other side of the wall, words shaping reality, gravity altered. That night at the garage, Lin Yuan didn't even lift a hand. He crushed 20 or 30 desperados into pulp. This level of law mastery, only found in myths, made Xiao Wanqing clearly realize just how much a bargain her 300,000 a month contract was. She had gotten an incredible deal. Monday morning, Jiangnan City 3rd Middle School, main field. Early autumn sunlight pierced the thin mist, shining on a massive dark gray metal monument in the center. This was a military-supplied spirit testing monument, cast entirely from high-density magic-resistant alloy. Its base connected to an incredibly complex force analyzer and spiritual energy sensor array. Over 2,000 senior students stood in formation by class. The atmosphere was even tenser than the wilderness simulation exam, because this was a true test of strength, with no room for shortcuts. Old Sun stood at the front of Class 9's formation with a roll call sheet, muttering to himself. Lin Yuan stood in the corner of the back row, leaning lazily against the wire fence, his eyes half closed. Xiao Wanqing stood beside him, her shoulder less than 10 centimeters from his hoodie sleeve. She wore a simple white school uniform short sleeve today, her long hair tied in a neat ponytail. Boys around kept stealing glances at her from the corner of their eyes, but no one dared approach. Good morning, Senior Lin Yuan. A cheerful voice broke the heavy silence in Class 9's back rows. Su Wanner, wearing Class 1's uniform, carried 2 cups of iced coconut latte, still steaming with cold, slipping over from Class 1's formation like a nimble swallow. She didn't act like a timid, subservient follower. Instead, she wore a bright, sunny smile. The sun's pretty harsh today, Senior. I got you an iced drink to cool down. Su Wanner naturally offered 1 cup, playfully winking. Large extra ice. Less sugar. Took a guess based on your vibe. Lin Yuan lifted his eyelids to glance at her. This wind attribute girl, toughened by the black market and wilderness. Her mental fortitude had skyrocketed. Now she was a pro at this shameless, clingy act. Lin Yuan didn't refuse, taking a latte. He took a sip through the straw. The cool liquid slid down his throat, dispersing much of the early autumn morning drowsiness. Seeing him accept it, Su Wanner's smile brightened. She was about to offer the other cup to Xiao Wanqing beside her, to build some rapport. The air temperature abruptly dropped 5 degrees. Xiao Wanqing didn't take the latte, her hands in her uniform pockets. She leaned half an inch closer to Lin Yuan. Her cool, dark eyes rested on Su Wanner, devoid of any extra emotion, just watching silently. It was a primitive, unmistakable warning. This is mine. Su Wanner's outstretched hand froze midair. She felt that tangible, icy aura, wisely retracting her hand. Got it. Su Wanner shrugged, unfazed. She put a straw in her own cup and took a sip. Private territory. Keep out. I know the rules, Miss Xia. No need to make it colder. My drink's already iced enough. She took a big step back, moving out of the 1.5-meter range. She waved at Lin Yuan. Senior, good luck on the test later. I'm heading back to Class 1 to stand by. Just wait if you need anything. With that, Su Wanner scurried away faster than a rabbit. Her retreating figure carried a cheerful, clear sense of understanding. She was smart. She knew exactly where the boundaries were with this monster, when to advance, and when to retreat. Lin Yuan bit his straw, glancing at Xiao Wanqing. Boss, isn't your territorial instinct a bit over the top? Someone just brought you a coffee, and you won't even let them breathe the air around you. Xiao Wanqing stared straight ahead at the spirit measuring stone, her tone flat. I don't like coconut lattes, she offered, grabbing at any excuse. Lin Yuan smiled, not calling her out on it. Up ahead on the field, the testing had begun. Students walked onto the platform one after another, unleashing their strongest attacks on the dark gray spirit measuring stone. Wang Chong, D-grade water, spirit value 45, evaluation, mid-stage apprentice. Lilei, F-grade, physical enhancement, spirit value 60, evaluation, high-stage apprentice. Most students from the regular classes scored under 100. Numbers of the spirit measuring stone were cold and impersonal, laying bare the gap between innate talent and hard work for all to see. Next, Chu Tian from Class 1. The teacher in charge of recording called out a name. The previously somewhat noisy field instantly grew much quieter. Chu Tian stepped out from the Class 1 formation. The cast on his right arm was off for this test. His family had spent a fortune on a special regenerative ointment from the provincial capital. It wasn't completely healed yet, but it wouldn't hinder a short burst of power. He walked up to the spirit measuring stone and took a deep breath. The humiliation he'd suffered in Class 9 these past days had left his pride in a morbidly tense state. He desperately needed an opportunity to prove the worth of his A-grade genius in front of the whole school again. Shu Tian didn't look at the crowd below. He stared fixedly at the alloy surface before him. He mobilized every last bit of spiritual energy from his dantian. His left hand clenched tightly. A massive explosive flame, more violent than ever before. Its color a deep crimson, frantically compressed and burned across the surface of his fist. The surrounding air warped from the intense heat. A wave of heat forced the recording teacher in the front row to step back 2 paces. Break. Shu Tian growled. His fist, wreathed in explosive flame, slammed hard into the very center of the stone. Boom! A dull, heavy thud. Fire exploded across the metal surface, transforming into a dazzling sea of flames. The spectacle was immense. A few seconds later, the flames dissipated. On the dark gray alloy surface, a faint, charred mark remained. The electronic screen atop the monument flickered a few times. A glaring number jumped out. 850. The recording teacher's eyes lit up as he loudly announced, Shu Tian, A-grade blaze spirit measurement, 850. Evaluation, peak of the apprentice stage, has touched the barrier to the first order. The sports field immediately erupted in a wave of heated gasps. 850. That number is terrifying. An ordinary person can't even pass 100, as expected of an A-grade genius. That destructive power, if he were to apply to the 3 top martial arts schools, he'd be a shoo-in. Listening to the surrounding praise, a sickly flush finally appeared on Shu Tian's pale face. He turned around, his gaze passing over the crowd, and looked with extreme provocation towards the very back corner of Class 9. See that? That's the solid strength of an A-grade. You managed to sneak attack me once with your weird tricks? When the face of this pure destructive power test, what can a measly F-grade like you possibly compare with? Lin Yuan leaned against the wire fence, lazily letting out a yawn. Quite a show, Lin Yuan commented. Just to waste one fuel. One punch empties the entire spirit sea. In real combat, if that one strike doesn't kill, you're the one waiting to die. Standing beside him, Xiao Wanqing nodded deeply in agreement. Ever since hearing Lin Yuan's theories on compression and killing techniques, in the wilderness area, she now viewed Shu Tian's wide-open, unrestrained fighting style, as if watching a fool wasting resources. Next, Class 9, Xiao Wanqing. The teacher's voice boomed from the loudspeaker. All discussion on the field ceased abruptly. Everyone's gaze, instantly like searchlights, snapped onto Xiao Wanqing. Not just the students. Even the principal and several leading teachers stood up straighter. Nearly froze the school during her awakening. Suspected of solo killing a B-grade demon ape in the wilderness. Just how strong is this SSS-grade provincial top-scoring seedling? That was the answer everyone wanted to know. Xiao Wanqing took her hands out of her pockets. She tilted her head and glanced at Lin Yuan. Go on, Lin Yuan said casually. Remember what I said. Self-fires. Xiao Wanqing didn't speak, only giving a slight nod. She took a step, moving out of Lin Yuan's 1.5-meter absolute safety zone. The moment she crossed that invisible boundary, the soybean-sized, ice-blue crystal core deep within her spirit sea began to rotate with extreme steadiness. No cold air leaked out. No frost formed on the ground. Students on the field nervously tightened their jackets. They had already braced themselves to shiver from absolute zero temperatures. Yet, Xiao Wanqing simply walked calmly onto the high platform. She didn't even stir up a single cold breeze. She walked up to the 3-meter-tall, dark gray spirit measurement monument. Below the platform, Shu Tian frowned. What's going on? The fluctuations in her spiritual energy. Could the backlash from the wilderness zone have been too severe? It crippled her chi see. Xiao Wanqing didn't adopt a stance like Shu Tian. She just stood quietly before the steel, slowly raising her right hand. Her pale, slender index finger extended. She closed her eyes, her spiritual power like an incredibly sharp carving knife, drawing a wisp of the most pure, absolute zero cold energy surging from the Chi-See's ice core, madly collapsing and compressing at her fingertip, compressing a vast ocean into a needle invisible to the naked eye. Xiao Wanqing opened her eyes, her index finger, seemingly unremarkable, touched the alloy surface of the spirit testing steel. No explosion, no flash of light, only an extremely faint sound was heard, like a fingernail scraping glass. That absolute zero ice needle, compressed to its limit, carrying a cold that could pierce any physical defense, followed her fingertip, piercing without hindrance into the interior of that anti-magic alloy, set to even stop armor-piercing rounds. Xiao Wanqing withdrew her hand, turned and walked off the platform. The recording teacher froze. The over 2,000 students below the platform also froze. That's it? Just a touch, and she leaves? However, at the very moment Xiao Wanqing stepped off the platform stairs, the electronic screen atop the spirit testing steel suddenly emitted a piercing screech of electric current. The numbers on the screen began to jump wildly at an insane speed. 100, 500, 1,500, 3,000. Finally, the red number stubbornly locked onto a position that made everyone's heart stop. 4,200, dead silence. Across the entire field, even the sound of wind rustling leaves could be heard clearly. 4,200. This is no longer within the trainee range. This is the solid peak of a first-rank warrior, even approaching the terrifying destructive power of a second rank. The mockery on Shu Tian's face completely stiffened. His mouth hung open, as if someone had grabbed him by the throat. Before the crowd could recover from the shock of that terrifying number, a deep gray, seemingly indestructible spirit testing steel, weighing several tons, suddenly emitted an extremely muffled cracking sound from within. Then, at the spot Xiao Wanqing's finger had just touched, a tiny white dot appeared, followed by fine cracks spreading like a spiderweb, frantically covering the entire surface of the steel. Thud. A dull sound. The military-grade spirit testing steel used to test the combat power of the entire school students. Its internal core sensory array, unable to withstand that ultimate compression absolute zero ice needle, was directly and completely frozen and shattered from inside, reduced to a pile of scrap metal. The alloy steel surface collapsed. The principal's thermos cup clattered to the ground. The recording teacher's pen tipped to her right through the roll call sheet. Xiao Wanqing walked back to Class 9's formation and stopped beside Lin Yuan. She didn't look at the shattered stone monument on the stage. She just quietly returned to her designated spot. Didn't control the force well. Xiao Wanqing let out a soft breath and whispered, "Things that dispersed 0.1 seconds too fast, otherwise the monument would have shattered." Lin Yuan looked at the pile of scrap metal on the stage. For your first time using compression technique, achieving point-to-point penetration is pretty good. Lin Yuan said flatly. Just keep practicing. Next time, aim to just leave a needle hole on the surface, shattering everything inside, with no trace on the outside. Their conversation was hushed, but the few Class 9 students nearby who heard them clearly had their eyes nearly popping out of their sockets. Put a hole in military spirit testing monument, and they're complaining about not controlling their force well. What kind of freaking gods are these pretending to be mortals in Class 9? Chapter 24. Chu Tian's realization. On the sports field, the dark gray spirit testing monument lay in pieces, an expensive heap of scrap. The principal clutched his dented thermos, sweat beads rolling down his plump face. This monument was on loan from the military, exorbitantly expensive. Even if the Xiao family is filthy rich, publicly destroying military equipment, the responsibility of a principal can't shoulder. But no one dared question Xiao Wanqing, a monster who, after awakening for just 3 days, could freeze and shatter the monument's internal sensor array with a finger. Forget Jiangnan City. Across the entire Federation, top martial schools would be fighting to worship a living legend like her. At the back of Class 9's formation, Xiao Wanqing stood next to Lin Yuan, ignoring the awestruck, monster-like gazes around her. She just looked down at her right index finger. If I had pulled my spiritual energy back an inch just now, would the outer shell not have shattered? Xiao Wanqing asked softly. It's not just about spiritual energy. Lin Yuan leaned against the wire fence, lazily watching the distant school building. Your killing intent is too obvious. You want to prove yourself, so your power carried impatience. A true killing move is restrained, so subtle it even fools yourself. Xiao Wanqing thoughtfully tucked her hand into her uniform pocket. She nodded, taking the lesson to heart. This scene was captured completely by Chu Tian, watching from Class 1's formation in the distance. Chu Tian stood rooted to the spot, surrounded by Class 1's suppressed gasps and frenzied admiration for Xiao Wanqing. He heard none of it. His gaze was locked onto the boy in the gray hoodie at the back of Class 9. Chu Tian wasn't stupid. Awakening an A-grade talent, groomed since childhood as a clan heir, his mind worked faster than most his age. Pride and jealousy had clouded his vision days before. But now, when an absolute power gap slammed into his face like a wall of size, his reason finally forced itself awake. Chu Tian looked at Xiao Wanqing, that aloof, SSS-level ice queen who couldn't even be bothered to spare him a glance, now standing beside Lin Yuan like a humble apprentice seeking guidance. So quiet, even when asking questions, her body unconsciously leaning toward Lin Yuan. A pure, heartfelt dependence and submission. Chu Tian's mind raced wildly. Those seemingly absurd fragments from before suddenly pieced together into a terrifying puzzle that made his hair stand on end. The C-rank bone wolf in the wilds died from an impossibly clean, piercing wound. The peak B-rank demon ape was officially declared by the military. Half died from frozen organs rupturing on impact. Yet Lei Zhan's expression during the retreat was strange. Su Wanner, a proper young lady from a prominent family, actually went to serve coffee to an F rank this morning. Driven off by Xiao Wanqing face to face, not angry at all. Instead, looking relieved, as if it was only natural. And the most damning piece. Yesterday noon, in the classroom, Lin Yuan just tapped his finger on the physics book. Chu Tian looked down at his own left hand. That A-rank explosive flame back then wasn't extinguished by some powerful force slapping it out. Recalling that moment, every hair on Chu Tian's body stood up. Because in that microsecond, the fire elements in the space around his palm were violently ripped away. Not physical disruption, but deprivation. Chu Tian felt cold sweat instantly soak through his uniform shirt. He finally understood why Su Wanner sent those notes. Finally understood why Xiao Wanqing fiercely guarded that half-meter distance. That guy in the worn hoodie, sleeping on his desk every day, was no F-rank waste, nor some brute practicing physical arts. He was a living Yama King wearing human skin, capable of casually rewriting the laws. Chu Tian swallowed hard with difficulty, his legs growing weak uncontrollably. Yesterday, in that classroom, he had pointed at a Yama King who could casually strip elements and called him trash. He even tried to throw a fireball at his desk. The fact he was still alive was nothing short of a miracle from his ancestors. Look at that Lin Yuan. Hiding behind Xiao Wanqing, mooching off her, what a disgusting mutt. Can eat fat. A B-rank guy who usually follows Chu Tian around, cluelessly shuffled over, lowered his voice and sneered flatteringly. Xiao Wanqing might be strong, but she's still a woman. Probably just likes his looks. Let's see his test. I want to see how this loser embarrasses himself in front of the whole school. Chu Tian suddenly turned his head. The fear in his eyes instantly turned into a fierce, vicious glare. Grabbed the boy's collar, lowered his voice and growled. Shut your filthy mouth. Chu Tian's veins bulged on his forehead, his voice trembling violently. If you want to die, don't drag me down. From now on, in Class 1, anyone who dares to mess with those two in the back of Class 9, I'll be the first to break them. Got it? The boy was terrified by Chu Tian's murderous expression, nodded repeatedly, not daring to breathe. Chu Tian let go, gasping for air. He turned his head with extreme respect and awe, cast a deep glance toward that corner of Class 9, then quickly lowered his head, shedding all arrogance. Quietly became a timid little quail. The first rule of survival in this high martial world is never provoke monsters you don't understand. On the high platform, the principal wiped his sweat, directed a few logistics teachers to carry away the scrap metal, brought out an old basic strength tester from the warehouse. No choice. The military equipment is shattered, but the regular students still need to go through the motions. Testing resumes. Due to the replacement, only pure physical impact is measured. Everyone, line up. The recording teacher resumed the tedious roll call with the roster. Class 9 students took turns hitting the strength tester. Dull thuds accompanied by weak readings, ranging from 10s to 100. Next, Class 9 Lin Yuan. Hearing this name, the atmosphere on the field, previously stunned by Xiao Wanqing, became slightly more lively. Human nature is like this. Seeing a genius shine inspires awe, but seeing the bottom-ranked loser make a fool of himself instinctively makes people seek some superiority. Time for the F-grade physical enhancement. Wonder how much this freeloader can hit. That old tester maxes out at 500. If he scores a passing 60, it's thanks to his ancestors. Whispers buzzed through the regular classes. Lin Yuan crumpled his empty coffee cup, tossed it into a distant trash can, slowly straightened up and patted his pants, made his way through the crowd toward the high platform, passing by the Class 1 formation. Su Wanner obediently stepped back, head bowed. Even her breathing softened, and Chu Tian, who was just arrogant, now stood stiff as a wooden post. His gaze was fixed firmly on the tips of his own shoes. He was terrified of making even the slightest eye contact with Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan walked up to the old strength tester. The machine's body was wrapped in thick black leather. In the center was a red target. Lin Yuan didn't adopt a stance or take a deep breath like others. He looked at the red target. If he loosened his grip on the laws even a little bit, this shabby machine, along with this entire field, will be instantly crushed into dust by gravity. Troublesome. Lin Yuan sighed inwardly. He casually extended his right hand with no acceleration. It was like picking a watermelon at the supermarket. His palm pressed flat against the red target. Then he gave a light push forward. Beep. The old tester emitted a sluggish electronic tone. The red numbers at the top slowly jumped out. 61. The recording teacher glanced at it and expressionlessly checked a box on the roster. Lin Yuan, F-grade physique enhancement. Spirit value, 61. Evaluation, novice initial stage. Just past the passing line. Next. A wave of suppressed snickering immediately rose from below the stage. 61 points. Such precise control. Afraid of getting proud with one more point. As expected, a useless coward who hides behind women. Hearing these jeers, Xiao Wanqing, standing in Class 9's formation, slightly furrowed her brows. Her cool gaze swept over the boys, laughing the loudest. The surrounding air instantly condensed a few fine ice crystals. She didn't care how others saw her, but she utterly despised these creatures less than ants, mocking a monster who could snuff out their lives with a word. Just as Xiao Wanqing prepared to clear the area, from Class 1's formation, a furious roar suddenly erupted. Shut the hell up! Chu Tian stepped forward, his face livid. He pointed at the regular class boys who had laughed the loudest. Whoever dares laugh one more time, I'll toss them into the school's incinerator this afternoon. This shout instantly silenced the entire venue. Everyone stared at Chu Tian in confusion. Has the sun risen from the west? The A-grade elite from Class 1 not only didn't take the chance to kick Lin Yuan, but jumped out like a mad dog to defend him. After his roar, Chu Tian didn't care about others' looks. He turned around stiffly and lowered his head again. All he sought now was to slightly make up for yesterday's stupidity, even if it left just the tiniest good impression. Su Wanner, standing beside him, rolled her eyes almost imperceptibly. Young Master Chu's bootlicking is really clumsy. Lin Yuan withdrew his hand. He didn't have the slightest interest in the commotion below. With his hands in his hoodie pockets, he slowly descended the steps. A 61 is just perfect, no need for a retake. And I won't be gawked by the whole school like Xiao Wanqing. He returned to the back of Class 9, leaning against the wire fence. 150 yuan. Xiao Wanqing's cool voice sounded beside him. Lin Yuan turned his head. Xiao Wanqing held that exquisite, custom-made communicator. The screen displayed a just-completed transfer record. For the 100 pens. Xiao Wanqing put the communicator back in her pocket. Her tone matter-of-fact. Lin Yuan felt his old phone vibrate in his pocket. He couldn't help but chuckle. Boss, you sure keep a tight ledger. Lin Yuan looked at her expressionless profile. But that's 61. Didn't it make me seem a bit cheap? Hiring a bodyguard who just barely passed? Sounds bad. Xiao Wanqing turned her head. Her distinct, dark eyes looked at him with utmost seriousness. A lion taking a nap doesn't stop being a lion. She took half a step forward. That cool scent of cedarwood once again filled the narrow space between them. And I hired you. Never to break a stupid rock. Chapter 25. The Cute Moocher. After the spirit testing stone shattering his rattle rippled through Jiangnan number 3 high for the entire afternoon. Teachers from the elite classes, usually so aloof, walked past Class 9's windows with hushed, careful steps, afraid to disturb the living legend who'd shattered military-grade alloy with a finger. And Xiao Wanqing, the focus of the whole school, was now in the underground training room of Villa number 1 by Moonlight Lake. After school, Lin Yuan hadn't let her take the car. He made her strap on 40 kilos of lead weights and jog all the way back to the villa from school. The villa's third basement level was a private gravity training room worth over 100 million. Its walls were lined with special energy-absorbing material. In the center stood several state-of-the-art spirit power testing machines. Entering, Lin Yuan leaned against the training room's glass door. He held a can of ice-cold cola fresh from the fridge. Xiao Wanqing dragged her sore legs inside. Her black athletic tank top was soaked through with sweat in large patches, clinging tightly to the girl's lovely figure. The console has a passcode. Looks like Xia Zhenhai hasn't sent it to me yet. Lin Yuan bit the cola can's pull tab, pulling it open with a click. He looked at the high-tech gravity control console inside the glass door. Casually, he uttered 2 words, power on. No one touched the screen. No command was entered. Yet that priceless, top-security gravity control system seemed to receive some fundamental, absolute command from the world itself. The red passcode lock on the screen instantly crumbled, and the green indicator lights lit up with a beep. Xiao Wanqing stood before the console, witnessing this unreasonable words become reality. Her heart still skipped a beat. No matter how many times she saw it, this method of defying physical laws and directly altering reality filled her with a deep sense of powerlessness and awe. Suppress the ice core in your dantian. Don't use a single trace of spiritual power. Lin Yuan took a sip of iced cola, his voice carrying through the speakers into the training room. Next is physical adaptability training. Triple gravity. BZZZ. There was no roar of machinery starting up. Lin Yuan's words were the law of this space. The air in the training room instantly became unbearably thick, 3 times the standard gravity of Jiangnan City. Brutally pressed down on Xiao Wanqing's shoulders. Ugh. Xiao Wanqing grunted. Caught off guard, her knees buckled. She nearly fell to the ground right then. The 40-kilogram lead weight, amplified by the triple gravity, became a terrifying burden. She bit down hard on the inside of her lip, forcing her thigh muscles to hold her body up. Her back was bent slightly under the pressure. Punch, Lin Yuan commanded. Xiao Wanqing struggled to raise her right arm, an action usually effortless. Now, felt like struggling in thick mud. Gritting her teeth, she engaged her core and threw a punch forward. The movement was sluggish, lacking any explosive power. Too slow. The force application is all wrong. The glass door slid open automatically as Lin Yuan strode in. The triple gravity fell upon him, but it didn't even weigh down the hem of his loose sweatshirt. He casually walked up behind Xiao Wanqing. You're a spellcaster, not a brawler for close combat. I train your physical endurance so your blood vessels and muscles can withstand the terrifying recoil when you unleash absolute zero in an instant. Lin Yuan's voice sounded behind her ear, carrying its usual lazy tone, yet possessing immense, penetrating power. Xiao Wanqing gasped for air. Sweat slid down her fair, jade-like jawline, splattering on the floor into a tiny blossom. Again, Xiao Wanqing's stubborn streak flared. She took a sharp breath and threw another punch, twisting her waist. But due to severe exhaustion and the pull of gravity, her anti-slip sneaker twisted sharply, her whole body instantly losing balance. She fell straight towards the metal wall in front of her. The expected pain didn't come. A warm, distinctly boned hand steadily caught her by the waist. It was a display of formidable control. Lin Yuan didn't even exert force, just a single arm pull, and he halted her out-of-control fall under triple gravity, suspending her mid-air. Xiao Wanqing's back crashed into a firm chest with a hint of minty scent. His body heat seeped through the thin tank top, warming her chilled skin, exhausted from fatigue, instantly raising a shiver of goosebumps. Your core is for strength, not for wiggling. Lin Yuan's voice was right by her ear, his warm breath brushed over her sensitive nape without a barrier. Xiao Wanqing's breath hitched. She desperately tried to maintain her aloof, cold facade, but her body's honest physiological reaction betrayed her. In the sealed space with triple gravity, they were pressed too close together. So close she could clearly feel Lin Yuan's long fingers on her waist. Even, Lin Yuan's other hand grasped her right wrist. Follow my lead. Lin Yuan didn't release her waist, instead guiding her right hand slowly, yet precisely forward in a punch. Toes gripping the ground, calf muscles contracting, power to the hips, finally channeling through the spine to the wrist. It was an intimate form of instruction. Lin Yuan's warm palm enveloped her cool wrist. Guided by Lin Yuan, Xiao Wanqing clearly felt how pure kinetic energy moved perfectly within. That punch thrown. Even the air ahead made a faint tearing sound. Got it. Lin Yuan let go, stepping back half a step, creating distance. Xiao Wanqing quickly stood straight. She dare not look back, just nodding hastily. Her chest heaved violently, unsure if from the gravity's pressure, or that intense, overwhelming physical contact. Keep practicing. 1,000 swings before dinner. Lin Yuan yawned, turning to leave the training room, casually closing the door behind him. Only after the door shut did Xiao Wanqing take a deep breath, lifting the back of her hand to her flushed cheek, watching through the glass door as his back, holding a cola, headed to the elevator. A hidden softness melted in her originally cold eyes. 6 p.m., Bright Moon Lake Villa No. 1, first floor dining room. Fatty, wearing an apron, was carrying a plate of freshly stir-fried beef chow fun from the kitchen. Behind him, a chattering girl followed like a sparrow. Nice walk skills, Fatty. That flipping technique, new Oriental grad? Sue Warner wore a loose t-shirt with a cartoon print, holding several insulated bags with a premium grocery store logo, unceremoniously piling everything on the expensive rosewood table. Senior Lin, classmate Xia, here's my food fee. Warning, Sue Warner close to uncle. Sue Warner waved at the two descending the stairs. Ding ding ding. Premium A5 Wagyu beef, plus fatty tuna from deep sea mutated bluefin. I queued for over half an hour to snag these. This stuff is crazy expensive. Consider it my protection fee for mooching meals at your villa, okay? Lin Yuan walked downstairs in slippers. He glanced at the top-tier ingredients on the table, their color enticing. Protection fee? Lin Yuan pulled out a chair and sat down. His gaze swept over Sue Warner's face, beaming with ingratiation. An A-grade genius from Class 1 in Jiangnan City, coming to someone's house to pay a protection fee. If Chu Tian saw this, he'd probably start another fire in the classroom. Ugh, don't even mention that idiot. Sue Warner naturally pulled out the chair opposite Lin Yuan and sat down. While helping Fatty unwrap the packaging, she skillfully cracked a joke. He's the classic case. All talk, no skill. Loves to play but can't back it up. Hanging with him, you'd starve 9 times in 3 days. I'm a smart girl. I'm not that stupid. Sue Warner spoke frankly, vividly portraying the shrewd, self-serving pragmatist. Yet, it was hard to actually dislike her for it. Xiao Wanqing, having just showered and changed in his soft loungewear, walked over. She looked at Sue Warner, who was sitting boldly at the dining table, and her brow lifted slightly. This girl's audacity truly exceeded her expectations. Xiao Wanqing didn't say anything to provoke her. She walked to Lin Yuan's side, and naturally pulled out the chair immediately to his right. The chair was less than 40 centimeters from Lin Yuan. She sat down, picked up the glass in front of her, and poured herself a glass of warm water. The whole motion was fluid, exuding the aura of this is my territory, the undisputed queen bee. Sue Warner looked at the intimate distance between the two, not even enough to slip a newspaper through, and secretly clicked her tongue in her mind. Wow, this ice queen's territorial instincts are terrifying. But Sue Warner was a savvy cutie who knew her place. She didn't compete. Instead, like a loyal sidekick, she used serving chopsticks to place the first grilled piece of wagyu onto Xiao Wanqing's plate. Classmate Xia, have some more. That move you pulled on the field today was absolutely epic. If I were a guy, I'd definitely write you an 800-word love letter. Sue Warner flattered with a smile. This tactic of stroking the right way worked. Looking at the wagyu on her plate, Xiao Wanqing's cold expression softened slightly. Thanks, Xiao Wanqing replied flatly, picking up her chopsticks. Fatty watched from the side, dumbfounded. Was this still the delicate, trembling young lady from the wilderness zone? This was a full-blown, street-smart veteran. All right, enough flattery. Let's eat. Lin Yuan picked up a piece of beef and stuffed it into his mouth. The aroma of fat instantly exploded in his mouth. Not bad, Fatty. From now on, this is our food standard. If we're short on money, get reimbursed from the boss. Xiao Wanqing rolled her eyes at him, but didn't argue. She'd already spent 300,000. What was a little more for food? The meal ended in a strange, yet oddly harmonious atmosphere. Su Wanner tactfully helped Fatty clean up the dishes. She slung her small bag over her shoulder. Senior boss, I'm heading out. Tomorrow morning, I'll bring over some Xingjianbo from that old shop in the east of the city. At the entrance, Su Wanner suddenly stopped and turned to look at Lin Yuan. She dropped her previous playful demeanor. Her eyes turned serious. Senior, about the spirit measuring steel shattering today. The school may have suppressed it, but the city's education bureau will definitely take action. Su Wanner lowered her voice. My dad messaged me tonight saying, the military still has doubts about the cause of death of the demon ape in the wilderness zone. Commander Lejean seems to have applied to the province for access to the Skynet's data. Be a bit more careful recently. With that, she waved to the two of them, opened the door, and ran off into the night. The villa's living room fell quiet. Xiao Wanqing sat on the sofa, frowning slightly. The Skynet is the law monitoring system that covers the entire Jiangnan city. Xiao Wanqing looked at Lin Yuan. If Lejean really accesses the data, that night you tampered with gravity in the black market, there's no way to hide it. Lin Yuan leaned back on the sofa. He held the remote, casually flipping through TV channels. So be it if we can't hide it. Lin Yuan yawned. His eyes held a lofty indifference, as if nothing in the world mattered. If the surveillance in this dump could capture the underlying logic of my words become law, then the people who built it would have ascended long ago. Let them investigate. I'll be surprised if they find anything. He tossed the remote onto the coffee table and stood up. Get some sleep. We're continuing with 1,000 punches tomorrow morning. Leaving those words, Lin Yuan shuffled upstairs in his slippers. Xiao Wanqing watched his retreating back. The sliver of worry she felt for the military instantly vanished. With this monster who doesn't even care about the Skynet here, even if the sky of Jiangnan City were to fall, it wouldn't hit the roof of this villa. Chapter 26, Reality Overwrite. Training room, 3rd basement level, Villa number 1, Bright Moon Lake. The air was thick like a pot of boiling glue. Under triple gravity, even breathing required mobilizing every muscle in the chest to resist the all-pervasive pressure. 998. Xiao Wanqing's voice was as dry as sandpaper grating. Her black sports tank top was completely soaked through. Sweat trickled down her long, taut thighs. A small puddle of water had formed on the floor. She gritted her teeth, toes gripping the anti-slip mat. With a sharp twist of her hips, she channeled the last of her strength through her spine into her right fist. Thud! Her fist struck the force-measuring sandbag with a dull, crisp sound. 1,000. After this punch, Xiao Wanqing's taut string of tension finally snapped. Her legs gave way, and her whole body fell backward, landing heavily on the training room's energy-absorbing floor. Her chest heaved violently. She couldn't even lift a finger. The last 50 punches, my footwork was a mess, forcing power just to hit the count. In a real fight, that's leaving your back wide open. Outside the glass door, Lin Yuan pressed the release key on the console. The triple gravity instantly vanished. Lin Yuan pushed the door open and walked in. He held a clean, dry towel. He casually draped it over Xiao Wanqing's sweat-drenched face. Is the ice core stable? Lin Yuan crouched down, asking through the towel. Xiao Wanqing pulled the towel off her face, gasping for air. She focused inward, sensing the depths of her energy sea. The ice blue crystal, the size of a soybean, hadn't gone berserk after such brutal physical exertion. Instead, the edges had become more solid and profound, thanks to her increased physical resilience. It's stable. Xiao Wanqing wiped the sweat from her chin with the towel. Her eyes shone with intensity. I feel like, even if I left your 1.5 meter range now, I could hold out for half an hour without rebelling. Dream on. The ice core forming is just the first step. Your blood vessels aren't used to absolute zero temperatures yet. Lin Yuan stood up. He nudged the sole of her shoe with his foot. Go shower. You reek of sweat. Xiao Wanqing didn't argue. She pushed herself up from the floor. Though her legs still trembled, her steps were much steadier. Just then, the chime of the keypad unlocking sounded from the villa's first floor entrance. Senior boss. Dinner's here. Su Wanner's cheerful voice rang out at the top of the stairs. She wore a loose, off-white sweatshirt today, paired with a pleated skirt below. In her hands were a few brown paper bags still steaming with heat. She hopped down the stairs like a lively little bird. Xingjianbao from that old shop in East City. I also brought ice soy milk. Su Wanner walked naturally to the training room door, setting the bags down on the nearby rest table. She grinned, throwing a wink at Lin Yuan. Senior Lin Yuan, eat them while they're hot. Crispy skin, juicy meat. I waited in line for 40 minutes. Lin Yuan walked over, picked up a Xingjianbao, and took a bite. The crispy, brown bottom made a satisfying crunch. Hot, savory broth floods his mouth. Tastes good. Get the delivery fee from Fatty. Lin Yuan nods, satisfied. Xiao Wanqing walks over with a towel. She watches Su Wanner's practiced, eager attentiveness, but says nothing. She just naturally reaches out, takes the iced soy milk with a straw already in it from the table, and smoothly positions herself between Su Wanner and Lin Yuan. Wash your hands first. Xiao Wanqing gives Lin Yuan a cool glance. Yeah, you're the boss. Lin Yuan swallows the bun in his mouth and ambles over to the nearby sink to wash up. Seeing Xiao Wanqing's smooth, protective move, Su Wanner isn't angry. Instead, she covers her mouth, stifling giggles. Your physical training is really paying off, classmates, yeah. That move was more agile than us wind users. Su Wanner teases, handing over a tissue. Go shower. We need to head to school soon. Xiao Wanqing takes the tissue, but doesn't respond to her. She turns and walks in the bathroom. Meanwhile, at the Jiangnan City Military Temporary Defense Base. In the command center, blue holographic screens flicker. casting light on Lejean's grim, unsettled face. Only he and a senior military data analyst are in the room. On the screen, a grainy, heavily distorted surveillance video loops. The background is the old soldier auto repair shop in the South City last night. Commander, this is the raw data we overstepped to pull from the Skynet. The analyst swallows hard, his voice laced with unmistakable fear, because all standard Skynet probes went black at 10:15 p.m. last night, due to intense law turbulence. This is a forced spectral reconstruction from the spiritual radar's raw logs. Lejean stares intently at the screen. No visuals, just spectral bands representing various elemental energies. He sees clearly 5 high-energy red waves, signifying fire and thunder first-tier warriors, vibrating violently on the screen, and then a faint, almost negligible gray band appears in the spectral image. That gray band emits no energy. It just vibrates slightly within that space. The next microsecond, those 5 high-energy red waves, as if erased by some incomprehensible, terrifying force, are wiped clean from the screen. No residual explosion energy, no elemental dispersion. Pure, physical disappearance. Analysis? What level of ability was that? Lejean's fingers dig into the chair's edge, knuckles white. No ability. The analyst looks up, pale. Commander, the system concludes it wasn't an elemental attack, nor a physical kinetic strike. It was reality overwrite, reality rewrite. Lejean gasped sharply. Within that microsecond, the physical laws inside the repair shop were forcibly overwritten. System logs show the gravitational constant in that space instantly became 50 times its normal value, and the fire and lightning elements within those 5 martial artists were deemed impermissible in that space. So they simply disintegrated. The analyst's words slammed into Lejean's temples like a heavy hammer. Words shaping reality, rewriting existence. This was no high school senior, nor some reclusive physical arts master. This was a law-level monster completely beyond their comprehension. No wonder he could shatter a peak B-grade demon ape with one punch. No wonder the wilderness zone had been so bizarre these past few days. Because in his eyes, this world's rules were just though he could need it will. Commander, should we report this to the provincial capital? The analyst asked, trembling. Report nothing. Lejean slammed the table, roaring in a low voice. If you want to die, don't drag all of Jiangnan City down with you. An existence of this level. Since he chooses to hide in high school and sleep, it means he doesn't want to be disturbed. You report it. If those old fogies from the provincial capital down here investigating, and once he gets annoyed, the entire Jiangnan City won't be enough for his landfill. Lejean took a deep breath, forcibly suppressing the tremor in his heart. Destroy this log completely. Act like nothing happened. Pass on my order. From now on, no one in the military is absolutely forbidden from investigating anything in Class 9. Stay as far away as possible. 8 a.m. Jiangnan City number 3 middle school. Lin Yuan, Xiao Wanqing, and Su Waner had just entered the school gate. But they sensed something was off. The usually noisy playground was eerily quiet today. A black SUV with provincial capital plates was parked arrogantly right in front of the main school building entrance. Several men in gray uniforms stood beside the car, conspicuous badges on their chests. A pair of crossed swords over an open book. It was the emblem of the admissions office of Tianshu Academy, the province's top institution. Trouble. Su Waner bit her straw, her usual playful grin gone. Her eyes grew serious. Why are Tianshu Academy people here so fast? The assessment test just ended yesterday. They're here for that 4,200 spiritual value reading, obviously. Lin Yuan yawned, strolling slowly toward the building. I shattered a military-grade spirit stone with a finger. If the provincial capital didn't react, they'd be blind. The three had just reached the first-floor lobby. The headmaster is no-opping and bowing beside a middle-aged man. The man was wearing a well-tailored Chinese mountain suit with white sideburns. But there's a faint flash of light between the opening and closing of the binocular eyes. The air within 2 meters of him. The flow rate is much slower than anywhere else. This is a peak of at least 4 levels. Even a high-order legal warrior with half a foot in the 5th order. Yin Zhen, Director of Admissions in Jiangnan District of Tianshu College. Director Yin, this is Xiao Wanqing. The headmaster saw the summer star entering the hall as if he saw a savior. Hurriedly meet up, Yin Zhen stopped. His oppressive eyes crossed the principal. Directly locked the summer evening star. As for Lin Yuan, who was standing beside the Xia evening star in a torn sweater, and Su Waner of Class 1 was naturally treated as air by him. Not even the rest of the light in the corner of their eyes was given to them. SSS level absolute 0 awakening on the 3rd day to gather ice core and point out the broken spirit tablet. Yin Zhen's voice was heavy, with a kind of unquestionable Saint Summer classmate that is customary to the superior. It's a waste of life for your talent to stay in a backwater like Gangnam City. On behalf of Tianshu College, I formally extend a special invitation to you this afternoon. You can pack your bags and come back to the provincial capital with me. The college will equip you with the top 4th order instructors and exclusive gathering arrays. As soon as these words were spoken, the students and teachers peeking around all showed envious eyes. Special tips of Tianshu College. This is a step that countless martial arts students dare not dream. However, Xia Evening Star stood there without even lifting his eyelids. I don't go straight to the 3 words without any sloppily. Yin Zhen paused and did not seem to expect that he would be rejected. He frowned and his face sank slightly. Mr. Xia, you may not know the gold content of Tianshu College. Your absolute 0 is extremely difficult to control. If you're not careful, you'll be attacked. Only the Grandmaster of the Fire Department of Tianshu College. Only in this way can you suppress the cold in your body with high-order array and stay here. You're joking with your own life. I said I wouldn't go. The tone of the summer evening star is still dull, but with a chill. I have my own arrangement for my cultivation. I don't need any fire master. Are you kidding me? Those old-fashioned suppression methods in the provincial capital. How stupid it is for Lin Yuan to popularize science for her long ago, not to mention. She's now in the air. The ice core is very stable. Just stay with this man every day. 10,000 times stronger than any top-class array. Yin Jun's face was completely cold. He's a strong man at the top of the fourth order, come to this small place to recruit students in person. I was rejected twice in a row by a little girl who was just in the first order. There should be a limit to the pride of the family in doing gold. This cannot help you nonsense. Yin Jun took a step forward. With his movements, a huge. The domain pressure of a peak fourth rank warrior suddenly exploded through the entire hall without any warning. This is an exquisite spatial blockade. The air around instantly turned as hard as granite. It trapped Xiao Wanqing completely. He didn't use any killing intent. He just wanted to use this absolute rank suppression to teach this impulsive little girl what true power really is, and force her to submit. The principal was pushed back again and again by this pressure, his face turning deathly pale. Su Wan'er also grunted in pain and was forced to retreat several meters. Only Lin Yuan still stood less than half a meter away from Xiao Wanqing, still holding the empty coconut latte cup in his hand. That fourth rank domain, which is enough to force ordinary first rank warriors to their knees, felt like nothing more than a weak draft when it brushed past his body. It didn't even disturb a single strand of his messy hair. Lin Yuan looked at Yin Jun and sighed. Blocking the door early in the morning is already bad enough. Lin Yuan took a slow step forward and stepped directly between Xiao Wanqing and Yin Jun. Looking at Yin Jun's stunned face, he casually lifted his hand and tossed the empty plastic cup straight into the trash can right at Yin Jun's feet. Putting on this useless aura is really blocking the way, old man. The moment his words fell, Yin Jun's proud peak fourth rank domain ripped apart just like a cheap balloon pricked by a sharp needle. A soft pop that only Yin Jun could hear sounded. The solidified air in the hall suddenly returned to normal. Even the blood and chi in Yin Jun's body went in a violent reverse flow due to the sudden collapse of his domain, forcing him to stagger half a step backward and shatter a marble tile under his foot. Yin Jun snapped his head up, his eyes filled with extreme horror, staring fixedly at this boy in a gray hoodie, who looked so laid back and careless, silently tearing apart a fourth rank domain in an instant. How is this possible? Chapter 27 sees the burn in the hall on the first floor of the teaching building. The air seemed to have solidified into tangible glue, only to be violently torn apart in the next instant. Yin Jun staggered another half step backward. The hard sole of his leather shoe crushed the smooth marble tile, letting out a sharp cracking sound. He stared fixedly at the boy who just tossed the empty cup into the trash. The instinct of a peak fourth rank warrior was blaring warning signs like crazy. His heart was pounding violently in his chest. Even his proud fire attribute Chi twitched faintly at this moment. What's going on? Yin Jun, full of shock and doubt, extended his spiritual senses to check the energy fluctuation, but found nothing. Nothing at all. Clean as a blank sheet of paper, or rather, like an ordinary high school student you'd see anywhere on the street. But it was precisely this absolute purity that sent a cold sweat trickling down Yin Jun's back. He had just unleashed a fourth-tier spatial lockdown. Even a powerhouse of the same rank couldn't possibly have popped his domain like a bubble, without leaving a single trace of aura. This kid must have a top-tier defensive artifact given by some old monster from the provincial capital. In the span of a single second, Yin Jun found a reasonable explanation for himself. He refused to believe there existed such a freak who could ignore a fourth-tier domain in his teens. If there were, the classified archives of the Celestial Pivot Academy would have a record. Who are you? Yin Jun steadied himself, his face so dark it could drip water. The authority of his superior allowed him to forcibly suppress the shock in his heart. Lin Yuan, Class 9, Grade 12. Lin Yuan dusted off his hands. His own laziness of someone not fully awake. He didn't even bother to fully lift his eyelids. Uncle, so what if you're from the provincial capital? Setting up a spatial lockdown at the school in trance this early in the morning? Don't you know we have morning reading? Old son will dock our usual points if we're late. The hall fell dead silent. The chubby principal nearby was so scared his legs were trembling. He couldn't even tighten the lid of his thermos properly, making a clattering sound. In his 50-plus years of life, this was the first time he'd seen a student dare to point at the nose of the Celestial Pivot Academy's admissions officer and complain about delaying morning reading. Yin Jun laughed in extreme anger. Good, very good. This backwater Jiangnan city hasn't taught you much else, but it sure has taught you an arrogant streak that knows no bounds. Yin Jun ignored Lin Yuan, since the other had a top-tier artifact. He, a dignified fourth-tier senior, couldn't bring himself to make a scene fighting a student in public. He turned his head, his gaze locking back onto Xiao Wanqing. Xiao Wanqing, I'm giving you one last chance. Yin Jun's voice was cold and hard, carrying an unquestionable command. The Celestial Pivot Academy's special admission slots, only 10 in the entire Federation each year. The absolute zero within you, if not suppressed by our Academy's fire grandmasters. Solar array. Within 3 months, your meridians will be completely frozen to dust. He paused, his tone tinged with a hint of condescension. This is your only path to survival and becoming a top-tier powerhouse. Don't mingle with these bottom-tier trash, wasting your innate talent for nothing. Hearing the words bottom-tier trash, Su Wan'er, who was hiding behind watching the show, couldn't help it, and secretly rolled her eyes. This old fool from the provincial capital is truly blind. Xiao Wanqing stood where she was. Unlike other students, she wasn't intimidated by Tianshu Academy's reputation, nor shaken by the pressure of a fourth-tier expert. She simply took a half step forward. That half step placed her precisely within the half-meter safety zone around Lin Yuan. A familiar scent of mint mixed with clean laundry detergent, instantly dispelling the oppressive pressure from Yin Jun. The ice core circulating within her body, soothed by this presence, became as calm as stagnant water. I already said I'm not going. Xiao Wanqing lifted her chin, her cool black eyes fixed on Yin Jun. Not a trace of hesitation in her gaze. I don't need any fire grandmaster or your yang formation. My safety's already been bought out monthly. Yin Jun froze. Monthly buyout? As the prestigious admissions director, his mind momentarily blanked. Xiao Wanqing naturally glanced at Lin Yuan beside her. 300,000 a month. Beats your outdated provincial formations any day. Su Wan'er behind them couldn't hold back, covering her mouth as she burst out laughing. Miss Xia's treating the living king of hell like a thermostat, and saying it so matter-of-factly, probably the only one in the world. Yin Zhen's face turned completely black in that moment. He understood. This peerless genius who awakened SSS tier absolute zero would rather stay by an F tier wayside as a monthly employer than follow him to Tianshu Academy. This was an insult to Tianshu Academy, and a slap to his face, Yin Zhen. Utter nonsense. Yin Zhen erupted in rage. His crisp Zhongshan suit flapped in the windless hall. An F tier trash, using who knows what deceptive tricks, or relying on a couple of broken family heirlooms. Daring to claim responsibility for an SSS tier genius's safety. A flash of ruthlessness crossed Yin Zhen's eyes. He didn't intend to harm Xiao Wanqing, but today, before this girl's eyes, he would crush this Lin Yuan kid underfoot. Only then would she obediently follow. Today, I'll teach you respect on behalf of your parents. Yin Zhen abruptly raised his right hand, not mere pressure release, but genuine fourth-tier spell targeting. The surrounding air was instantly drained. Frenzied fire elements converging wildly from all directions, compressing into a blinding dark red fireball in his palm. The fireball didn't launch, but transformed into a terrifying invisible heat wave, precise as a mountain's weight. Viciously aimed solely at Lin Yuan, surging forward. If that heat wave touched him, the defensive artifact on Lin Yuan's body would be activated. Once the artifact's energy is depleted, this kid would immediately be scorched by the heat wave, forced to his knees, begging for mercy in tears. The headmaster closed his eyes in despair. Su Wan'er wore an expression of someone ready to enjoy the show. She even took 2 steps back, afraid of getting dust on her. Facing the overwhelming fourth-tier fire-based heat wave pressing down, Lin Yuan didn't even take his hands out of his hoodie pockets. He merely lifted his head slightly, looking at the flickering dark red flame in Yin Zhen's palm. His brow furrowed with disdain. So early in the morning, can't you understand plain speech? Lin Yuan's voice remained flat and uninflected. There was no earth-shattering roar. He just looked at Yin Zhen and casually uttered a sentence. No burning in this building. Buzz. There was no deafening explosion, no elemental collision shockwave. In a microsecond, those 8 words fell. Yin Zhen suddenly felt the fourth-tier explosive flame in his palm instantly lose its temperature. Not only did it lose temperature, the fire elements composing that flame seemed to have encountered an unbreakable, fundamental rule being overwritten. They didn't even have time to dissipate before being within the space, brutally erased from the concept of existence. The dark red fireball vanished into thin air. And not just that, Yin Zhen discovered, to his utter horror, that the fourth-tier fire spirit core, nurtured deep in his Dantian for over 30 years, now felt like a stone dropped into an ice cellar, completely lifeless. He desperately tried to mobilize his spiritual energy, only to find the fire elements in the surrounding air had completely severed their connection with him. It was as if, the moment Lin Yuan spoke, the laws of this world had removed the very concept of combustion from the ground floor lobby. Word becoming law. Law stripping. Ugh. A hoarse, wheezing sound escaped Yin Zhen's throat, like a broken bellows. The backlash from the law was terrifying. His proud fourth-tier cultivation, after being forcibly stripped of elemental control, his bodily functions instantly suffered a massive fracture. Thud! Yin Zhen's knees buckled, utterly unable to control his body. He collapsed heavily, kneeling disgracefully before Lin Yuan. The marble floor tiles cracked under his knees. He gasped for breath in huge gulps, cold sweat pouring from his body like a waterfall, instantly soaking his crisp Zhongshan suit. With great difficulty, he raised his head, looking up at the boy standing before him with his hands in his pockets. The anger and arrogance in his eyes had been completely replaced by pure fear. This is no defense talisman at all. This is a law override that even the dean of Tianshu Academy, or those century-old monsters, could never achieve. With a single sentence, he stripped a peak fourth-tier warrior of his elemental control, leaving him gasping on his knees like a mortal. You. Yin Zhen's teeth chattered. Unable to form a complete sentence, Lin Yuan looked down at him. I told you this is my employer. Lin Yuan casually extended his foot, using the tip of his black canvas shoe to nudge Yin Zhen's knee where he knelt. A flippant gesture, yet radiating absolute contempt that crushed all dignity. Go back to your provincial city. Don't let me catch you in Jiangnan City, poaching my clients again. Lin Yuan yawned. Otherwise, next time, it won't be your fire I take, but your breath. With that, Lin Yuan couldn't be bothered with another glance at this fourth-tier powerhouse. He turned to Xiao Wanqing behind him and said, Let's go, boss. Morning reading's about to start. Old son's definitely taking roll today. Xiao Wanqing looked at Yin Zhen kneeling on the ground. She felt no sympathy whatsoever. She simply followed Lin Yuan's lead naturally. Hey! Su Wan'er jumped out from behind a pillar, carrying freshly steamed buns from the old shop in E-City and 2 cups of hot soy milk. She caught up with a smile. Senior Lin, classmate Xia, wait for me. The meat buns I queued for are still warm. Their figures swayed and disappeared around the stairwell corner, leaving the first-floor hall in dead silence. The principal pressed against the wall, scared out of his wits. He didn't even dare help Yin Zhen up. Yin Zhen knelt for a full 5 minutes, before feeling the fire elements in the air slowly begin to flow again. Trembling, he pushed himself up from the ground, his legs still weak. He didn't look toward the stairs again. He made no threats, just turned in disarray. Staggering, he left the teaching building, and slipped into the black SUV with provincial city plates. Director Yin, aren't we recruiting Xiao Wanqing? The driver asked cautiously, seeing his pale face. Recruit my ass. Yin Zhen slumped in the back seat, voice horribly hoarse. Drive, back to the provincial city. Now, Jiangnan City. Jiangnan City's waters hide a true dragon that can overturn the heavens. He closed his eyes, Lin Yuan's placid black eyes filling his mind. He knew from today, Tianshu Academy's admissions office must never set foot in Jiangnan 3rd High again. Class 9, senior year. Lin Yuan walked to the corner in the last row. expertly folded his school jacket, and lay his head on it. Xiao Wanqing pulled out a chair and sat less than half a meter away from him. She placed the Shengjian Bao Su Wanner bot on the table. Opening the box, a rich aroma of meat wafted out. Senior, this is your portion. Eat it while it's hot. Su Wanner turned around from the front row. Fawningly, she handed over a cup of hot soy milk. Lin Yuan closed his eyes. He fished a bun from the box and stuffed it into his mouth. Not bad. The skin's crispy enough, Lin Yuan mumbled. Xiao Wanqing didn't touch her bun. She tilted her head, looking at Lin Yuan slumped on the desk. Truthfully, though she acted calm in the hall earlier, being locked on by a peak fourth-tier powerhouse was terrifying pressure. Thanks, Xiao Wanqing whispered softly. Her voice was so light only the two of them could hear. Lin Yuan didn't stop chewing the bun. Thanks for what? He kept his eyes closed, voice lazy. The 300,000 monthly contract. I'm a stickler for contractual spirit. Hearing this mercenary reply, fixated on money, the corner of Xiao Wanqing's mouth curled into a faint, hidden smile. She reached for the hot soy milk, inserted the straw, and naturally placed it at the most convenient spot by Lin Yuan's hand. Early autumn sunlight streamed into the noisy, ordinary classroom. On the podium, Old Sun pinched a stub of chalk. He wrote heavily on the blackboard, Citywide College Practical Combat Tournament. The thudding sound of chalk scraping the blackboard jolted awake a few drowsy boys in the back rows. With over 2 months until the college entrance exam, this tournament is a final major test arranged for you by Jiangnan City's Education Bureau. Old Sun turned, palms braced on the lectern's edge. His expression was unprecedentedly serious. Unlike wilderness survival drills, this is an arena battle. A fully enclosed, realistic combat arena. Admissions offices from major martial arts colleges will have observers in the stands. Every punch you throw in a ring, every spell's release timing, will be recorded in your early admission college files. A few apprentice students with decent usual grades below immediately perked up. Of course, that's not the main point. Old Sun picked up his chipped thermos, took a sip of goji berry water, cleared his throat. The key point is, this year's tournament is jointly sponsored by Jiangnan's 3 top guilds. The champion team not only gets a cultivation spot in the city's high-level spiritual energy secret realm, but also a cash prize of 10 million star coins. The classroom fell silent for a second. Then, like a drop of water hitting boiling oil, it instantly erupted. Holy crap, 10 million. Fatty up front almost flipped his desk in excitement. Weren't they just giving out low-tier blood vitality pills in previous years? Have the guilds gone crazy this year? You don't know anything. I heard number 1 high next door produced an S-rank lightning freak this year. This sponsorship is clearly the 3 major guilds trying to invest early to win over that lightning genius. 10 million. If we could win the championship, we'd be set for life. The classroom was in an uproar, everyone coveting that astronomical sum. But deep down, everyone knew that money had absolutely nothing to do with Class 9, the cowherd class. That stage belonged to the A-rank and S-rank monsters from the elite classes. Chapter 28, Prize Money. The back row corner. Lin Yuan was sleeping soundly, his face buried in his school uniform jacket. When he heard the words, 10 million star coins, his exposed ear twitched keenly. Then, he slowly sat up straight and scratched his messy hair. Old Sun. Lin Yuan's voice was thick with sleep. It wasn't loud in the noisy classroom, but for some reason, the moment he spoke, the boys around him, who had been excitedly discussing, all involuntarily shut their mouths. After everything that happened these past few days, in Class 9 now, when Lin Yuan spoke, it was more effective than the principal's broadcast. How we sign up? Lin Yuan leaned back in his chair and asked casually. Old Sun froze. He looked at Lin Yuan sitting in the very last row, his face practically screaming. I'm not fully awake, but I want to make money, and swallowed hard. In the past, he would have definitely scolded Lin Yuan for overestimating himself. But now, what flashed through his mind was this kid's nonchalant expression outside the wilderness gate. And earlier this morning in the main hall, that peak 4th stage powerhouse, Yin Jun, forced to his knees. Best signing up is simple. Teams of 3. Hand the list to me before class ends. Old Sun wiped the sweat from his forehead and cautiously added, but Lin Yuan, this tournament is a real combat match with no restrictions on methods. Many signs from major families will bring high-grade artifacts. Blades and swords have no eyes. Got it. Teams of 3, right? Lin Yuan ignored his rambling and turned to look at Xiao Wanqing, who was quietly solving problems beside him. Boss, are we joining this fight? Xiao Wanqing's pen didn't stop, solving a complex spiritual energy matrix calculus problem on her scratch paper. You need money? She asked coolly in return. Who complains about having too much? Lin Yuan yawned. 10 million, plus some prize money, is enough to buy top-of-the-line automatic massage bathtub for my villa at Bright Moon Lake. You just need to show up. If a real fight breaks out, you can stand by the edge of the ring and watch. Xiao Wanqing stopped writing and turned her head. Her clear, dark eyes looked at Lin Yuan, and the corner of her mouth curled up in a faint, subtle arc. This guy clearly possessed terrifying power that could turn Jiangnan City upside down. Yet what was always on his mind was trivial stuff like buying a massage bathtub. I'll join, Xiao Wanqing answered decisively. Great. Lin Yuan nodded in satisfaction. One more person needed. Fatty. The fatty sitting in the front row jolted and quickly turned around. Brother Yuan, I'm in. I'll count you in for the competition. As Lin Yuan's words fell, the fat on Fatty's face trembled violently. He was so scared he was about to cry. Brother Yuan, you're my real brother. I can sell stuff in the black market, but you want me to go in the ring and fight those A-level monsters? With my F-level fat hardening, I wouldn't even count as a punching bag up there. One fireball and I'm roast pork. Fatty waved his hands desperately in despair. Just then, the glass window of the classroom's back door was gently tapped twice from outside. Sue Warner, wearing Class 1's beige school hoodie, holding a registration form in her hand, slipped in through the back door like a slick cat. Senior, how can we let Brother Fatty do such rough work? Sue Warner fawned as she scooted up to Lin Yuan's desk. She slapped the transfer application form stamped with Class 1's official seal on the table. A-level wind element. Sue Warner, applying to join your team. Standing straight, Sue Warner seriously promoted herself. Senior, think about it. I can eat. I mean, the ring gets so dusty. With me there, you don't even need to move your feet. One gentle breeze spell, and I'll blow the ring clean. Absolutely won't dirty your understated yet luxurious canvas shoes. She turned her head, looking at Xiao Wanqing, whose brows were already slightly furrowed beside her. Don't worry, classmate Xia. Su Wan'er, understanding the situation, raised 3 fingers to swear. Once on the ring, I'll absolutely stay outside the 1.5-meter red line you drew. I'm just a heartless speed-boosting tool. After the match, I won't steal any credit. I don't want a single cent of the prize money. It'll all go to buying Senior a bathtub. Xiao Wanqing looked at her transparent, utterly shameless appearance. Her tense shoulders relaxed a little. I have a wing element team who knows every room and can run errands and handle trivial matters anytime. Would indeed save a lot of trouble. Most importantly, Su Wan'er has a great sense of boundaries and never oversteps. You're in, Xiao Wanqing said coolly. Yay, boss is generous. Su Wan'er cheered. She deftly pulled out a pen and filled in Lin Yuan and Xiao Wanqing's names on a registration form. And so, a bizarre team from Jiangnan City No. 3 High School was formed, composed of an F-level waste, an SSS-level iceberg heiress, and an A-level wind element mo girl. School ended at 5 p.m. The early autumn weather in Jiangnan City was fickle. It was sunny in the morning, but by dismissal, thick dark clouds had gathered in the sky. As Lin Yuan walked out of the old teaching building with his bag slung over one shoulder, a downpour had already started. Students on the playground held up umbrellas or covered their heads with their bags, rushing frantically through the rain curtain towards the school gate. Su Wan'er stood under the eaves of the teaching building, watching the heavy rain outside, feeling a bit worried. Senior, it's pouring, and I didn't bring an umbrella. Maybe I could use my wind type ability to create a rain shield. Let's just make a run for it, she suggested. But maintaining a wind shield consumes spiritual energy. By the time we reached the villa, she'd probably be exhausted. Lin Yuan glanced at the torrential downpour. What's with the shield? Too much work. He shoved his hands into his hoodie pockets and slowly descended the steps. Just as his canvas shoes were about to step into the rain curtain, he casually lifted his head towards the pouring rain and uttered a single word. Stop. Buzz. No wind. No air current obstruction. Su Wan'er's eyes widened in terror. She clearly saw that with Lin Yuan as the center, within a radius of 1.5 meters around him, the torrential rain pouring down from thousands of meters above. The moment it entered this absolute domain, it was abruptly collided with an invisible, intangible, conceptual fault line. The raindrops weren't repelled or evaporated. They simply vanished in midair. Or rather, within this 1.5 meter space, the very concept of precipitation was violently stripped away. Outside, rain poured down, splashing everywhere. Yet, where Lin Yuan walked, not a single drop of rain fell. Even the cement ground he stepped on remained perfectly dry. This was reality overwritten at the level of law, utterly unreasonable and supremely domineering. Let's go. Why are you just standing there? The market will close soon. Lin Yuan urged casually, without turning back. Xiao Wanqing didn't hesitate. She naturally stepped in her black tactical boots into that 1.5 meter rainless zone. She walked side by side with Lin Yuan in the heavy rain, not a single strand of hair getting damp. Holy crap. Su Wan'er swallowed hard and quickly jogged to catch up. She carefully controlled her pace, keeping herself precisely at the edge, about 1.4 meters away, afraid of stepping out and getting drenched, yet also afraid of getting too close and angering that possessive refrigerator. Under the gaze of the entire school, who looked at them as if they were monsters, the 3 of them, under this terrifying law vacuum shield, leisurely walked out of the school gate. Basement level 3 training room, Villa number 1, Mingwell Lake. After dinner, Su Wan'er, being perceptive, cleaned up the dishes and quickly made herself scarce. The metal door of the training room slowly closed. Xiao Wanqing stood in the center, wearing a black sports tank top, preparing to activate triple gravity like yesterday. No gravity training today. Lin Yuan leaned against the glass door, his hands unusually without a cola. Instead, they were casually tucked in his pockets. Yesterday, you managed to compress absolute zero into an ice needle. The destructive power is there, but your control is still too raw. Lin Yuan looked at her. Forming an ice core when external elements are abundant is like sailing with the current. But what if the environment you're in simply doesn't allow you to use elements? Xiao Wanqing was stunned. Not allowed to use elements? Right? Lin Yuan straightened up. In those usually sleepy black eyes, a rare sharpness flashed. Close your eyes. Hold your ice core tight. For the next 10 minutes, no matter what happens, absolutely do not let the ice core dissipate. Without any hesitation, Xiao Wanqing sat cross-legged on the energy-absorbing floor. She closed her eyes, her spiritual power instantly sinking into her dantian, firmly locking onto that ice-blue crystal core the size of soybean. Lin Yuan looked at her calm profile, his right hand slowly raising. He casually snapped his fingers in the air. Snap! A crisp, faint sound echoed in the sealed training room. Immediately after, Xiao Wanqing suddenly felt an indescribably terrifying sense of suffocation. Like the pressure of the deep sea, it instantly submerged her completely. Not a lack of oxygen, but a vacuum. Not a physical air vacuum, but on the level of laws. An elemental vacuum. The moment that snap echoed, Lin Yuan brutally stripped this underground training room of all physical elements. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, light, dark, all of them. In the space of a dozen square meters, all magic, all supernatural abilities, all elemental resonance was coldly forbidden by the underlying rules. The ice core deep in Xiao Wanqing's dantian, the moment it lost the echo of external elements, was like a fish suddenly thrown into a parched desert. It began to tremble violently, instinctively wanting to dissipate, to flee this terrifying space filled with dead silence. Ugh. Xiao Wanqing let out a pain groan. Her face instantly turned as pale as paper. This feeling was 100 times more terrifying than the meridian tearing during her awakening. This was the world's laws ruthlessly crushing the foundation of her supernatural ability. Ignore the dead silence outside. Lin Yuan's calm voice sounded in this pure vacuum domain, clear as if speaking directly in her mind. Your absolute zero isn't given to you by the outside world. It's a part of your life. Lin Yuan walked up to her, looking down at the violently trembling girl. The laws have stripped the flow of elements, but they cannot strip your spirit. Compress it within the concept of no temperature. Define what cold is yourself. Hold it. Lin Yuan's final words carried a violent will that reverberated. It slammed violently into Xiao Wanqing's consciousness. Xiao Wanqing clenched her teeth so hard her lips bled. She channeled all her mental energy into a solid chain, frantically wrapping it around her collapsing ice core. Under the terrifying pressure of the external laws, she didn't seek external elements, but imploded inward. Cold sweat instantly drenched her sports top. Time ticked by second. In this terrifying elemental vacuum, Xiao Wanqing stood tall. Her cool face showed a near-obsessive stubbornness. A full 10 minutes later, as Lin Yuan snapped his fingers again, releasing elements back into the training room, Xiao Wanqing's eyes snapped open. Her ice core hadn't shattered. It had shrunk a full circle, refined by the extreme pressure. But the icy blue light it emitted was so profound it seemed to freeze souls. Gasping for air, she collapsed onto the floor. Lin Yuan looked at her, a flicker of undisguised approval in his eyes. The last 10 minutes in that absurd law vacuum. This girl's willpower is enough to crush the so-called geniuses in the provincial capital. Not bad. Lin Yuan crouched down, casually wiping her forehead sweat with his sleeve. Rest. Tomorrow's tournament. You can go claim that 10 million. Chapter 29. The Ultimate Ice Thread. Jiangnan City Center, the fully enclosed dome arena. A massive structure capable of holding 100,000 people. Usually reserved for high-level martial pro leagues. Today, for this combat tournament jointly sponsored by 3 major guilds, with a total prize pool of 10 million star coins. The entire arena was running at full power. Holographic screens displayed competing school team info. The stands roared, the noise threatening to lift the dome. The core VIP area held city education officials, representatives from the 3 guilds, and recruiters from martial arts schools nationwide. I heard Gui, that S-rank Lightning user from First Time Next Door, just broke through to mid-tier yesterday. Lightning's brutal enough. That kid's probably going to sweep the whole tournament this year. A guild rep flipped through his files, chatting to the person beside him. Lightning is fierce, but you forgot about the Xia heirs from 3rd High, awakened with SSS rank Absolute 0. Xiao Wanqing's talent is high, but Absolute 0 is a double-edged sword, hurting herself as much as the enemy. It can't last in real combat. And besides, look at her team's composition. He pointed at a team list just displayed on the big screen, his expression turning utterly strange. Jiangnan 3rd High team. Xiao Wanqing SSS rank Absolute 0. Su Wan'er, A rank wind. Lin Yuan. Book 2 of F rank body enhancement. Bringing an A rank support is one thing, but they even stuffed in an F rank rookie to make up the numbers. Are they looking down on the other schools, or planning a 2-on-3? On the VIP stands, a group of big shots shook their heads. No one could understand such an absurd lineup. Meanwhile, in the waiting area tunnel beneath the arena, the atmosphere was strange. Other teams were using the last moments to warm up or meditate, even boosting each other's morale. But in the corner of School 3's tunnel, someone had brought in a conspicuous folding beach chair. Lin Yuan, wearing his ever-present gray hoodie and canvas shoes, was sprawled lazily in the beach chair, a competition schedule covering his face as he caught up on sleep. Su Wan'er, in a sharp beige tactical miniskirt, held a sleek, techie-looking handheld fan. She stood dutifully beside him, carefully controlling the airflow, fanning Lin Yuan. Senior, is the breeze okay? Not too strong? Could give you a headache? Su Wan'er whispered, like a professional esports team nanny. It's fine, Lin Yuan mumbled, eyes closed. On the other side of the beach chair, less than half a meter away, Xiao Wanqing stood quietly. She wore a form-fitting black high-neck tactical suit today. It clung tightly to her slender, yet explosive waistline. Due to Su Wan, the early autumn venue was a bit stuffy. A fine layer of sweat glistened on her fair, jade-like swan neck, trickling along the deep lines of her collarbone, and ambiguously sliding into the depths of the black collar. Unlike Su Wan'er's chattering, she just stood with arms crossed, her cool, sharp gaze sweeping over the boys from other schools trying to sneak glances in the tunnel. Anyone caught by her stare felt like they'd been doused with ice water in midwinter, quickly pulling their necks back. Ding! A crisp chime sounded from the venue's loudspeakers. Third qualifying match preparation. Jiangnan 1st High's Thunderstorm Squad versus Jiangnan 3rd High Starbis Squad. Contestants, please take the stage. Lin Yuan took the schedule off his face and let out a big yawn, slowly rising from the beach chair. Let's go. Get the million early, so we can go back and order a bathtub. Hands in his hoodie pockets, wearing canvas shoes, he ambled out of the tunnel, like an old man going for a stroll downstairs. Xiao Wanqing immediately strode forward on her long legs, naturally following, maintaining a precise 1.5-meter absolute safety zone. Senior, wait. I'll pack up the chair. Su Wan'er picked up the beach chair like a dedicated logistics manager, and jogged to catch up. When the 3 of them stepped from the shadowy passage onto the brightly lit, massive arena, the 100,000-seat audience fell silent for 2 seconds, then erupted into deafening laughter and chatter. What the hell is that guy in the hoodie doing here? Wrong set? What's that folding chair in the Wind Girl's hand? Are they here to fight or to vacation? Across the arena, 1st High's Thunderstorm Squad stood ready. Leading them was a tall boy with a buzz cut, Guyi. Blue-white lightning arcs crackled arrogantly around him. He looked like a lion poised to strike. Guyi stared at the trio opposite, especially when he saw Su Wan'er prop the beach chair at the arena's edge, and Lin Yuan casually sit down. His face instantly turned livid. Who the hell are you insulting, Xiao Wanqing? Guyi sneered, barely containing his rage. His voice, amplified by the arena's array, echoed throughout. I admit your talent surpasses mine, but bringing an F rank who just sits in a chair, and a bag-carrying support, to fight my full team of mid-first rankers, you're way too arrogant. Xiao Wanqing stood less than half a meter in front of Lin Yuan. She didn't even glance at Guyi, just tilted her head slightly, her cool voice ringing on the stage. How do we fight, senior? Lin Yuan, lounging in the beach chair, dug at his ear. This arena was just mopped yesterday, still a bit damp. He gave a disdainful look at his feet. Let's make this quick. Don't want mud on my soles. Warner, blow the ground. You got it. Sue Warner excitedly snapped her fingers. She didn't summon any offensive wind blades. She just channeled her wind spiritual energy around the beach chair where Lin Yuan sat. She meticulously created an expanding circle of gentle wind to clear the dust. The breeze swept through, clearing all dust and moisture within 3 meters of Lin Yuan's feet, leaving it spotless. The 100,000 spectators watched, stunned. A top-tier A-rank wind genius in a brutal arena match, actually using her power to sweep the floor. Guya's sanity snapped. Die. He roared. His mid-first rank, lightning, spiritual energy erupted without restraint. Raging thunder prison. He slammed his palms together. Dozens of thick blue lightning bolts instantly materialized mid-air. They writhed like furious vipers, carrying the scorched smell of torn air, and savagely rained down upon Xia Wanqing and Lin Yuan's position. Blindingly fast, terrifyingly powerful. The martial school recruiters in the audience sat bolt upright. The destructive force of the strike lives up to the name of an S-rank lightning user. Facing this deluge of raging lightning, Xia Wanqing used no defensive arrays, nor did she unleash the terrifying blizzard that froze the arena that day. She simply stood there, motionless. Her mind flashed back to last night in the underground training room. The absolute vacuum, a law that stripped away elemental flow. If that's the case, then define coldness yourself. A profound, icy blue light flared deep within Xia Wanqing's beautiful dark eyes. She didn't release a single wisp of cold air. Instead, she violently compressed the bean-sized ice core within her to its absolute limit. She raised her slender, fair finger and pointed gently at the roaring lightning in the sky. No overwhelming frost, no grand spectacle, just a single, nearly invisible, hair-thin, transparent thread of ice. Devoid of any dazzling light, it shot forth, silently and subtly from her fingertip. A faint sound, like a hot knife through butter. The next microsecond, the dozen or so raging lightning bolts, brimming with terrifying heat and power, upon touching that transparent ice thread, froze as if time had stopped. The lightning elements, under the terrifying, extreme cold, had their very foundational energy logic instantly frozen to death. The blue arcs solidified into eerie ice sculptures midair, then shattered into harmless ice dust. It drifted down onto the arena floor. Guya's ferocious grin froze on his face. Before he could react, the transparent ice thread, having pierced the lightning, didn't slow in the slightest. It ignored his proud, lightning shield entirely, stopping with cold, cruel precision, less than half an inch from the center of his forehead. A terrifying, absolute zero chill from the thread's tip pierced directly into Guya's brain. His body stiffened violently, sweat beading on his forehead, instantly crystallized into white frost. His pupils contracted sharply. The sheer terror of having one foot in the grave stole the very breath from his lungs. If Xia Wanqing's finger advanced even a millimeter more, his brainstem would freeze into lifeless ice shards in an instant. Dead silence. The entire giant dome arena that holds 100,000 people is at this moment into a dead silence of terror. On the VIP stand, the admissions officers of the martial arts school who were still shaking their heads and signed just now. The pen in his hand fell on the table with a snap. The eyeballs are about to stare out of their sockets. Microscopic law compression. A professor at a top martial arts school jerked to his feet. I was trembling with excitement. There was no escape of strength. Compress absolute zero domain level damage into point-to-point absolute penetration. This is a micro exercise a first-class student who has only been awakened for a few days can do. This is a monster in the ring. Summer evening, Star maintains the posture of one-handed front finger for 1 second and 2 seconds. The two fire teammates behind Guyi. I was so scared that I forgot the gesture of the condensation spell. The referee sat down on the ground with his legs weak. Summer Night, Star did not look back. The cold voice was clearly spread throughout the audience in the PA array. Can you announce the result? The referee just woke up like a dream and swallowed a lot of saliva. The voice trembled with extreme shock. Jiang number 1 middle school Thunderstorm team loses combat ability. Winner, Jiang number 3 middle school. The moment when the voice of Xing Yuan team falls. Summer Evening Star withdraws finger. The ice line in front of Guye's eyebrows instantly dissipated in the air plop. Guyi limps in the ring like a puddle of mud. Breathe the air greedily with a big mouth, and the whole body has been soaked in cold sweat. I don't even have the strength to stand up. Summer Evening Star turned and walked to the beach chair. Senior, let's go. Her tone was as flat as if she had just brushed away a leaf. Lin Yuan stretched and stood up from the beach chair. He looked at Guyi, whose face was dull and still sweating crazily. Perfunctory drum applause. The special effects are well done, but not enough cooling. Lin Yuan yawned and put his hands in his pocket. Take the lead and walk to the stage. Warner's chair will be collected. This chair is quite comfortable to sit on. Take it back to the villa and put it on the balcony. Received Senior Sue Wainer excitedly folded up the folding chair. Like a winning little fox, he followed up. Summer Evening Star naturally falls half a step behind Lin Yuan, stepping on the dry footprints he left behind. Left this piece has been completely into the crazy boiling arena. On this day, all the colleges and universities in Jiangnan City and even the top martial arts schools in the provincial capital. Remember a strange picture. An F-class boy sat in the ring to enjoy the cool. An SSS class iceberg goddess with an invisible line of ice made an S-rank lightning prodigy look like a total joke. Chapter 30, Backlash. The VIP stands at the Jiangnan City arena went completely wild. The elite school recruiters, usually so high and mighty, couldn't even keep up basic decorum now. They were stepping on the backs of the leather seats. craning their necks to see the arena floor. A first-tier beating an S rank? How could such micro-control come from a place like Jiangnan City? Go block them backstage. Whatever the cost, offer it. We must get Xiao Wanqing's special admission contract signed today. The stands were in chaos. In the exclusive tunnel of the waiting area, the team that caused the uproar was strolling out leisurely. Su Wanner was carrying that ridiculously out-of-place beach chair in one hand, a freshly bought ice cola in the other. She was as excited as a proud peacock that just stomped a monster. Senior Lin Yuan, the way you sat there without even batting an eyelid earlier was just insanely cool. That punk Guyi always acts so high and mighty at first high, but today he really kicked a steel plate. Su Wanner chattered away through her straw, reporting the situation. We've made a name for ourselves in one fight. 10 million is within reach. When we get back, I'll show you catalogs for all the top brand automatic massage tubs. We'll buy the most expensive one. Lin Yuan hands his hoodie pockets. Listen to the crisp, chattering voice by his ear and yawned boredly. The tub can wait. Let's deal with this welcoming committee first. Lin Yuan stopped walking. At the exit at the end of the tunnel, it was already jam-packed with recruiters from over a dozen top martial schools and scouts from the 3 major guilds. They were like sharks that smelled blood. Their eyes gleaming green. Their gazes were locked dead on Xia Wanqing walking in the middle. Miss Xia, we're from Mafu First Martial University. Miss Xia, the 3 major guilds are offering a joint S-rank resource package. Just lend us your name. The crowd surged forward, their noisy voices buzzing in the narrow tunnel. It was a maddening din. Xia Wanqing's brow furrowed slightly. She detested this kind of clamorous environment. Deep within her dantian, the ice core that had just been heavily expended, stirred with an irritable pulse from the external commotion. The air around began to subtly cool. Before she could unleash her chill, Lin Yuan took a step forward. He wasn't angry, nor did he release any aura pressure. He just looked at the crowd squeezed together, and uttered 2 flat words. Move. In a microsecond after his voice fell, with no gust of wind or crushing gravity, the dozen-plus recruiters and scouts, red-eyed with urgency, suddenly felt their legs completely lose control. Or rather, the moment Lin Yuan spoke, the spatial coordinates of the area beneath their feet were violently folded in half. Everyone was swept aside like dust by an invisible broom, weirdly and uniformly plastered against the walls on both sides of the passage. Instantly, a straight, 2-meter-wide path was cleared in the middle. What's happening? My body. Spatial? No, there's no spatial rift fluctuation. A group of high-level warriors clung to the walls like geckos, staring in terror at the boy in the old hoodie. So noisy, Lin Yuan didn't even glance at them. He walked in his faded canvas shoes, slowly passing through the middle of the crowd. Xiao Wanqing followed closely, half a meter behind, perfectly aligned. Su Wanna strode past the big shots, carrying her beach chair, head held high. She even turned back to make a playful face. Hey uncles, don't crowd. Private territory, keep your distance. Only after the 3 figures completely vanished outside the venue doors did the strange spatial confinement in the passage abruptly disappear. The big shots slumped to the ground, looking at each other, their backs soaked in cold sweat. 8 p.m., Villa 1 by Moonlight Lake. Only a few dim mood lights were on in the living room. The central air conditioning was set to 24 degrees Celsius. It was so quiet, only the faint hiss from the vents could be heard. Lin Yuan was sunk deep into the soft leather sofa, legs casually propped on the coffee table, holding his old phone. He was playing an old Match 3 puzzle game. The sound of water from the second-floor bathroom stopped. A few minutes later, light footsteps sounded on the stairs. Xiao Wanqing came down. She had just showered. She wore a large, men's white bathrobe. The belt at her waist tied loosely. The collar naturally slanted to one side, due to gravity, revealing a large expanse of skin, pale and cool as jade, and the deep, alluring shadow of her collarbone. Her long, black hair, not dried, lay damply over her shoulders. A few strands of damp hair clung to her flushed cheeks and long, swan-like neck. Drops of water fell from her hair, tracing along the breathtaking line of her collarbone, and slipped into the shadows deep within the bathrobe. Her steps were unsteady. Her breathing was much heavier than usual. Reaching the sofa, she didn't sit in the single armchair opposite. Instead, she sat right next to Lin Yuan, extremely close. So close their arms almost touched. The hem of her bathrobe occasionally brushed against the fabric of Lin Yuan's hoodie. A scent, a mix of high-end shower gel and the girl's unique, cool cedarwood fragrance, forcefully invaded Lin Yuan's nostrils. Lin Yuan's finger, swiping the screen, paused. He closed the game, turned his head, and looked at the person beside him. Xiao Wanqing's face was pale, almost translucent, but the corners of her eyes and cheeks were flushed with a bewitching crimson. She bit her lower lip tightly. Her slender fingers gripped the edge of the leather sofa fiercely. Her knuckles turned white from the strain. Fine beads of fragrant sweat kept seeping from her smooth forehead. Stubborn. Lin Yuan looked at her, struggling so hard to endure. He uttered the 2 words in a flat tone. That ultimate compressed ice line she used in the arena today. It looked effortless, but the mental energy cost was astronomically terrifying, compressing an SSS-grade ocean into a hair-thin needle. For a first-order martial artist who just formed her ice core, it was like using brain matter as fuel, a severe mental overdraft, causing her to lose absolute control over the ice core. Now, the cold energy was rampaging wildly through her meridians. Xiao Wanqing didn't refute him. Her mind felt like 10,000 steel needles stabbing simultaneously, excruciating intertwined with extreme cold, leaving her without the strength to even speak. She just stubbornly inched a bit closer to Lin Yuan. It was kind of instinctive craving of the body for an absolute safe zone when on the verge of losing control. Seeing her so damn stubborn, Lin Yuan sighed helplessly. He didn't speak, nor did he move away. Instead, he naturally extended his right hand. That hand, with its distinct knuckles, slender and warm, crossed a few centimeters of air between them, and directly covered the pale, slender nape of Xia Wanqing's neck. MMPH. A suppressed sound escaped Xia Wanqing's throat abruptly. A muffled groan tinged with a sticky, nasal quality. The warmth from Lin Yuan's palm for Xiao Wanqing, whose meridians were nearly frozen solid at this moment. It felt exactly like a branding iron in a frozen wasteland. That scalding heat settled unhindered on the most sensitive skin of her neck hollow. An overbearing, unreasonable aura of law followed Lin Yuan's fingertips, directly poured into her spine and rudely charged into her energy sea. The absolute zero cold energy that was fiercely rebelling. The moment it touched this aura, it was as if death itself had seized its throat. It became docile, even with a hint of fear, and all retreated to the deepest part of the ice core. The excruciating pain receded like a tide, replaced by a tingling numbness, a shivering sensation that felt like it could melt one's bones. Xiao Wanqing's tense body went completely limp in an instant. Weakened, her upper body uncontrollably slumped forward, until her forehead naturally rested against Lin Yuan's shoulder. Her warm, moist breath sprayed irregularly into the hollow of Lin Yuan's neck. Every breath sends a wave of thrilling heat. The living room is quiet, filled only with their mingled breaths. Lin Yuan's hand remains on the nape of her neck. He can even feel the frantic pulse in her artery. That soft, delicate touch, mixed with her clean scent, in the dim light, pulls this tension to its peak. I told you to compress, not to stake your life on it. Lin Yuan's voice is right by her ear, low, carrying a hint of indulgence, even he hasn't noticed. If you drain your psychic energy again, I won't handle this 300K after-sales service. Xiao Wanqing doesn't lift her head. Her face is buried in his gray sweatshirt. Her breathing gradually steadies. After a long moment, she shifts slightly, not to pull away, but secretly. Her fingers gently pinch the cuff of his sleeve. You have to handle it. I already paid. Her hoarse voice mumbles from the fabric, laced with a prideful, deeply ingrained possessiveness and dependence. Just as this thick, charged atmosphere is about to overflow the room. Click. The smart lock at the entrance beeps crisply. Senior Lin, boss. I'm back with the hottest crawfish and barbecue from West City for a feast. Let's celebrate. One person like us, holding two huge insulated bags. Her words trail off mid-sentence. Her smile freezes. In her view, in the dim living room, Xiao Wanqing in a loose robe is practically nestled in Lin Yuan's arms, her forehead against his shoulder, his hand, resting naturally on that pale, tempting nape. The air turns deadly silent for a second. Su Wanner's mind races. Whoops! Su Wanner exclaims dramatically, squeezing her eyes shut. She turns to face the door. It's too dark. My night blindness is acting up again. I can't see a thing. I'm blind. She babbles, expertly backing toward the dining area, placing the food precisely on the table. Food's on the table. Oh, I just remembered I have 10 sets of exam prep to do. I'm off to study. Senior, boss, take your time. Don't mind me. No need to see me out. Bang. The door was swiftly shut and thoughtfully locked. The whole process, from entering to fleeing, took less than 5 seconds, smooth and seamless. Hearing the door close, Lin Yuan couldn't help but chuckle softly. That wind user's legs are indeed nimble. Xiao Wanqing finally lifted her head from his shoulder. Although her face was still as cold as ice, if you looked closely, you could see her beautiful earlobes, now flushed red, almost dripping with blood. She let go of the hand, pinching Lin Yuan's sleeve, straightened her slightly open bathrobe collar. I'll go change, then we'll eat the crayfish. Xiao Wanqing tried her best to maintain her cool tone as she stood up, and somewhat fled in panic towards the room on the second floor. Lin Yuan watched her somewhat unsteady steps, leaned back on the sofa, picked up a wet wipe from the coffee table, and wiped his hands. The warm, soft sensation seemed to linger in his palm. 10 minutes later, Xiao Wanqing had changed into a conservative black long-sleeved homeware set and returned to the living room. The flush on her face had completely faded, restoring her aloof, untouchable ice queen demeanor. The two sat at the redwood dining table and opened the insulated bag. The aroma of spicy crayfish instantly filled the entire dining room. Lin Yuan put on disposable gloves and skillfully peeled the shells. Su Wanner just sent a message in the group. Xiao Wanqing looked at the small mountain of grilled skewers in front of her, her voice flat. Today's qualifiers gave the 3 major guilds quite a scare. They've already canceled our remaining preliminary round qualifications overnight. Lin Yuan paused his peeling. Canceled qualifications? So the 10 million is gone? Lin Yuan's eyes instantly turned dangerous. If that's the case, you wouldn't mind taking a stroll to the headquarters of the 3 major guilds to have a little chat with them about contractual integrity. No. Xiao Wanqing naturally picked up a whole peel tail from Lin Yuan's plate and put it in her mouth. They've directly advanced our team to tomorrow's finals. Xiao Wanqing swallowed the meat, pulled out a tissue, and wiped the corner of her mouth. Tomorrow's final opponent is the reigning champion from previous years. The elite squad, personally trained by the City Education Bureau. The captain is an S-rank space user. Rumor has it he's already broken through to peak first rank. The guild put out word. If we win, the prize money doubles to 20 million. Hearing the number 20 million, the speed of Lin Yuan's peeling visibly increased. Space user, huh? Lin Yuan tossed a peeled shrimp into Xiao Wanqing's plate and offered a perfunctory comment. Perfect timing to teach him tomorrow what real spatial control is. Finish early, wrap up, go check out bathtubs at the furniture mall in the afternoon. Chapter 31, Spatial Folding. The countdown to the finals of the Jiangnan City Central Arena has entered its final 10 minutes. The roar of the 100,000 strong crowd in the circular stands is deafening. The heat wave feels strong enough to blow the glass dome right off. Media drones hover like a dense swarm of bees, circling the arena platform in a perfect 360-degree coverage. The reigning champion team, the Daggers, the Education Bureau's favorite sons, stand bathed in the spotlight. Their captain, Lu Xinghe, is a peak-level S-rank spatial awakener, clad in expensive silver-white combat gear. His gaze is arrogant. Spatial power is hailed as the most vexing, most elusive king of all abilities. Within the same tier, spatial is practically synonymous with invincibility. You can't even touch the hem of his garment before being sliced to ribbons by spatial blades. In the dimly lit tunnel of the opposing waiting area, Xiao Wanqing leans against the cool metal wall, adjusting the Velcro on her tactical gloves. Today, she wears a form-fitting, pure black high-neck combat suit. The material is incredibly thin and breathable, clinging tightly to her slender yet explosive waistline due to the stifling heat from the arena's lower levels. A fine sheen of sweat glistens on her jade-white nape. A few strands of her raven black hair are damp, clinging suggestively to the hollow of her collarbone. With each rise and fall of her breath, that sliver of pale skin creates a stark, visually arresting contrast against the black fabric. A faint, almost addictive scent of cool cedar drifts quietly through the narrow tunnel. Senior, I just bought this iced oolong tea, light on sugar. No ice, perfectly meeting your health-conscious needs. Sue Warner, dressed in a vibrant pleated skirt and off-white hoodie, skips over like a sprightly little bird. She expertly inserts the straw and hands it to Lin Yuan, who's sprawled in a foldable beach chair. She's completely let herself go now. Ever since recognizing Lin Yuan as a solid golden ticket, she's tossed all that elite student pretense from class 1 right out the window. Now, she's fully embraced the art of being a cheerful, living leg accessory. Lu Xinghe is notoriously pretentious. Sue Warner bites her milk tea straw, grinning as she gives Lin Yuan a pre-match rundown. He'll definitely use spatial jump right off the bat. That guy loves to teleport behind people for a sneak attack at the start. Calls it the art of the assassin. Sunk in the beach chair, Lin Yuan half closes his eyes, takes a sip of the oolong tea through the straw. Teleporting. These days, even crawling through a dog hole gets dressed up so poetically. Lin Yuan lazily lets out a yawn. His gaze swept over Xia, Wanqing not far away, who happened to look up. Their eyes met Lin Yuan's in the dim light. Those cool black eyes held no pre-fight tension. Instead, they held a secret. Anticipation for getting off work to buy a bathtub. Let's go. 20 million is waiting on stage. Lin Yuan stood up from the beach chair, hands in the pockets of his faded gray sweatshirt. All right, senior's on the move, leaving nothing behind. Sue Warner made an exaggerated gesture of invitation. I'll cheer you on from behind. The three stepped out of the shadows, onto the massive alloy stage, 100 meters long and wide. The moment they appeared under the spotlight, a complex wave of sound erupted from the stands. Some marveled at Xiao Wanqing's stunning beauty. Others mocked Lin Yuan's just woke up grandpa look. Lu Xinghe stood at the center of the stage, looking at the odd trio opposite him. A mocking sneer curled his lips. Xiao Wanqing. His voice boomed through the arena speakers. Your absolute zero is strong. Even took out Thunderstorm. Too bad you met me. Your freeze won't be faster than my spatial jump. I won't give you a chance to lock onto me. He pointed a silver-gloved finger arrogantly at Lin Yuan behind Xiao Wanqing. As for the F-rank deadweight who only sits in chairs, I'll toss him off first. So you know, bringing trash to the finals is the dumbest decision you've ever made. Facing this barrage of trash talk, Xiao Wanqing didn't even bat an eye. She stood calmly less than half a meter in front of Lin Yuan, her pale swan-like neck slightly raised, her eyes holding a look of pity for an idiot. Senior, Xiao Wanqing's cool voice rang out. He says he'll throw you off. Lin Yuan scratched his ear. Kids these days talk too much. Lin Yuan sighed impatiently. Warner, tell me when the countdown ends. Can't be bothered to watch the screen. Got it. 9. Sue Warner's clear voice counted down on stage, like a merciless timer. 3, 2, 1. Fight. The microsecond, the electronic tone faded. Lu Xinghe moved. No, he didn't move. He vanished. No air disturbance on stage, just a faint buzzing of torn space. S-rank spatial talent, tier 1 exclusive skill, spatial jump. Top university scouts in the VIP box gasped. Perfect spatial entry. No hesitation. He's mastered the fundamentals of tier 1 space. Xiao Wanqing's absolute zero requires a time lock to complete. But Lu Xinghe had already slipped in her blind spot. The next second, Lu Xinghe's figure abruptly materialized behind Lin Yuan. The vicious grin on his face hadn't even fully formed, before his right hand had already condensed the transparent, sharp spatial blade. He viciously slashed it down toward the back of Lin Yuan's neck. Go down first, trash. Lu Xinghe roared in his heart. At this critical moment, Lin Yuan didn't even turn his head. His hands still in his hoodie pockets, he just casually tilted his head to the side. Sneaking through spatial rifts is what you call a space type. Lin Yuan's voice wasn't loud, but it carried an absolute coldness that seemed to pierce the soul. Just as the spatial blade in Lu Xinghe's hand was about to touch Lin Yuan's hoodie. Halt. Just one word. No overwhelming pressure, no blinding energy glow. In the same microsecond that word was uttered, Lu Xinghe suddenly felt the air around him. No, the spatial coordinates he occupied were completely dead. His proud spatial laws, like a fluid that was just flowing, instantly solidified into hard concrete. Lu Xinghe remained in his slashing posture, his entire body eerily frozen in midair. His pupils contracted sharply, violent horror surging in his eyes. He couldn't breathe, couldn't blink. Even the spiritual core in his dantian stopped rotating. He was directly frozen within a spatial fracture. What? What is this situation? The commentator in the stand's voice cracked. Did Lu Xinghe make a mistake? Why is he stuck midair? Nonsense. That's no mistake. An old professor from Tianshu Academy in the VIP stand shattered his water glass. His whole body trembling like a sieve, he stared fixedly at the arena. That's spatial folding. It directly locked the three-dimensional coordinate system he was in. How can a human possibly do that? On the arena, Lin Yuan didn't even spare a glance at the S-rank genius frozen as a statue in midair. He slowly pulled his right hand out of his pocket. It was a clean, well-defined hand. Looking at Lu Xinghe in midair, as casually as flipping a page, he gently turned his palm, half a circle in the air. Get down. Lin Yuan said flatly. Hum. Above the entire giant arena, a teeth-grating sound of spatial distortion echoed. Under the horrified gaze of 100,000 spectators, the 2-meter square of space containing Lu Xinghe, like a Rubik's Cube gripped by an invisible giant hand, was brutally, unreasonably, physically folded 90 degrees. The instant release of the space lock is accompanied by a horrible sense of weightlessness. Lu Xinghe and the 2 teammates behind him were still in a daze. It's like being outrageously drawn by an invisible superstone thrower. The 3 of them didn't even make a full scream. Directly into 3 residual shadows. Draw a funny parabola in midair. 3 muffle bangs. It was firmly hit on the metal anti-collision net more than 100 meters outside the challenge arena. Then it slowly slides down to the ground like 3 PUDs of mud. And it's a direct littering at the law level. Countdown ends from the start of the race. The whole process until the defending champion Sharp Knife team flew out of the field. Only absurd 3 seconds of dead silence. The 100,000 person arena that was boiling to overturn the dome just now. It's so quiet now that you can hear a needle drop on the ground. Everyone with their mouths wide open feels like their brain processors have completely burned out. No fierce elements on the boom, no gorgeous move position. That F-grade punk in an old hoof suit, just flipping your palms and then the space genius who claims to be invincible in the same order. Like a rag doll with the space he's in. He was thrown out of the field in disgust. This is a fucking F-class physical enhancement. I don't know who broke down in the audience. Completely broke the dead silence of the venue. Monster. This is the law of human skin. Monster on the ring. Suwana swallowed a big mouth. Although I have long known that Senior is a hang force. But this scene of folding space as paper still make her heart beat like crazy. She wittingly grabbed the microphone from the referee's table. The crisp voice spread all over the court. Uncle referee, don't stand still. Should we announce our bonus? Our Senior is still rushing to buy a bathtub. The referee wiped the sweat all over his head. The sound was completely altered by the extreme shock. This is the championship of this competition. Jiangnan Sanzhong Xingyuan team. Bonus of 20 million star coins. The golden fireworks on the big screen exploded perfunctorily because the backstage director hasn't recovered from a shock. Xia Evening Star stood quietly beside Lin Yuan. The cool face. At the moment finally emerged a tiny but thrilling smile. She could feel the moment when Lin Yuan flipped space just now. The kind of unconscious absolute coercion on the body. How reassuring. Let's go. Lin Yuan yawned and put his hand back in his pocket. The lights in the challenge arena to the furniture city are so dazzling that my eyes hurt. Okay, Senior, please slow down and I'll call you a car. Bai Su on air is like a dedicated personal butler, scampering ahead to clear the way. Xiao Wanqing didn't speak, naturally striding forward with her long legs, keeping close to Lin Yuan's side. Their shoulders are separated by an ambiguous 10-centimeter gap. The faint, youthful warmth and crisp cedar scent, amid the noisy crowd exiting, became the only sensations allowed near Lin Yuan. Under the awed, fervent gazes of 100,000 behind them, the 3 casually walked out of the arena. As for the 20 million prize, to the underground kingpin and top chaebol heiress of Jiangnan City, it was just a ticket to buy a massage tub. Chapter 32, Cashing Out. The largest Xinglong home furnishings mall in Jiangnan City. The air conditioning was blasting. The polished marble floor reflected the luxurious crystal chandelier overhead. A faint citrus scent drifted in the air. The high-end bathroom section on the top floor had few customers. Lin Yuan was lying in a stellar deep sea priced at 1.2 million. Water circulation massage tub. The tub was empty, but his hands were cradling his head. His body comfortably sunk into the ergonomic curve. He let out a contented sigh. Senior, this model has a constant temperature hot spring simulation system and a fully automatic water massage function. Suwana leaned over the tub's edge, holding the brochure. Like a professional top salesperson, her big eyes sparkling. They say the martial arts masters in the provincial capital love soaking in this model to soothe their chi and blood. It's super popular. Lin Yuan, eyes closed, adjusted his shoulder position. This one, it's big enough doesn't cramp my neck. Xiao Wanqing stood half a meter away. She still wore the same pure black high-neck combat suit today. The slight warmth and sweat from the arena's lower levels had already faded. Now, standing straight, hands casually in her trench coat pockets. Hearing Lin Yuan decide, she leaned forward slightly, looking down at the man in the tub. The movement made the tight black collar around her neck part slightly. Her pale, slender swan neck under the warm overhead light gleamed like cold jade. The contours of her deep-set collarbone cast an alluring shadow. A clean scent of cedar, mixed with a lingering trace of her body's warmth, carried by the cool air, drifted thread by thread into Lin Yuan's nostrils. Lin Yuan opened his eyes, his gaze skimming past that striking pale expanse. He paused for half a second, then naturally looked away. Boss, is this tub on the company account or personal? Lin Yuan asked casually. Xiao Wanqing straightened up, tucking that glimpse of spring scenery back into the black fabric. Deducted from the 20 million prize, she said coolly. He took out his communicator and headed to the front desk to call a salesperson to ring up the purchase. Click, click, click. A crisp sound of high heels tapping on marble echoed. It approached steadily from the end of the corridor. A woman in a wine-red business suit entered the bathroom section. Her wavy hair cascaded her waist, and her red lips were striking. Her figure, accentuated by the well-tailored suit, was curvaceous. On her chest, she wore a pure gold badge depicting a water droplet entwined with a sword. This was Su Hongxiu, vice president of the Abyss Guild, one of the 3 major guilds. A 5th-order water grandmaster. Truly impressive. Su Hongxiu stopped a few steps away from the bathtub. She smiled, looking at the 3 high school students, and finally, her gaze passed over Xiao Wanqing, landing directly on Lin Yuan lying in the bathtub. The 20 million prize money hasn't even warmed your pockets, and you're already buying a bathtub. Your champion team certainly has a unique style. Su Hongxiu pulled a black and gold-edged magnetic card from her handbag. Holding it between 2 fingers, she extended forward. I'm here to deliver the prize. The Abyss Guild values efficiency. The money's all on there. Pin is 6 zeros. Xiao Wanqing's eyes grew cold. She could sense the dangerous aura emanating from this woman. The ice core within her dantian instinctively spun faster. And at the moment, Su Hongxiu offered the card. A subtle, pervasive spiritual energy, characteristic of 5th Order Water Grandmaster, transformed into countless invisible, transparent water threads. They silently snaked through the air's humidity, coiling towards Lin Yuan. A probe. The scene of spatial folding on the arena was too bizarre. Su Hongxiu had come personally to deliver the money, to use her masterful water element microcontrol, to gauge this boy's true capabilities. Once the water threads touched his skin, she could instantly discern whether his meridians flowed with martial arts vital energy, or some kind of high-level magical artifact.
水似无声无息，距离林渊的鼻尖只剩下不到1寸。林渊依然躺在浴缸里，他看着天花板上的水晶灯，连躲的意思都没有，只是眉头微微皱了一下。空气太潮了，骨头疼。低沉散漫的一句话从他嘴里吐出，没有灵力爆发，没有威压降临，但就在这7个字落下的瞬间，整个高端卫浴区数百平米的空间内，世界底层的物理法则被强行篡改了。潮湿这个概念被直接剥夺。苏红秀释放出的那千百根5阶灵力水丝，连个泡都没冒，直接在半空中蒸发成了虚无。这不是被高温烤干，而是这片空间在这一刻不再允许水元素的存在。不仅如此，苏红秀猛地瞪大了眼睛，她突然感觉喉咙像吞了一把干燥的沙子，干渴的要命。她气海里那颗温养了几十年的5阶水系灵核，此刻像是一块皲裂的旱地，彻底停止了转动。一丝冷汗刚从她光洁的额头上渗出来，还没等凝结成水珠，就直接干涸消失了。窒息，缺水的窒息感瞬间包裹了这位5阶大宗师。他引以为傲的水系异能，在这个男生的一句话面前被剥夺得干干净净。苏红秀脸上的媚笑彻底僵住了，红唇因为极度的干燥而泛起了一层白皮。他惊骇欲绝地往后连退了3步，高跟鞋一崴，差点跌坐在大理石地面上。这不是法器，这是言出法随，是概念级的法则抹除。你苏红秀死死掐着自己的手腕，浑身发抖，一句话都说不完整。那股深入骨髓的恐惧让他甚至不敢再直视浴缸里那个男生的眼睛。林渊撑着亚克力边缘，慢吞吞地从浴缸里坐了起来。他越过夏婉欣，走到苏红秀面前，伸手抽走了他指尖夹着的那张黑金卡。送钱就送钱，别乱放技能。林渊看着他，语气平淡的没有一丝波澜。这浴缸挺贵的，弄湿了算谁的？他转身把黑金卡塞进夏婉欣的风衣口袋里，手指不经意间擦过夏婉欣的腰侧，惹得他睫毛轻轻颤了一下。老板，结账。林渊打了个哈欠，对旁边已经看傻了眼的苏尔招了招手。婉儿，去跟销售说一声，今晚就送到明月湖别墅。我要泡澡。啊？哦，好的学长。马上办妥。苏尔一个机灵回过神来，接过夏婉欣递来的卡，像阵风一样冲向了收银台。夏婉欣没有去看那个还将在原地瑟瑟发抖的5阶宗师，她只是静静地跟在林渊身边，两人并肩朝着电梯口走去，直到他们的背影彻底消失在拐角。卫浴区里那种被强行剥夺了水元素的干燥感才突兀的消失。苏红秀扶着旁边的墙壁，大口大口地喘息着，空气里重新充斥着的湿度让她有一种劫后余生的庆幸。她颤抖着拿出通讯器，拨通了工会总部的加密频道。喂，会长。苏尔的声音嘶哑的可怕，把之前针对3中那小子的所有试探计划全部取消，立刻，马上。他根本不是什么体术强者。苏红秀看着空荡荡的走廊，眼底满是战栗。第33章恒温浴缸。深渊工会的办事效率高得离谱。傍晚6点，那台标价120万的星际深海全自动水流按摩浴缸就已经稳妥地安装在了明月湖1号别墅的2楼超大主卧浴室里。几个来安装的高阶水系技师全程连大气都不敢喘。他们可是接到了副会长苏红秀的死命令，就算把别墅的地板舔干净，也绝对不能惹这屋里的任何人不高兴。装完浴缸，技师们连口水都没敢喝，逃命似的撤了。苏尔有眼色的把浴室里里外外打扫了一遍，点上了一熏极淡的安神香，然后拉着胖子去1楼厨房研究新菜谱了。主卧浴室极大，足有40-50平米，干湿分离做得极好，深蓝色的浴缸嵌在巨大的落地窗前。哗啦，林渊整个人沉浸温度刚刚好的水里，发出一声舒坦的喟叹。恒温灵泉模拟系统启动，细密的水流带着恰到好处的力道，不断推拿冲刷着他的后背和肩颈，这才是退休该有的生活。林渊闭着眼睛，双手随意地搭在浴缸宽大的黑金边缘上，任由温热的水汽在浴室里氤氲升腾。而在距离浴缸不到1.5米的干湿分离玻璃门外，夏婉欣静静地坐在一张防水的软凳上。她刚洗过澡，身上穿着一件薄软的纯黑色真丝睡裙，外面披了一件同色的开衫。冰河凝聚后，她虽然能短暂离开林渊，但今天在擂台上那消耗精神力的一击冰线，让她的气海依然处于一种极度不稳定的空虚状态。安全距离被强制缩短到了1.5米。为了压制那种随时可能反扑的绝对零度，她只能被迫待在这个水汽弥漫的空间里。 浴室里的温度很高，温热的白色水蒸气丝丝缕缕地漫过来，遇到夏婉心身上无意识散发出的清冷寒意，瞬间液化成细密的小水珠。这些水珠悄无声息地附着在她身上。原本就轻薄柔软的真丝布料，因为吸收了潮湿的水汽，开始微微贴合在肌肤上，将她那不盈一握的纤细腰线惹眼地勾勒了出来。热气熏蒸下，夏婉心原本苍白如雪的脸颊泛起了一层迷离的绯红，一滴晶莹的汗水，或者说是凝结的水珠，从她光洁的额角渗出。她缓慢暧昧地划过那张冷艳绝伦的侧脸，顺着修长白皙的天额颈一路往下，最终没入深陷的锁骨阴影中，消失在真皮开山的边缘。她双腿并拢，双手轻轻交握在膝盖上，眼神刻意避开玻璃门内那个正泡在水里的男人，死死盯着地面大理石的纹理。但哪怕隔着一层朦胧的水雾，林渊那种属于成年男性的充满爆发力却又极度放松的身体轮廓，依然若隐若现地闯入他的余光。呼吸不可抑制地乱了一拍，空气里沐浴露的清香混合着他身上独有的冷冽雪松味，在湿热的狭小空间里被无限放大，发酵出一种让人血脉奔张的黏腻张力。哗啦，浴缸里传来一声水声，林渊睁开一只眼，偏过头，视线穿过玻璃门，落在了外面的夏婉心身上。他那双常年透着慵懒的黑眸，在水汽的氤氲下显得格外深邃，目光自然地掠过他被水汽打湿贴在颈窝处的那几缕黑色发丝，以及那抹被热气蒸得绯红的耳垂。老板，林渊搭在浴缸边缘的手指随意地敲了两下，水珠顺着他骨节分明的手背滴落。他嗓音因为泡了热水而显得有些低沉微哑。带薪陪月啊！夏婉心的身子微不可察地僵了一下，他抬起头，那双清澈的黑眸极力维持着平时的高冷，冷冷地隔着水雾瞪了他一眼。合同规定。夏婉心的声音有些发紧，喉咙里那股不自觉的干涩让他咽了一小口唾沫。我的安全距离现在只有1.5米，是你非要在这个时候泡澡，这就怪错人了吧？林渊轻笑了一声，换了个更舒服的姿势。水面因为他的动作荡起一圈涟漪，2000万的奖金今天刚到账，我享受一下自己的劳动成果，合情合理。倒是你，这屋里快40度了，你那冰河还没把水汽冻上，是打算在这儿给我当全自动桑拿房的蒸汽机？这种毫不掩饰的调侃，换做别人，夏婉心早就一道冰线刺过去了。但面对林渊，他气海里那股傲慢的绝对零度，温顺的连个冰渣子都接不出来。他咬了咬被热气熏得嫣红的下唇，闭嘴，泡你的澡。夏婉心生硬地转过脸，留给林渊一个好看的侧脸轮廓和一截因为隐忍而微微绷紧的白皙后颈。看着他这副死鸭子嘴硬，明明害羞到了极点，还要强装镇定的反差模样，林渊嘴角的笑意深了几分。逗这丫头确实比玩手机消消乐有意思多了。他没再说话，闭上眼睛继续享受这价值120万的水流推拿。浴室里重新恢复了安静，只有细微的流水声和两人在水汽中交错的呼吸声。这种没有硝烟的暧昧拉扯，在这个狭小的只能容纳彼此气息的空间里被无限放大，拉满到了极致。同一时间，省城天书学院最高机密会议室与江南市那栋别墅里的慵懒暧昧截然不同，这里的气氛压抑的仿佛要滴出水来。一张巨大的全息投影桌旁坐着7、8个头发花白的老者，他们身上散发出来的灵力波动，最弱的也是5阶巅峰，随便拉出去一个都能在联邦武道界引起地震。坐在主位的是天书学院的副院长6阶空间系大宗师宋渊。江南市送来的加密日志大家都看过了吧？宋渊手指敲击着桌面，声音沉冷。全息屏幕上正在反复播放那段从江南市军方天网底层强行复原的光谱波段，4个红点在一个灰色的波段闪过之后突兀的被抹除了。炎症回来后，道心受损，已经闭死关了。一个老者脸色难看，一句话剥夺4阶的火系元素掌控，这种手段闻所未闻，哪怕是我们这些老家伙也只能依靠高阶领域去压制，绝不可能做到从法则底层去抹除。不仅如此，另一位负责情报的老者调出了今天下午江南市总决赛的录像，看看这个 S 级空间系天才1阶巅峰的陆星河在使用空间跳跃的瞬间，被这人单手折叠了空间坐标，直接扔出了场外。录像定格在林渊翻转手掌的那一瞬间，会议室里死寂一片。宋渊身为6阶空间系大宗师，看到这一幕，瞳孔剧烈的收缩成了针尖大小。这不是空间异能。宋渊的双手死死捏住太师椅的扶手，手背上青筋暴起。空间异能是借用空间的力量，而他是在命令空间，他在篡改这个世界的3维设定。此话一出，在座的所有老怪物全都倒吸了一口冷气。命令法则，江南市那种浅水坑里怎么会突然冒出这种连等级都无法评估的禁忌存在？更诡异的是，各大世家和军方的绝密数据库里根本查不到这个叫林渊的任何底细。他就像是凭空出现的一个高3学生，伪装成了一个 F 级的肉体强化。院长，这种不可控的怪物如果放任不管，一旦他失控，整个联邦都会面临灾难。我们要不要向最高议会申请裁决令？愚蠢！宋渊猛地一拍桌子，厉声打断了那个提议的老者。裁决令？你去裁决一个能言出法随、剥夺概念的存在？你是嫌我们天书学院活得太长了吗？宋渊深吸了一口气，强行让自己冷静下来。深渊工会那边传来暗报， 苏红秀今天下午亲自去试探过，结果5阶水系大宗师被当场剥夺了潮师的概念，差点被活活渴死。对方没有杀他，只是拿走了2000万的比赛奖金，去买了个浴缸。听到买了个浴缸这5个字，会议室里这群见多识广的老怪物们表情一个个变得精彩。这种能把天筒个窟窿的活神仙灭了4个打手，打飞了一个 S 级天才，下封了一个招生办主任，剥夺了一个大宗师的元素，结果转头拿着钱去家具城买了个洗澡盆。他没有野心，也没有破坏的欲望，他现在的状态更像是在红尘里养老。宋渊做出了最终的判断，他环视了一圈会议室，下达了最高级别的封口令：传我的命令，撤回所有在江南市的情报人员。天书学院任何导师、学生绝对不允许以任何借口去招惹高39班的任何人。宋渊看着屏幕上林渊那张永远透着散漫的侧脸，眼底闪过深深的敬畏。记住，只要他不主动拆了这片天，我们就当江南市从来没有这个人。第34章内部冻结。江南市郊外7号军事封锁区，这里是通往高级灵力秘境的唯一入口。3步一岗，5步一哨，荷枪实弹的城防军将方圆几公里围得铁桶一般。巨大的合金门扉后，隐隐透出空间扭曲的幽蓝色光芒。早上8点，入口外的集散广场上已经聚集了50-60号人，除了江南市本地的高校精英，更多的是从省城和其他地级市赶来的天才。这50个名额珍贵，能站在这里的最差也是觉醒了 A 级天赋，踏入1阶中段的佼佼者。学长，吸管。苏尔清脆的声音在广场边缘响起。他今天没穿校服，套了件轻便的米色防风外套，下半身是修身的战术短裤，2条白皙的腿晃得人眼晕。但最惹眼的是他背后背着的一个体积夸张的军用战术背包，背包左边挂着一口平底锅，右边别着一套调料盒，网兜里甚至还塞着几盒真空包装的高级和牛，活脱脱一个移动厨房。林渊双手插在洗得发白的灰色卫衣口袋里，自然地低下头，咬住苏尔递过来的冰豆浆吸管，慢吞吞地吸了一口。这风系当搬运工确实比胖子好使，至少走路没喘气声。林渊满意地评价了一句：那是，我在背包底下加了3个微型浮空风阵，一点都不重，只要能让学长在秘境里吃好睡好，我这 A 级风系就算物尽其用了。苏尔狗腿地笑弯了眼。周围那些来自省城的天才们看着这诡异的组合，眉头全都皱成了川字。这江南市今年是没人了吗？怎么放了几个奇葩进来？那个背锅的女生倒是 A 级风系，但那个穿破卫衣的男的身上连一点灵力波动都没有。F 级，这种垃圾是怎么混进高级秘境名单的？几个省城的世家子弟毫不掩饰眼底的鄙夷。在这群人眼里，秘境是拿命搏前程的修罗场，这3个人却搞得像是去郊外春游。在林渊身侧，夏婉欣静静地站着，她今天穿了一件纯黑色的高领修身作战服，剪裁贴合她纤细窈窕的腰线，长发用一根简单的发圈扎成高马尾，露出那洁莹白如冷玉般的修长天鹅颈。初秋的晨风吹过，将她身上那股干净的雪松冷香若有若无地送到林渊的鼻腔里。他没有理会周围那些刺耳的议论，那双清冷的黑眸微微低垂，精神力如同细腻的触角，正在体内反复模拟着昨晚林渊教给他的内部概念冻结。外放，向内定义。哟，这不是江南市那个传得沸沸扬扬的 SSS 级冰山美人吗？一道带着轻浮与傲慢的声音打破了3人周围的清静。一个穿着暗金色定制战术服、梳着背头的青年，在一群人的簇拥下走了过来。他胸口别着一枚显眼的徽章，省城4大家族之一赵家。赵括 S 级精细1阶巅峰，在省城也是排得上号的天才。他径直走到距离夏婉欣3米左右的位置停下，眼神肆无忌惮地在夏婉欣那深陷的锁骨和被作战服包裹的腰线上打量了一圈。夏婉欣是吧？百闻不如一见。赵括嘴角勾起一抹自认潇洒的笑意。这高级秘境里最差的都是 C 级凶兽，你带着一个背锅的保姆和一个浑身没有半点灵力的 F 级废物进去就是找死。不如这样，你加入我的队伍，我保你。滚！平淡没有任何情绪起伏的一个字从夏婉欣红润的唇瓣中吐出。赵括的笑容僵在了脸上。他堂堂省城赵家的少爷，主动屈尊降贵来拉拢一个地级市的女生，竟然被当众骂了一个滚字。你别给脸，不要脸！赵括眼神一阴，身上的 S 级精细灵力瞬间爆发，周围空气里的金属元素疯狂汇聚，发出一阵令人牙酸的金属摩擦声。我倒要看看你到底有什么资本狂，就凭你身后这个只会喝豆浆的 F 级小白脸。赵括冷笑一声，嚣张地往前迈了一大步，直接踏入了1米5的绝对领域边缘。就在他的脚尖落下的那一微秒，林渊连眼皮都没抬，只是散漫地咬着吸管。而夏婉欣终于抬起了头，那双清澈的黑眸里瞬间亮起一抹深邃到极点的幽蓝色光芒。他没有像觉醒那天一样释放出那种让全场结冰的恐怖暴风雪，他甚至没有抬起手，只是安静地站在原地看着赵括。脑海中庞大而凝练的精神力如同一张无形的巨网，瞬间覆盖了周身10米的空间。冻结，夏婉欣在心底冷酷地定义了这个概念，不是冻结空气，不是冻结水流，而是精准地锁定了赵括体内的所有水分、血液、细胞液、关节滑液。噗！赵括刚才还嚣张跋扈的步伐生硬地僵在了半空中，他 他脸上的表情在这一瞬间变得惊悚。他突然发现自己的身体失去了控制，一种无法用语言形容的恐怖深寒，不是从外面入侵，而是直接从他的骨髓、血管深处轰然炸开。没有冰霜，没有雪花，但他能清晰地听到自己血液里接出细小冰晶的咔咔声。赵括的喉咙里发出痛苦却又微弱的像蚊子一样的嘶吼，他的嘴唇瞬间变成了骇人的青紫色，皮肤下的血管高高鼓起，呈现出一种将死的灰白。砰！他整个人像一截僵硬的木头，直挺挺地跪砸在坚硬的水泥地上，双手死死掐住自己的脖子，眼球因为极度的痛苦和缺氧而突出，浑身剧烈地抽搐着。死寂！整个集散广场瞬间陷入了死寂。那些刚才还在看热闹的省城天才们，一个个像是被掐住了脖子的鸭子，张大嘴巴，满脸的惊骇欲绝。怎么回事？没有看到任何魔法起手式，没有感觉到任何温度的下降，赵括怎么就突然像条濒死的狗一样倒在地上抽搐了？这是什么邪术？赵括身后的几个小弟吓得连连后退，根本不敢上前去扶。夏婉心微微喘了一口气，第一次在实战中使用内部概念冻结，对精神力的微操要求极高，但效果远比他想象的还要恐怖。3秒，林渊松开吸管，随意地瞥了一眼跪在地上翻白眼的赵括，比昨晚在地下室模拟的时候慢了 0.5 秒。不过对付这种垃圾也算够用了。林渊的声音在死寂的广场上显得格外清晰。夏婉心转过头看着林渊，原本清冷的眼底隐秘地闪过一丝求表扬的亮光。下次会更快，他轻声说道。林渊不置可否地耸了耸肩，他没有再去管地上那个快要被自己体液冻死的省城天才。当！就在这时，广场前方的巨大合金门扉轰然开启，驻军长官拿着扩音器大喊：空间通道已稳定，高级灵力秘境熔岩峡谷开启，所有名额拥有者依次进入。熔岩峡谷，苏尔咬了咬嘴唇，听名字就很热啊。学长，咱们赶紧进去吧，趁现在早上还有点凉快。走吧。林渊双手插兜，慢吞吞地朝着幽蓝色的空间通道走去。夏婉心自然地跟上，步伐轻盈，那截白皙的后颈在初秋的阳光下晃过一抹冷面的弧度，直到3人的背影彻底消失在通道光幕里。广场上的那些省城天才们才猛地回过神来，几个小弟赶紧冲上去，用狂暴的火系异能疯狂炙烤赵括的身体，才勉强把这个 S 级天才从鬼门关里拉了回来。一阵短暂的失重感过后，眼前的景象豁然开朗，没有了江南市初秋的凉爽，取而代之的是恐怖的滚烫热浪。暗红色的天空，皲裂的焦土，远处是一座座正在往外喷吐着黑色火山灰的活火山，空气里的温度直逼60度。刚刚踏出通道的其他高校学生瞬间热得汗流浃背，纷纷调动体内的灵力，苦苦支撑起隔热护盾。卧槽，这什么鬼地方？这谁顶得住啊？苏尔刚进来1秒，额头上就冒出了一层细密的汗珠，手里的风系灵力赶紧运转，试图吹走周围的燥热，但吹过来的风都是烫的。夏婉心微微蹙眉，这里的火元素狂躁，如果是以前，这种环境绝对会引发他体内冰河的剧烈反扑，但现在他只是觉得有些闷热，气海内的冰河依然安稳如山。他偏过头看向身旁的林渊，林渊依然穿着那件长袖的灰色卫衣，他抬头看了一眼暗红色的天空，嫌弃地皱了皱眉。热死了！他不耐烦地叹了口气，没有结印，没有调动任何灵力，林渊只是随意地在半空中打了一个清脆的响指。降温24度，只有平淡的6个字。嗡，没有寒气弥漫，也没有狂风呼啸。就在这个响指落下的那一微秒，以林渊为圆心，半径10米的圆形空间内，这片高级秘境里狂暴不讲理的高温法则被蛮横毫不留情地强行抹除了。炎热这个物理概念在这10米范围内被直接复写成了恒定舒适的24度恒温。前一秒还热得吐舌头的苏尔，下一秒就感觉到一股干爽，像是秋日午后空调房里的清凉，瞬间包裹了全身。卧槽！苏尔目瞪口呆地看着周围扭曲的热浪被生硬地隔绝在10米之外，狠狠咽了一口唾沫。他熟练地卸下背上的巨大背包，拉开拉链，从里面抽出一把折叠沙滩椅，甚至还掏出了一把遮阳伞，啪嗒一声撑开。学长，您的专属恒温区已经就位，您躺着，我去前面探探路，看有没有什么瞎了眼的变异牛羊给您加餐。林渊满意的点了点头，自然地躺进了沙滩椅里，双腿交叠。夏婉心站在沙滩椅旁，感受着这奢侈的24度微风。他垂下眼睫，看了一眼林渊那副悠哉悠哉的模样，嘴角那一抹清浅的笑意再也压不住了。第35章和牛烧烤。熔岩峡谷的天空像是一块被烧得通红的铁板，连空气都因为极度的高温而呈现出一种水波纹般的扭曲，到处都是暗红色的焦土和流淌着岩浆的裂缝，偶尔有1-2阵风刮过，卷起的也是刺鼻的硫磺味和滚烫的火山灰。对于第一次踏入高级秘境的见习期或者一阶武者来说，这种极端的环境本身就是一种残酷的折磨，灵力稍微运转不畅，肺管子都会被吸进去的热气燎出水泡。然而在这片宛如炼狱的峡谷边缘，画风却诡异的让人怀疑人生。一把极具热带风情的折叠沙滩已稳稳地撑在焦土上，旁边立着一把巨大的防紫外线遮阳伞。 林渊穿着那件万年不变的灰色长袖卫衣，舒舒服服地陷在椅子里。他左手端着那杯还带着水珠的冰镇豆浆，右手拿着个旧手机，正百无聊赖地切着单机版的水果。以他为圆心，半径10米的范围内，没有硫磺味，没有滚烫的火山灰，只有江南市初秋那种干爽、舒适的让人昏昏欲睡的24度微风，仿佛这片空间被一把无形的手术刀精准地切割了下来，强行拼贴在了这片末日废土上。在沙滩以不到半米的位置，夏婉欣安静地站着。他没有去做苏尔贴心准备的另一把小马扎，在这奢侈的24度恒温区里，他气海深处那颗原本应该被火元素刺激的暴躁不堪的冰河，此刻安分的像个乖巧的孩子。初秋的黑色高领做战服紧贴着他的身躯，勾勒出少女纤细却充满爆发力的腰线。因为之前在外面稍微沾染了一点热气，他那银白如冷玉般的额角渗出了一层细密的香汗。一滴汗水顺着他凌厉冷艳的下颌线滑落，流经修长脆弱的天鹅颈，最终悄无声息地没入深黑色的衣领深处。纯黑的布料与冷白的肌肤在遮阳伞投下的阴影里，形成了一种极具视觉张力的极致拉扯，安静、致命，却又带着一种独属于少女的鲜活。学长，老板，我回来了！一道清脆、带着浓浓兴奋的声音打破了这片24度空间的宁静。苏尔像只敏捷的飞鸟，从远处的滚烫焦土上一路狂奔过来。他身上环绕着一层淡青色的风系护盾，用来隔绝外面的高温。在他的身后，几道凌厉的锋刃正像拖车绳一样，死死捆着一头体长超过5米、浑身覆盖着暗红色鳞片的巨型蜥蜴，硬生生的在地上拖出了一道深深的沟壑。C 级凶兽，熔岩巨蜥。放到外面，这玩意儿的一尾巴能把一辆装甲车抽成2截。但此刻，他已经被锋刃切断了4肢的筋腱，只能绝望地张开血盆大口，发出嘶哑的咆哮。扑通！苏尔一脚踏进10米的恒温区，舒服地发出一声长长的喟叹，然后撤掉风系护盾，把那头熔岩巨蜥像扔垃圾一样扔在了恒温区的边缘。学长，您看这头蜥蜴怎么样？苏尔狗腿地凑到林渊的沙滩椅旁边，献宝似的指着那头还在挣扎的凶兽。我刚才去前面探路，刚好碰见这大块头在岩浆池边上睡觉。我寻思着，这种成天泡在火山里的异兽，肉质肯定紧实，用来切片烤肉绝对是一绝。林渊停下滑手机的手指，掀起眼皮看了一眼那头面目狰狞的巨蜥，太丑了，看着影响食欲。林渊嫌弃地皱了皱眉，随便处理一下，把后腿肉割下来就行，其他的扔远点，别脏了这块地。好嘞。苏尔熟练地从那个巨大的战术背包里掏出工兵铲和一套精致的便携式烧烤架。对于普通学生来说 ，C 级凶兽是噩梦，但对于彻底放飞自我的苏尔来说，这就是行走的顶级食材。有林渊这座能无视世界法则的活神先在背后坐镇，他现在看秘境里的一切生物都自动带上了一层美食滤镜。熔岩巨蜥似乎听懂了他们的话，发出一声狂暴的怒吼，张开满是獠牙的大嘴，竟然硬生生地挣脱了锋刃的束缚，拖着残废的4肢，凶悍地朝着距离他最近的夏婉欣扑了过去。滚烫的腥风扑面来，夏婉欣没有后退，也没有去拿任何武器，她只是静静地站在原地，那双清冷的黑眸微微垂下，看着那头扑到半空中的丑陋巨兽。脑海中林渊昨晚的教导清晰地闪过，法则是用来踩的，不要去释放温度，去定义规则。夏婉欣庞大而内敛的精神力，以她为中心，瞬间化作一张无形的大网，精准地将那头巨蜥完全笼罩。剥夺温度，内部冻结。夏婉欣在心底冷酷地落下了这个念头。没有漫天飞舞的冰霜，没有惊天动地的元素碰撞，身处半空中的熔岩巨蜥，那双狂暴的暗黄色树瞳里突兀地闪过一丝极致的恐惧。咔一声只有在极度安静下才能听见的微弱结冰声从巨蜥的体内传出。这头常年生活在几百度岩浆周围的火系凶兽，它体内滚烫的血液、沸腾的细胞液，在这一微秒内被一股不讲理的法则力量从分子层面上强行剥夺了所有的热量。它甚至连惨叫都没来得及发出，庞大的身躯在半空中生硬地僵住，然后像是一块被彻底冻透的生铁，砰的一声重重地砸在恒温区的边缘。没有外伤，体表甚至连一点白霜都没有，但他已经死得透透的了，内脏在瞬间化作了一滩没有任何生机的坚硬冰渣。秒杀，概念级内部冻结。苏尔举着工兵铲的手僵在半空，看傻了眼。昨天在操场上看到夏婉欣一指点碎侧灵碑就已经够震撼了，但刚才这一手无声无息的内部秒杀更是让人头皮发麻。这要是用在人身上，谁能防得住？不错，没浪费灵力。林渊躺在沙滩椅上，敷衍地拍了2下手，对夏婉欣这一击给出了评价。夏婉欣收回精神力，刚才这种精细的法则操作让她的呼吸微微乱了半拍。她走到林渊身侧，自然的伸手从苏尔刚才放下的背包网兜里抽出一瓶未开封的矿泉水，拧开喝了一小口，动作流畅，没有半分邀功的姿态，但那微微扬起的下颌线条却透着一种被认可后的隐秘愉悦。胖子不在，婉儿生火。林渊打了个哈欠，收到，烤肉马上安排。苏尔立刻回过神来，麻利地切下巨蜥最肥美的后腿肉，架起烧烤炉。没过几分钟，顶级的和牛和异兽肉在烤架上发出滋滋的冒油声，浓郁的肉香和孜然的霸道香气开始在这个24度的恒温区里弥漫。这画面荒诞到了极点。而在距离他们大概500米外的焦土裂缝后， 一支由4个省城天才组成的队伍正狼狈地互相搀扶着往前挪动。他们身上的高级战术服已经被烧出了好几个大洞，灰头土脸，甚至有一个女生的胳膊上还留着深可见骨的烧伤。为了击杀一头突然窜出来的 C 级熔岩火蟒，他们几乎耗干了体内的灵力。现在这60度的高温简直成了催命的毒药，连呼吸都在灼烧着他们的肺管。快看，前面好像有烟！一个眼尖的男生干哑地喊道，喉咙里仿佛在往外冒血。有烟就说明有别的队伍。在这残酷的秘境里遇到同类，哪怕是抢也能抢到一口救命的淡水。走，过去看看。4个人就像是沙漠里看见绿洲的濒死者，疯狂地朝着烟雾升起的方向跌跌撞撞地跑去。当他们翻过最后一块焦黑的岩石，满怀着抢夺物资的凶狠目光看向前方时，4个人齐刷刷地定在了原地。极度的炎热和干渴在这一刻仿佛都消失了，取而代之的是大脑处理器彻底宕机的空白。在那个满地硫磺和焦土的炼狱中央，撑着一把巨大的防紫外线遮阳伞，一个穿着灰色卫衣的男生躺在沙滩椅上，旁边站着一个冷艳的绝美黑衣少女，而一个扎着丸子头的萌妹正拿着夹子认真地在烤架上给一块肥美的和牛翻面，嘴里还哼着不知名的轻快小曲。烤肉的香味混合着孜然和辣椒面，顺着滚烫的热风蛮横地钻进了这4个濒死天才的鼻腔里。咕噜，4个人同时咽了一口唾沫。这他妈是我们在做梦，还是这个世界疯了？第36章拔除氧气。熔岩峡谷的暗红色苍穹下，热浪把空气扭曲成了一层层透明的褶皱。那4个从焦土裂缝后跌跌撞撞爬出来的省城天才，死死盯着前方10米开外的景象，喉结艰难地上下滑动。一把遮阳伞，一张沙滩椅，烤架上的和牛正发出滋滋的冒油声，孜然混合着辣椒面的香气，在高达60度的炼狱里显得荒谬。咕噜，带头的男生双眼通红，干裂的嘴唇渗出血丝，他实在忍不住了，哪怕前面是海市蜃楼，他也得扑过去咬一口。他迈开打颤的腿，朝着那片24度的恒温区走去。同学，能给口水喝吗？我们拿高阶灵和换，他声音嘶哑的像砂纸摩擦，一只手哆哆嗦嗦地伸向10米界限的边缘。然而他的手还没碰到那层看不见的24度法则边界。轰隆，脚下的焦黑大地毫无预兆地剧烈震颤起来，四周滚烫的火山灰被震得漫天飞舞。快跑！是地底的那头怪物追过来了。后面一个女生发出一声凄厉的尖叫，吓得直接瘫软在地上。距离他们不到50米的地方，岩浆池猛地炸开，一头体长超过7米，浑身覆盖着暗红色岩石铠甲的巨型蝎子凶悍地破土而出。2只巨大的黑铁巨鳌在半空中挥舞，尾部高高翘起的毒刺滴落着墨绿色的毒液，毒液落在焦土上，瞬间腐蚀出一个个冒着白烟的深坑。地级中段，地狱火蝎。这种常年浸泡在岩浆里的凶兽，不仅防御力变态，而且自带恐怖的高温毒瘴。完了，带头的男生一屁股坐在地上，满脸绝望。他们刚才就是被这东西追杀了一路，耗干了底牌，才勉强逃脱。现在死神又追上来了。恒温区内，苏尔手里还拿着烧烤夹，看着那头如坦克般碾压过来的巨蝎，咽了一大口唾沫。学长，这玩意儿看起来不太好消化。林渊陷在沙滩椅里，手里端着那杯冰豆浆，他连坐直的意思都没有，只是目光越过杯沿，扫了一眼那头气势汹汹的地狱火蝎。肉太柴，确实没法吃。林渊咬着吸管吸了一口，然后把豆浆放在旁边的小桌上。他转过头看向站在身侧的夏婉欣，又看了一眼苏尔。老板，婉儿。林渊的声音平淡，没有起伏。这头蝎子交给你们了。夏婉欣微怔，苏尔更是吓得差点把手里的夹子扔了。学长，您开玩笑的吧？那可是 B 级中段的火系凶兽，我才 A 级初段，老板也才刚凝聚冰河，这怎么打？他一尾巴就能把我们串成糖葫芦啊？没开玩笑。林渊收敛了脸上的散漫，那双漆黑的眼眸里透着一种不容置疑的冷酷。温室里养不出能杀人的花，你们天天在我的法则圈里待着，真以为实战是过家家？林渊伸手点了点10米外那片扭曲的热浪，出去，只要你们还有一口气，我就不会干预。就算是死在外面，那也是你们自己学艺不精。真正的教学从来不是手把手的喂招，只有在生死一线的极度恐惧中，身体的潜能和对法则的领悟才会被蛮横地逼出来。夏婉欣没有任何废话，他拔出绑在大腿外侧的一把合金军刀，眼神瞬间变得锐利。他没有回头，一步跨出了林渊那24度的绝对安全区。60度的恐怖热浪瞬间像是一堵火墙般撞在他的身上。拼了！学长，您可得看好我们啊！苏尔咬了咬牙，扔掉烧烤夹，双手猛地一合，身上亮起青色的风系灵光，紧紧跟在夏婉欣身后冲了出去。嘶嘎！地狱火蝎看到猎物主动送上门，发出一声刺耳的嘶鸣。他庞大的身躯猛地发力，6条截肢在地上离出深深的沟壑，犹如一辆重型战车般碾压过来。锋刃连斩！苏尔娇喝一声，10几道半月形的青色锋刃呼啸而出，精准地切在火蝎的头部和关节处。叮叮当当，一阵密集的金铁交击声响起。A 级初段的锋刃打在火蝎那层暗红色的岩石铠甲上，竟然只留下了几道浅浅的白印，连防都没破。他可太硬了。苏尔脸色一白，别慌， 夏婉欣清冷的声音在滚烫的风中响起。她将精神力压缩到极致，在这个火元素充沛，甚至有些烫人的环境里，她强行压住体内冰和想要爆发的冲动，没有外放寒气，而是死死盯着火蝎扑过来的轨迹。10米、5米、3米，就是现在！冻结！夏婉欣瞳孔中冰蓝色光芒大盛，内部概念冻结瞬间发动，直接锁定了火蝎体内的体液。然而这一次他失算了，火蝎体内的温度高达上百度，血液如同岩浆。夏婉欣那股强行打入他体内的绝对零度，在遭遇了庞大且狂暴的火元素抵抗后，就像是一滴水落进了油锅，瞬间被蒸发了一大半。咔嚓！火蝎的动作只是短暂的僵硬了不到半秒钟，随后便狂暴地挣脱了内部冰结的束缚。他被彻底激怒了，那根高高翘起的毒尾带着撕裂空气的音爆声，犹如一柄黑色的长矛，狠狠地朝着夏婉欣的胸口刺了下来。太快了，根本躲不开。夏婉欣只能本能地举起手里的合金军刀横挡在身前。砰！巨大的力量直接砸在刀刃上，金刚打造的军刀瞬间弯折出一个夸张的弧度。夏婉欣闷哼一声，整个人被这股恐怖的巨力直接抽飞了出去，重重地摔在10几米外的焦土上。老板！苏尔惊叫出声。夏婉欣艰难地撑起身体，喉咙里涌上一股腥甜，嘴角溢出一丝鲜血。她那件紧身的纯黑作战服在右侧腰腹处被毒刺的边缘擦破了一道长长的口子，极高的温度瞬间烤焦了布料边缘，露出里面白皙如玉的肌肤。冷汗和着鲜血顺着她因为剧烈喘息而起伏不定的马甲线滑落，沾满灰土的脸颊上透着一种惨烈的破碎感。苏尔！恒温区内，林渊依然靠在沙滩椅上，但他的声音却清晰地穿透了战场的喧嚣，带着一股冷厉的压迫感。风系是让你用来刮痧的吗？风掌火势，你用锋刃去砍一头火系异兽，是在给它助燃吗？苏尔浑身一震，它是生物，生物就需要氧气。林渊的声音如同刀子一样扎进他的脑海，剥夺他的周围气流。用你的风在他的脑袋上制造一个绝对真空的窒息罩。苏尔恍然大悟，眼睛瞬间亮了，明白。他双手猛地往上一抬，不再释放任何具有杀伤力的锋刃，而是将所有的风系灵力蛮横地笼罩在火蝎的头部。蜂窝抽离，火蝎周围的空气流速瞬间暴增，但不是吹向他，而是疯狂地向外抽离。仅仅2秒钟，火蝎头部周围形成了一个纯粹的真空球。他那张原本还在往外喷吐着毒火的巨嘴，因为瞬间失去了氧气的支撑，火焰扑哧一声直接熄灭了。突如其来的窒息感让这头 B 级凶兽陷入了极度的恐慌，他疯狂地挥舞着巨鳌，想要撕裂那层看不见的真空罩。庞大的身躯因为缺氧而开始剧烈的摇晃。夏婉欣，林渊的目光落在那个撑在焦土上的黑色身影上，他的外壳温度降下来了，绝对零度不是让你去跟他拼消耗的，找准他张嘴呼吸的缝隙，别撒网，把你的冰河压缩成针。林渊的语气冷酷到了极点，一针贯穿他的脑袋。夏婉欣擦掉嘴角的血迹，他没有再像刚才那样试图冻结这头庞然大物的全身，他深吸了一口气，将刚才摔倒时的剧痛、空气中的燥热以及死亡逼近的恐惧全部强行压下，精神力疯狂内敛。他死死盯着那头因为窒息而疯狂挣扎，忍不住张开血盆大口想要汲取空气的火蝎。就是现在！夏婉欣抬起右手，一根几乎完全透明、被压缩到了极限的绝对零度冰线从他白皙的指尖悄无声息地射出，没有引起任何元素的波动。这根冰线精准地穿过了苏尔制造的真空罩，顺着火蝎张开的巨嘴，毫无阻碍地射入了他那毫无防备的柔软口腔，直刺脑干。噗！一声轻微的细响，庞大的地狱火蝎动作在这一瞬间彻底定格。他体外那层坚不可摧的暗红色岩石铠甲完好无损，但在他的脑壳内部，绝对零度的极寒瞬间爆发，将他那并不发达的大脑干脆地冻成了一滩没有任何生机的灰色冰渣。轰隆！7米长的巨大身躯轰然砸在焦土上，震起漫天烟尘。死了！2名异阶女生在没有依靠任何法则压制的情况下，越级击杀了一头 B 级中段的火系凶兽。呼呼！苏婉儿脱力的一屁股坐在地上，大口大口地喘着粗气，浑身已经被汗水彻底湿透。夏婉欣也缓缓放下了手，她感觉气海里的冰河一阵空虚，眼前阵阵发黑，60度的高温开始疯狂地掠夺她体内的水分。她咬着牙，拖着沉重的双腿，一步一步地朝着那个24度的恒温区走去。刚一踏进那条无形的界限，舒适的干爽凉风扑面而来，夏婉欣紧绷的那根弦彻底断了。她双膝一软，整个人往前栽倒，并没有摔在地上。林渊坐在沙滩椅的边缘，自然的伸手接住了她。夏婉欣大半个身子跌坐在林渊的腿旁，上半身靠在沙滩椅的扶手上。她剧烈地喘息着，破损的作战服边缘渗出的血丝混着细密的汗水，刺眼。那张冷艳的脸上透着一丝劫后余生的疲惫，但眼底的光芒却明亮。林渊没有说话，他只是拿起身旁桌上那瓶还没开封的冰镇矿泉水，拧开瓶盖，随意地贴在了夏婉欣泛红的脸颊上。冰凉的触感让他舒服地闭上了眼睛。学长苏瓦尔也手脚并用地爬进了恒温区，毫无形象地瘫在地上。我不行了，我感觉我的肺都要被抽干了。林渊把另一瓶水扔在苏瓦尔身上，配合的还凑合，勉强及格。 林渊的声音依然是那副散漫的调调，但他没有吝啬自己的评价，知道怎么用脑子杀人，比你们在学校里学那些放烟花的法术有用得多。不远处，那4个省城来的天才已经彻底看傻了。他们看着那头如小山般的 B 级凶兽尸体，又看着那个坐在沙滩椅上从头到尾连手指头都没抬一下的男生。他们原本以为那个男的是个隐藏的带队大佬，结果他不仅没出手，反而指使2个比他们年纪还小的女生，硬生生的把一头 B 级凶兽给宰了，而且是用那种诡异、干净利落的手段。这江南市的3中带头的男生浑身发抖，眼神里充满了极度的敬畏和恐惧。到底是培养出了一群什么怪物啊？第37章，一点点抢钱。熔岩峡谷的暗红色天幕下，热浪滚滚。那4个省城来的天才，此刻就像是4条濒死脱水的鱼，连滚带爬的来到了那个无形的24度恒温区边缘。带头的男生叫魏泽，省城重点高中的 A 级土系尖子生，平时在学校里也是前呼后拥的人物，但现在他那身原本拉风的战术服已经被烧成了破布条。他伸出一只剧烈颤抖、沾满黑灰的手，试探性的往前探了探。嗡！指尖穿过那层无形的边界，一股难以形容的清凉干爽，瞬间顺着他的毛孔钻进了快要被烤干的身体里。魏泽的眼泪唰的一下就流出来了，不是幻觉，这里真的有一片隔绝了60度高温的空调区。魏泽身后的短发女生秦丽更是直接崩溃的扑倒在边界线上，大口大口的贪婪呼吸着那溢出来的几丝凉风，喉咙里发出犹如破风箱般的嘶哑喘息。救命！魏泽双膝一软，直接跪在了焦土上。他仰起头，看着10米开外那个躺在沙滩椅上的灰色卫衣男生，哪怕他再蠢，此刻也看明白了，那个被他们当成 F 级废物的男生，才是这支队伍里真正深不可测的怪物。能在这高级秘境里强行开辟出恒温领域，这绝对是省城那些顶级老怪物都做不到的神迹。同学，求求你，给口水喝，我们快不行了。魏泽艰难地吞咽着干涩的喉咙，从空间戒指里倒出一把5颜6色的低阶灵盒，双手捧着递过头顶，这些都给你们，只要一口水。沙滩椅上，林渊慢吞吞地直起腰，他看了一眼魏泽手里那把暗淡无光的低阶灵盒，嫌弃地撇了撇嘴。大清早的，跑来我这里要饭。林渊的声音懒洋洋的，没有一丝悲悯，几块破石头就想换高级秘境里的救命水？你当江南市的物价局是搞慈善的吗？魏泽愣住了，秦丽也绝望地抬起头。他们本来以为同为高校学生，对方看到他们这么惨，多少会伸出援手。那你要多少？魏泽咬破了嘴唇，强忍着眩晕问道。林渊伸出右手，随意地比划了一个数字，1瓶矿泉水，100万新币，款到发货，童叟无欺。这句话一出，苏尔在旁边正在收拾烤架的手都抖了一下。100万1瓶水，学长，这简直比城南黑市那些亡命徒还要黑啊！魏泽和秦丽4个人更是听得眼前一黑，但极度的干渴已经让他们的大脑失去了思考的能力，生存的本能压倒了一切理智。我买4瓶。魏泽哆嗦着掏出通讯器，幸好这高级秘境里有军方的临时基站信号。低声响起，林渊口袋里的旧手机震动了一下，到账400万新币。林渊满意的点了点头，他偏过头给苏尔使了个眼色，苏尔立刻心领神会，从巨大的战术背包里抽出4瓶1块5的廉价矿泉水，像扔手榴弹一样精准地扔到了10米边界线外的焦土上。魏泽4人像疯狗一样扑上去，拧开瓶盖，直接把水往喉咙里灌。清凉的水流滋润了干涸的5脏6腑，把他们硬生生从鬼门关拉了回来。行了，喝完就滚远点，别趴在我的地界边缘挡风。林渊重新靠回沙滩椅上，下了逐客令。魏泽4人连滚带爬的往后退了几10米，找了块阴凉的岩石缝隙缩了进去，看向林渊的眼神里充满了劫后余生的恐惧和敬意。打发完这群肥羊，林渊的视线落在了旁边的夏婉欣身上。夏婉欣依然维持着那个单膝半跪在沙滩椅旁的姿势，她呼吸有些重，那件黑色的高领作战服在右侧腰腹处被划开了一道长长的口子。刚才虽然惊险的秒杀了 B 级火蝎，但火蝎毒刺边缘的高温依然擦伤了他。白皙如冷玉的肌肤暴露在空气中，边缘被烫得有些焦黑，一丝丝鲜血正顺着马甲线的轮廓缓慢地渗出来。虽然伤口不深，但在他这种清冷冷艳的气质衬托下，显得格外触目惊心。林渊的眉头微不可察地皱了一下。过来。林渊冲他勾了勾手指。夏婉欣咬着下唇，撑着地面站起来，往前走了2步，停在林渊面前，转身。林渊的语气不容置疑。夏婉欣没有任何迟疑，乖乖地转过身，将受伤的后腰暴露在林渊的视线里。林渊没有去翻找什么急救包，也没有动用那些花里胡哨的治愈系灵力。他看着那道流血的伤口，止血，痛觉隔离，简单的6个字，轻描淡写的从他嘴里吐出。嗡！夏婉欣只感觉腰间伤口处那股火辣辣的刺痛感，在这1微秒内，就像是被一把无形的剪刀直接剪断了神经连接，所有的痛觉突兀的消失得一干二净。不仅如此，那些还在往外渗的鲜血，也像是遭遇了某种物理法则的强制叫停，瞬间凝固，不再流出一滴。婉儿，拿绷带给他包一下。林渊打了个哈欠，重新闭上眼睛，衣服破了，脏兮兮的，影响市容。好嘞。苏尔麻利的从包里掏出医用纱布和消炎药，凑到夏婉欣身边，小声的嘀咕着：“老板，您忍着点啊。” 学长这人心口不一，明明心疼的要命，还非说影响市容。这别扭的性格，也就是您能治得了他？夏婉欣微微侧过脸，她看着林渊闭目养神的侧脸，耳根处隐秘地泛起了一层极淡的薄红。她没有反驳苏尔的调侃，只是安静地站着，任由苏尔帮她处理伤口。刚才那一瞬间，林渊剥夺痛觉时的果断，比任何灵丹妙药都让他觉得安心。就在苏尔刚把绷带打了个漂亮的蝴蝶结时，轰隆隆，整个熔岩峡谷的大地突然发出一阵极其沉闷且悠长的震荡。这不是普通的地震，而像是某种沉睡在地底极深处的远古巨物翻了个身。天空中的暗红色的云层在这一刻竟然被一股恐怖的吸力拉扯，形成了一个巨大的漏斗状气旋，直直地指向峡谷的最深处。周围空气里的火元素变得前所未有的狂躁，甚至连林渊那24度的恒温区边缘都传来了极其微弱的法则挤压声。怎么回事？苏尔吓得一屁股坐在地上，脸色惨白。这动静，难道是有 A 级以上的霸主凶兽苏醒了？远处的魏泽四人更是吓得抱在一起，瑟瑟发抖，连逃跑的力气都没有了。夏婉欣迅速转身，气海内的冰河疯狂运转，随时准备应对可能到来的冲击。林渊缓缓睁开眼睛，他没有看天上的异象，而是把目光投向了峡谷深处那片被浓密火山灰遮蔽的区域。那双总是透着散漫的黑眸里，罕见地闪过了一丝真实的兴趣。不是凶兽。林渊从沙滩椅上站了起来，他伸了个懒腰，骨骼发出一阵清脆的爆鸣。这破秘境的深处藏了个好玩的东西。林渊随手把沙滩椅折叠起来，扔给苏尔。走吧，一直在外围烤肉也没什么意思，进去看看，说不定能顺手捞几件值钱的玩意儿，回去把别墅的家具都换了。夏婉欣看着他这副要去逛超市扫货的表情，毫不犹豫地握紧了手里的断刀，跟上了他的脚步。三人顶着24度的绝对领域，迎着那足以撕碎高阶武者的恐怖气旋，逆流而上，慢吞吞地朝着熔岩峡谷的最深处走去，留下一地被吓傻了的省城天才在风中凌乱。第38章拔刀。暗红色的焦土踩在脚下，发出干脆的碎裂声。越往深处，刺鼻的硫磺味越浓。峡谷上方的火山灰被漏斗状的气旋死死吸住，疯狂倒灌。漫天的灰烬砸在林渊周身10米处，就像撞上了一堵无形的玻璃，顺着边缘悄无声息地滑落。苏尔背着战术包，气喘吁吁地跟在后头。即便加了浮空阵法，陡峭的地势依然让他两腿发酸。林渊走在最前面，帆布鞋踩着碎石，步子迈得不急不缓。夏婉欣落后他半步，他摸了下右侧腰腹，那里原本被火蝎毒刺擦破的皮肉已经愈合，被一层透明的物理薄膜覆盖，连一点痛觉都没留下。他抬起眼，视线穿过前方的灰雾，盯住那个巨大的黑色气旋中心。三人翻过最后一道高耸的岩脊，视野骤然开阔。下方是一个巨大的盆地式火山口，暗红色的岩浆在底部翻滚，气泡炸裂，掀起2-3米高的火浪。岩浆湖的正中央悬浮着一颗拳头大小、剔透如血的珠子，庞大的气旋正是以它为中心在运转。红珠正下方盘踞着一条体长近20米的赤岩蛟，暗金色的厚重鳞片覆盖全身，水桶粗的身体盘成一圈，头顶已经鼓起2个肉瘤。他闭着眼，每一次绵长的呼吸都引得下方的岩浆跟着起伏。林渊停在岩脊边缘，视线越过那头压迫感十足的凶兽，落在半空中的红珠上。活髓晶。林渊打量了一眼成色，回去买家具的钱有了。他刚往前迈出一步，脚边的碎石滚落，砸进下方的岩壁。赤岩蛟猛地睁开眼，暗金色的树瞳带着暴力，瞬间锁定了上方的不速之客。蜕变被打断的愤怒让他发出一声震耳欲聋的咆哮。吼！肉眼可见的火红色音浪裹挟着上千度的高温，排山倒海般撞向岩脊，沿途的黑色岩石瞬间被震成粉末。苏尔吓得闭紧了眼。砰！一声闷响，滚烫的音浪撞上10米的恒温界限，如同狂潮拍上礁石，被迫向两侧疯狂分流。两侧岩壁被刮得寸草不生，这10米之内却连一丝风都没透进来。赤岩蛟树瞳一缩，凶兽的直觉让他没有停顿，庞大的身躯直接从岩浆湖中腾空跃起，几10米长的粗壮蛟尾撕裂空气，带着刺耳的音爆声，像一条纯钢长鞭狠狠抽向林渊。林渊站在原地，他连手都没从卫衣兜里拿出来，只是迎着那股能抽他大楼的劲风，随意的抬起右腿，帆布鞋底不偏不倚地踹在蛟尾最粗壮的骨节上。咔！清脆的骨裂声在空旷的火山口上方回荡。赤岩蛟庞大的身躯猛地一僵，随后以比来时快上数倍的速度，如同一条破麻袋般倒飞出去。轰隆！岩浆湖被砸出一个巨大的深坑，火红色的浪花飞溅起10几米高。林渊收回脚，在旁边的岩石上蹭了蹭鞋底的灰。赤岩蛟在岩浆中剧烈翻滚，猛地探出硕大的头颅。他张开血盆大口，喉咙深处亮起刺目的白光，炽热的龙息正在疯狂压缩。林渊嫌弃地皱了皱眉，息，平淡的一个字。赤岩蛟喉咙里那团即将喷发的刺目白光凭空消失了。不仅是龙息，他惊恐地发现周围的火元素彻底切断了与他的联系。沉重的身躯失去灵力托举，直挺挺地沉入沸腾的岩浆深处，只留下一串绝望的气泡。林渊走到岩浆湖边缘，他隔空探出手，虚抓了一把，那颗火髓金滴溜溜地转了一圈，乖顺地飞落到他掌心，触手升温，并不烫。他随手揣进兜里， 转身准备招呼两人离开。学长，下面有人。苏尔指着火山口对面。林渊抬眼，岩浆湖对岸的一块凸起黑岩上，不知何时多了一道人影。那人穿着破旧的黑色风衣，手里倒提着一把漆黑的长刀，周围的火元素被他身上散发出的一股凛冽气场强行排开，形成了一片真空。乱发下，一双布满血丝的眼睛死死盯着林渊的口袋。留下。黑衣男人声音粗哑，带着浓重的血腥气。林渊看着他，觉得有些好笑。我的东西凭什么留？黑衣男人没再废话，他双腿微屈，脚下的黑岩轰然碎裂，整个人借着反作用力，瞬间跨越上百米的滚烫岩浆湖面。漆黑的长刀自上而下劈落，刀锋将半空中的灼热气浪生生从中劈开，直逼林渊的面门。林渊没躲，他甚至连插在兜里的左手都没拿出来，只是抬起右手，食指和中指随意的往上一夹。当一声脆响，那把带着凌厉风压的黑刀就这么稳稳地停在了林渊头顶不到半寸的地方。刀刃被两根修长的手指死死卡住，再也无法寸进分毫。黑衣男人的瞳孔骤然收缩，握刀的双手因为过度用力而抱起青筋。他引以为傲的下劈，居然被这个看起来像个高中生一样的男生用两根手指轻描淡写的接住了。力气还行，林渊评价了一句，手指微微发力，清脆的金属断裂声响起。那把不知道斩杀过多少异兽的特制黑刀，从被夹住的地方干脆利落地断成了两截。黑衣男人反应极快，在刀断的瞬间果断松手，整个人在半空中强行扭腰，往后翻腾了几圈，稳稳地落在10几米外的焦土上。他大口喘着气，死死盯着林渊，眼底的轻视已经彻底消失，取而代之的是面对死亡时的极度凝重。你是谁？黑衣男人声音紧绷，江南是什么时候出了这种体术怪物？你这人挺有意思，抢劫不先打听打听路，现在刀断了才想起来问名字。林渊把手里捏着的那半截断刃随手扔进旁边的岩浆里，溅起一朵小火花。他转过头看向夏婉星，老板，这人交给你了，刚才教你的范围冻结，刚好拿他练练手。人类武者比异兽聪明，不会傻站着让你打。夏婉星闻言没有丝毫迟疑，他拔出绑在大腿外侧的合金短刀，向前迈出一步。那双清冷的黑眸锁定前方的黑衣男人，气海内的冰河迅速转动，庞大的精神力如同无形的蛛网，瞬间向外铺开，直接笼罩了前方几十米的范围。黑衣男人看着走出来的夏婉星，脸色一沉，一个小丫头也想拦我？他虽然忌惮林渊那深不可测的力量，但眼看着对方竟然派个少女出来应战，心底的狠力再次涌了上来。他猛地一跺脚，放弃了断刀，整个人如同离弦的箭一般冲向夏婉星，一拳轰向他的面门。拳风凌厉，带着足以将岩石砸碎的力道。夏婉星没有躲避，他站在原地，精神力网在黑衣男人踏入他身前5米范围的瞬间猛地收缩。冻结第39章，一脚踹飞。周末做饭。黑衣男人踩碎脚下的黑岩，整个人借力暴起，他冲向高处的岩脊，杀气死死咬住三人。七阶的气血威压砸下来，苏尔当场跪在地上，大张着嘴喘不上气。夏婉星浑身僵直，一阶的底子根本抗不住这种层级的压迫，连拔刀的动作都做不出来。长刀裹着风啸，狠狠劈向林渊面门。林渊抬起右手，迎着落下的刀刃一把攥住，当一声闷响在火山口上空炸开，势大力沉的一刀被一只手生生卡住，刀刃嵌在掌心，却连皮都没破。那股足以砸塌岩壁的力道，在接触的瞬间泥牛入海，没了动静。七阶，林渊透着股被打扰的烦躁，慢吞吞的，力气也软。省城的鼓舞者就这点水准。黑衣男人头皮发麻，常年游走的生死直觉让他果断松开刀柄，腰腹发力想往后退。来都来了，跑什么？林渊把夺下来的黑刀随手扔进岩浆湖，他抬起右腿，一脚结结实实的踹在对方胸口，胸骨碎裂的声音接连响起，胸腔瞬间凹陷。黑衣男人倒飞出去，轰隆一声砸进对面的黑色绝壁，砸出个人形坑洞，碎石滚落，直接把人埋在了里头。一招干净利落，整个火山口只剩下岩浆翻滚的咕噜声。苏尔大口喘着气，看着对面的坑洞发懵。夏婉星站在林渊背后，慢慢握紧了拳头，掌心全是冷汗。这一刻，他清醒地认识到了自己的渺小，在真正的强者面前，一阶连当炮灰的资格都没有。看清楚了吗？林渊转头看着夏婉星紧绷的脸，这才是高级秘境里正常的生态。遇到这种等级的，老老实实在我后面待着。夏婉星点头，声音微哑，知道了，走吧。林渊打了个哈欠，把手揣回卫衣口袋，这破地方太闷，早点出去买浴缸，明天周末还得睡个懒觉。苏尔如梦初醒，手忙脚乱爬起来，背好那个巨大的战术背包。三人转身，顺着来时的岩脊往下走。那24度的恒温领域始终稳稳照在周围。路过之前那处岩石缝隙时，魏泽和秦丽那4个省城天才还缩在里面。他们眼睁睁看着一个气场恐怖的7阶鼓舞者冲过去，又看着那个鼓舞者像个皮球一样被踹进石壁。现在看着林渊他们散漫地走回来，魏泽4个人紧紧贴着岩壁，连呼吸都停止了。林渊径直走过，夏婉星跟在旁边，步伐平稳，直到三人的背影彻底消失在灰雾中，魏泽才双腿一软，跪在地上大口喘气。别看了，江南市这滩水太深， 魏则抹了一把脸上的冷汗，回去通知家里，以后遇见3中的人，照到。下午2点，7号军事封锁区外，空间通道泛起涟漪，林渊3人相继走出，外面的空气带着初秋的干爽。苏尔把重重的战术背包往地上一放，伸了个大大的懒腰，活过来了。要不是有学长在，我估计连第1天都撑不过去。林渊看着远处的高速公路，随口吩咐：叫车，去兴隆家居城。半小时后，商务专车停在家居城正门口，冷气开得很足的大厅里人来人往。林渊轻车熟路，带着2人直奔顶层的高端卫浴区。那个售价120万的浴缸还摆在显眼位置。销售经理满脸堆笑地迎上来：林先生，夏小姐，您昨天订的浴缸已经安排师傅送货了，预计今晚就能安装调试完毕。请问今天还有什么需要的吗？林渊看了一圈周围的展区，有没有大一点的床？他问。别墅2楼那张床有点软，睡着腰疼。有的有的，您这边请。销售经理在前面引路，带他们来到睡眠体验区。夏婉欣跟在后面，看着林渊认认真真的在几张天价床垫上按压测试，眼底闪过一丝清浅的笑意。就这张吧。林渊指着一张标价60万的独立袋装弹簧床垫，软硬适中，顺便把1楼客厅的沙发也换了，换成那种能整个人陷进去的科技布沙发。昨晚在那个真皮沙发上坐的脖子酸，语气随意。夏婉欣微不可察的僵了一下。昨晚在客厅的真皮沙发上，他因为冰河反噬，整个人靠在林渊怀里。现在当着外人的面提沙发，难免让人多想。他别过脸，看向一旁的展示柜，假装没听见。好的，林先生，马上为您开单。销售经理喜笑颜开。苏尔拿着黑金卡，麻利的去前台结账。买完家具，3人走出家居城。江南市的傍晚已经亮起了璀璨的霓虹灯。学长，老板，我先撤了。明天周末我回家一趟，顺便把我爸酒窖里那2瓶好酒偷出来给学长尝尝。苏尔挥了挥手，钻进一辆路过的出租车。路边只剩下林渊和夏婉欣2人。初秋的晚风吹过，带来一丝凉意。走回去。林渊双手插兜，这里离明月湖别墅不算太远，沿着湖边走大概半个小时。夏婉欣点头，2人并肩走在湖边的林荫道上，路灯把他们的影子拉得很长，只有风吹过树叶的沙沙声。夏婉欣走在右侧，放慢脚步，让肩膀始终保持在距离他不到10公分的位置。那个让他安心的淡淡薄荷味，随着晚风阵阵飘来。走到别墅大门外时，夏婉欣停下脚步。明天周末，他清冷的声音在夜色中响起：我不回夏家，就在这里训练。林渊拿出钥匙开门，动作没停。随你，反正30万的包月合同还没到期。推开门，客厅里漆黑一片。他顺手按下墙上的开关，暖黄色的灯光照亮了1楼。林渊换上拖鞋，转头看着门外的夏婉欣：不过明天早上不练挥拳了，去买点菜。胖子不在，你负责做饭。夏婉欣愣在原地。堂堂江南首富的千金 ，SSS 级的天才，让他去做饭。他看着林渊那副理所当然的散漫表情，张了张嘴，最后什么也没说，默默走进了屋。第40章，微醺的封口费。地下训练室，一杯清水静静放在吸能地板中央。夏婉欣盘腿坐着，视线死死锁在水杯中心，额角渗出一层细汗，顺着脸颊滑进纯黑的训练茯苓口。他没放出一丝寒气，精神力化作一根看不见的针，精准扎进那杯水的正中心。咔！极轻的一声脆响，水杯中心突兀地凝结出一颗黄豆大小的冰珠，周围的水依旧是液态，连一丝冰碴都没沾上。成了。夏婉欣松了口气，紧绷的肩膀垮了下来。她撑着地板站起身，活动了一下发酸的手腕，推开玻璃门，顺着楼梯往上走。刚到1楼，一股浓郁的油脂香气混着酒香飘了过来。客厅的新沙发前多了一个长条形的实木矮桌。苏尔不知道从哪翻出来一个家用电烤炉，上面正铺着几片雪花纹理分明的顶级和牛，被烤得滋滋冒油。旁边放着几个高脚杯，里面已经倒上了暗红色的酒液。老板，快来，火候刚刚好。苏尔拿着夹子给牛肉翻了个面。夏婉欣走过去，在矮桌旁坐下。2楼楼梯传来踏拉拖鞋的动静。林渊换了深深灰色的宽松睡衣走下来，头发半干，凌乱的散在额前，身上带着一股刚洗完澡的清爽薄荷味。他在夏婉欣身旁的位置坐下，顺手拿起桌上的高脚杯，晃了晃里面的红酒。这酒醒得不够，凑合喝吧。林渊抿了一口，评价挑剔：学长您将就一下，我那老爹平时把这酒当宝贝供着，我偷出来连醒酒器都没敢拿。苏二狗腿的夹起一块烤好的和牛，放进林渊面前的盘子里。夏婉欣没说话，他端起自己面前那杯酒，红色的液体顺着喉咙滑进胃里，带起一股辛辣的热流。这股热气刚想往经脉里钻，去挑衅气海里的冰河，旁边林渊身上那种不讲理的压制气息就附了过来。热流被强行按住，化作一团暖意散在四肢百骸。几口酒下肚，夏婉欣原本苍白的脸颊泛起一抹微红，整个人那种生人勿近的冷冽感褪去了不少，多了一丝属于少女的娇憨。林渊偏过头看着他，练成了。夏婉欣点头，忠心冻结，卑鄙没破，还算没笨到家。林渊夹起一块肉塞进嘴里，微操上去了，以后杀人就不费衣服，总不能每次打完架都溅一身血。苏尔在旁边听得直咽唾沫。 这两位祖宗在饭桌上聊杀人，就跟聊明天去哪买菜一样自然。学长，学校那边给咱们放了长假，高考前都可以自由活动。苏尔赶紧转移话题，你有什么打算没有？林渊放下酒杯，靠在沙发靠背上，能有什么打算？拿了钱买完家具，剩下的日子就在这栋房子里睡觉。他看着天花板那盏奢华的水晶吊灯，我这人没什么大志向，一日三餐有人管，有个舒服的浴缸泡澡就够了。夏婉欣捏着玻璃杯的手指收紧，他转头看着林渊，包月合同到高考结束才到期。他声音清冷，却带着一股执拗，在这之前，你去哪我就去哪。林渊收回视线，对上他那双黑白分明的眼睛，半米的距离。酒精的作用下，他身上的雪松香气比平时更浓烈，呼吸间带出的微热气流隐隐扫过林渊的侧颈。行。林渊嘴角扯出一个随意的弧度，只要你按时交伙食费，随便你跟。一顿烤肉吃的随意。苏尔喝了2杯酒，加上这2天在秘境里神经紧绷，吃饱后直接窝在新买的沙发角落里睡着了。林渊站起身，准备去厨房倒杯水，刚迈出一步，衣角被人拽住了。夏婉欣坐在地毯上，仰着头看他，眼神因为酒精的微醺少了几分清明，多了几分平时绝对不可能露出的柔软。我还没付明天的钱。他从口袋里摸出那个特制手机，动作有些迟缓地解开屏幕。1万封口费，他嘟囔了一句。林渊愣了一下，看着他这副明显的醉态，有些好笑。这丫头酒量也太差了，今天没杀异兽，也没碎石头，封什么口？林渊居高临下的看着他，夏婉欣固执的抓着他的衣角不松手。封，你看见我切菜像流水线的口？声音很轻，带了点莫名的委屈。堂堂下家千金，第一次下厨被人评价像流水线，这事他居然一直记在心里。林渊无奈的叹了口气，他蹲下身，视线和他平齐。行，我没看见。他伸手毫不客气的在手机屏幕上点了个收款，钱我收了，现在松手回房间睡觉。夏婉欣看着他收了钱，这才满意的松开手指。他撑着桌子站起来，身子晃了一下。林渊顺手扶住他的胳膊，用不用我把你扛上去？他问的随意。不用。夏婉欣甩开他的手，强撑着恢复了冰山脸，踩着有些虚浮的步子往楼梯走去。林渊看着他的背影，摇了摇头。这江南市的养老生活一天比一天有意思了。第41章宿醉的早晨。阳光透过梅拉严实的窗帘缝隙，照在夏婉欣的脸上。她皱了皱眉，睁开眼。宿醉的头痛并没有出现，一街舞者的体质分解那点酒精轻而易举，但酒精麻痹神经时留下的记忆，却在此刻无比清晰地倒灌回脑海里。拽着林渊的衣角，嘟囔着给了那1万块钱的封口费，理由是切菜像流水线。夏婉欣猛地拉起被子，把大半张脸捂得严严实实，被子底下的呼吸乱了几分。他甚至想直接调动绝对零度，把昨晚那段记忆连同那个石墨矮桌一起冻碎。在床上僵硬了足足5分钟，他才掀开被子下床。洗漱完，换上一套干净的浅灰色居家服，他推开房门下楼。1楼客厅，电视机开着，放着早间新闻。林渊躺在那张新买的科技布沙发上，身上盖着条薄毯，手里拿着个遥控器随便换台。苏尔不见人影，估计是回自己家拿衣服去了。厨房里传来一阵锅碗瓢盆的碰撞声，还飘出一股皮蛋瘦肉粥的香味。夏婉欣放轻脚步走下楼梯。醒了。林渊视线依然停在电视屏幕上，语气带着晨起的慵懒。夏婉欣脚步顿了一下，走到单人沙发旁坐下。他应了一声，强行端住那附生人物镜的高冷架子，仿佛昨晚拽人衣角的根本不是他。叮咚，林渊放在茶几上的旧手机响了一声，他拿起来划开屏幕，然后把手机屏幕转向夏婉欣。屏幕上是昨晚那1万块钱的转账记录。老板，昨晚那笔钱算什么名目？林渊懒洋洋地靠在沙发背上，带着几分调侃，包月合同里可没写，雇主喝醉了还得发红包，这钱我拿得不踏实啊。夏婉欣脸上的表情差点没绷住，她深吸了一口气，视线移向别处，声音轻冷，伙食费预付。行。林渊利落地收起手机，没有继续拆穿他。你说是伙食费就是伙食费。胖子回来了，在厨房熬粥，今天不用你展现流水线刀工了。听到这句话，夏婉欣隐秘地松了口气。厨房的推拉门被拉开，胖子系着围裙，端着一大砂锅热腾腾的粥，乐呵呵地走出来。渊哥，夏同学，吃早饭了。胖子把砂锅放在餐桌上，殷勤地盛了2碗。他这几天回了趟老家，处理了一下家里的事，今早才赶回明月湖别墅。3人上桌吃饭，胖子一边喝粥一边兴奋地压低声音：渊哥，你不知道，我今早路过学校门口，那阵仗绝了。胖子满脸通红，3大工会的车停了一溜，全都在打听你们俩的住址，还有省城那边的好几个大财团都放出风来，只要你们愿意挂名，条件随便开。林渊喝了口粥，找上门了吗？没呢。老孙嘴严得很，校长更是吓得连电话都不敢接，直接跑去医院装病了。胖子嘿嘿直笑。夏婉欣安静地吃着早饭，没参与这个话题。对他来说，那些财团和工会的招揽，连餐桌上这碗皮蛋瘦肉粥的价值都比不上。胖子，林渊放下勺子，抽了张纸巾擦嘴。待会儿吃完饭，去地下车库看看。 我记得这别墅附赠了一辆买菜车。胖子愣了一下，渊哥，你要出门？去趟市中心的药材市场。林渊看了一眼坐在对面的夏婉欣，冰河稳住了接下来的拓宽经脉，光靠干练不行，得买点药材泡澡。林渊靠在椅背上，30万的售后服务总得让人看出点效果。夏婉欣抬起头，迎上他的目光，没有道谢，他只是平静地点了点头。我买单。他落下3个字。吃过早饭，胖子去车库把那辆积了点灰的黑色越野车开了出来。林渊拉开副驾驶的车门坐进去，夏婉欣独自坐在宽敞的后座。车子平稳地驶出明月湖别墅区，朝着江南市最大的药材集散中心开去。周末的市中心总是拥堵，车子在车流里走走停停。林渊靠在椅背上闭目养神，夏婉欣看着窗外倒退的街景。他从小到大出入都有夏家的专车和保镖护送，像这样坐在普通越野车里，跟着2个同龄人去逛药材市场，是他18年来从未有过的体验。